it's very impressive how Fnatic ONIC Philippines is having a smooth run. Even more impressive is how Team Liquid ID are flowing with the meta that's been growing every single day. One of their main strengths is their adaptability. The fact that yesterday they swept Selangor Red Giants, that's impressive. More than impressive, it was shocking. The whole Axiata Arena went silent. But I'll tell you now, if you bring that level of growth against a super family,
what's up?
I'm still a little iffy. I think the third time might not be the charm here.
Here's the thing, Leo. While we're still on us, I want to keep on you because I want to hear the story. In that video we heard, Kelra said, I'm in the MPL for 3 years. I've been through hardships, going up against rookies that they just started. You've been in MPL for the longest time.
Hello, Kaiser.
What has Kelra faced so far?
I've seen this young man in his debut season. He went into the grand finals, almost took down the eventual champions in Blacklist International. He's moved teams. This young man has flown here to Malaysia 2 years ago, this close to actually becoming a two-time MSC champion. He has started his own family. Now part of the super family, he is at the cusp of being an MPL champion MVP, an MSC champion MVP, and after this, if they win, he could become an M Series MVP.
And now we're looking at M-Chat here from Ben Things.
I'm sick and have to do 6 PowerPoint slides by today.
King Kong, and he said, all I can say to King Kong is, finally, you found the perfect team that can handle your intensity. You're also one of the most intelligent players who almost always knows the opponent's next move. Good luck in your match, Sigma King.
Sigma King Kong. I mean, this guy feels like a prodigy right now. He has definitely just taken us all by storm. I feel like just last year it was all Carl Teasy, Kyle Teasy, Kyrie, but right now King Kong is the name on everybody's lips. This guy is a monster.
King Cyril Perez is not the next Kyrie, not even the next Kyle, not even the next Carl. He is King Kong.
No, I'm with you on that one. For you guys at home, you guys can scan the QR code to grab your goodies. Now, listening to our analyst here, Wheezy, I gotta ask you, what is your stance on this matchup? Do you feel like it will go all the way? Do you feel like there's a big chance that it could go 4-0? And if so, who's the favorites for this one?
Well, I think for the favorites, it's no secret. And we've already seen it from the wild cards or to the Swiss stage and then to the knockout phase, right? They fought twice. And it was the same recipe. Fnatic ONIC able to take down TLID. So I'd say favorites definitely going to go to their side of the court. But we've seen the rise of TLID yesterday. We've seen their performance, and they're starting to scale, right? They have to stay alive, especially with the backlines. You have the Ghost of Jakarta, and also you have the Untouchable as well. Both of their backliners able to keep themselves alive through the engagements. We know Fnatic ONIC is aggressive, right? They like to take the fight
Gonna come back in a minute.
They just have to be able to sustain themselves. If they can do that, and fight their way through the early game, then I think we can go all the way.
Wash your face, bro.
It's time for the final. The Sigma junglers, because I believe both
this is like the most,
King Kong going
probably the most anticipated match
so far. You know the impressive thing here, Leo?
Yeah.
King Kong played less games
Although
than Fabia.
I dreamt of KBG versus BDK
junglers, the Usurper and
as the grand finals.
Obviously, King
I dreamt of that.
has better numbers. Fabian working
at the start of this tournament.
Last night he was on a tear, but here's a secret.
That was the dream final.
Fact that these two are performing out of their minds, given the way the
but
meta
this is
has
not
evolved,
bad as well.
junglers have actually taken a backseat. It's actually all about the gold laner. So the fact that they're staying on point this way means
First
they're
match
still
of
at
both
the
teams will be the last
pushing
fight.
their teams forward.
Okay. What about you, Trice? What do you feel?
I mean, and I love that you said that right now junglers are taking a backseat, but when you look at these two junglers, they're ones that have not taken a backseat. These are two junglers, Fabian as well, who will completely take control of a game.
I didn't literally dream of it when I'm sleeping.
When we're looking at these two teams,
just saying that
on how King Kong and Fabian perform is going to determine a lot of how these games go.
Right now, Weezy, I got to ask you because people will say TLID coming in here with a bit of a handicap
China versus
they
US
played yesterday. So Fnatic ONIC Philippines have seen what they have shown. And before I even continue the question, Axiata Arena, we're jumping into the first drafting phase of the grand finals of M6. And then the question I present to you, Weezy, do you feel like TLID has shown too much.
Okay.
Do you feel like they've shown
Two
the strength that they
assassin
shouldn't
bans.
have shown against Fnatic ONIC Philippines?
I don't think so. I
Interesting,
believe
they
the
ban
meta,
Alpha.
even though it's been adapting, there's a lot of things that both teams,
They
rules
going
that they
for,
have
like,
to
a more
follow,
tanky
right?
lineup?
I mean, we see that Joy sneak up in there. We know how effective it could be. I think it's going to definitely be a battle of who can win in the draft.
ONIC may be
Who can
looking
find the
into a
back
more
line,
tanky
pickups, who
lineup.
can get the Hilda, who can find the heroes that create that separation. But I don't feel like they've shown too much. I feel like we're still going to see similar picks today. It's just going to really boil down to who has the better micro engagement.
You know, we're looking at these bans now, and already we see a little bit of change in what we usually see. The Alpha ban from Fnatic ONIC Philippines, and it's been a pick that they're one of the few teams to really actually rely on that Alpha still. They'll use it against the Suyo, they'll use it against other junglers, and King Kong is so comfortable on it, but seeing them ban this out, and then in response, the Joy ban, the last,
We'll be back
the
in
last
5
two
hours after the
powerhouses
grand
on the
final
field
ends.
right now are the
Are you not watching the grand
Suyo
finals?
or the Fred at this point.
Like, if
Still
there's any
Hayabusa
match that
with
you
plenty
should
of
watch
options here.
It looks like the super
in the
family setting
entire
up
year,
for a Jushin
it's
or a
gonna be
Cho.
the M6 grand finals,
Strong
right?
mid, strong rotations.
I gotta say, a
It's the
lot
World
is
Cup
open here
finals.
because if we're looking at the bans
Literally.
here, FNOP, they're batting a lot, but they're leaving a lot open. I'm talking about Bruno. I'm talking about the Granger. Dude, there's so much, but I kind of feel like this is good for TLID because no
guess
matter
go
what,
high-lows
they'll get
first?
two.
I feel like the Suyo's more prio right now than the Bruno Granger. I think it's a good
So-
upfront
Suyo
pick.
is good.
We've seen the Granger,
So
at
it
least
will
with the
be
ability to
a good
counter the
first pick
Bruno. We've seen the
because
Bruno
Alpha
win
is
out in
banned.
late game, so just lots of options.
Yep, if you get Suyo here, you complicate what Fabian is able to play in the jungle, and you're bound to get either the Bruno or the Granger. So that's a good trade.
Yeah, so now TLID, they don't have to pick up their jungler just yet. But really the question is, what's on the table? I'm looking at the Hayabusa as a hot pick since yesterday because the Alpha and the Joy, even the Fanny, they're out.
I'm almost in a boat where maybe you
I
don't
guess go
rush
high
Marksman
loss-
since Granger and Bruno
high
are both
loss,
open. Maybe you go for the
Bruno
Cho here. Maybe you go
will be
for
good.
something else.
Or maybe
around
they
the
want
map here.
Maybe you go Bruno, Cho.
Granger, I don't know.
I still want to give a marksman to the untouchable one.
You can
Yeah,
still
I mean,
don't pick
Bruno,
marksman right
the
now.
thing is
Pick
I
a
just worry
mage plus
Because if you pick the
Romis.
Bruno, does the Granger
I
immediately
lost
come out
something.
and outpoke you
Lost.
early game?
Or maybe you go for the solution. We get that Cho.
Okay.
But we also
That's fine
get
as well.
the Granger, the solution to the problem first. Will Kelra budge?
Yeah, I think he will. I think he'll pick up the Bruno here. I mean, it is
So they
going to
can
be
take a
going
mid here.
Granger. We've seen how effective the Granger can be
Or
as well
if they want,
against
they
it.
can
Now,
go for
you have this Cho, right? You
Man
just
as
took
well.
away
Bruno.
that versatility from FNOP when it comes to the Brusco the Bruiser, right? He likes to kind of rush in with that, get the setups.
You can
and
don't pick a
that is
MMD
good
stage as
start
well.
to finding a way to the backlines.
Okay, right now looking at Fnatic ONIC Philippines, they pick up the Bruno, and now they pick up that Lu Yi, Leo.
Wow.
These are the first 3 picks
Power pick.
for Fnatic ONIC Philippines. Do you feel like they got a good start here?
I think the Monster Mage is very happy, and if Super Prince is happy,
Our pick.
the Super Family
Low
is
E.
happy. Just with these 3, you have your core set up. You can also just now think of a front line. And look, another core for TLID. You were looking for the Hayabusa.
I was looking for the Hayabusa because, come on, what else is there?
It's been one of the few answers to the Suyo, essentially. If you don't have the Joy, Hayabusa is your next best thing.
Yeah, and with the Hayabusa, right, it's easily able to get to the Lu Yi, a hero that likes to stay from afar but lacks the mobility.
Gentlemen, they need to choke out
Low E
the
likes to build with
now.
the
Get rid of
crown, though.
Tigreal, get rid of the high
Oh,
lows,
that's a
get rid of the
natural
taunt.
Okay, now
way to
here's the
counter
thing.
Hayabusa.
I'm actually looking at TLID here. They have the Granger. The Granger is good going up against the Lu Yi because you can actually open up the map. But I'm a little bit worried here about Ezekiel, the Ghost of Jakarta, because looking at that, so you're looking at how King Kong plays, I feel like a lot of aggression is going to mid. How will he answer that?
Well, I think they go for maybe some long
Ruby,
distance
do
here,
you
right?
has
We've
main
seen Aaron Shiki
right
pick up the Poke
9,
Granger.
try
Maybe they
ED.
lock in something insane, like the Novaria, something
Can
long
you
range,
English, please?
something like the
Rika?
Xavier we saw very early on. I don't know if that's how you want to
Please
start off
English.
in game 1, but maybe it's exactly how you start
Or
off
something
in game 1.
a little closer to the chest, like a Farsa.
Farsa?
He's been getting good results.
Oh, strikes us onto something here, folks. Novaria gets
The Tiger is a
banned
good
out.
pick.
So
Good
again,
ban.
like, we know
Because
this
they don't
team,
want
it's
Low E and
been
Tiger to combo.
24 days that M6 has been going through. We know that ONIC will attack that mid. Because if you look at their 2 bans already for Ezekiel, they're really challenging the Ghost of Jakarta.
Hylos is a good
what
ban
else
here.
do you got?
Yeah,
My
the mid lane
opinion.
Maestro's trying to get some finesse. With the Lu
All
Yi,
this
it's a
is a
lot of
real
mobility
good
from the
ban.
side of FNOP. I do agree with the Farza pickup. I think it could be wise, especially with the wings by wings for some mobility on your side. You also got to take a look at FNOP, right, for the XP and the roam position. There goes the glue, so maybe the Hylos, maybe the Gatot sneaks up in here. We know it's a great way to create some chaos and to be able to get to the back line, and there goes the Hylos.
Does Fnatic
I think
ONIC pick up
ONIC
a
will
specialty
have preferred the
for
Hylos
Kirk?
on
Do
the
they
other
get
side,
the Edith, or deny away the Gatot?
Or what
That's
about
that's a lot of
Khalid?
jumps. Or the Khalid for Brusco.
Khalid roam?
That's a lot of mobility between the diversions and the sandwalks.
Let me just say, if we do have
I think they need a lot more
Khalid roam
CC.
here,
FNOP.
I'm not. If
I
I'm
think they
TLID,
should go
I'm
for
not
more
feeling good.
CC.
I'm not feeling good at picking Forza
Instead of Khalid.
anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of like a preemptive strike if you pick up the Khalid here. It's a preemptive. You're not going to pick a stable mage. A better
Take a
one
Hilda,
that can
maybe?
move around. So they take in Edith.
Hilda?
Still one more pick. Roam or EXP
Oh wait, Hilda
still
is banned.
essentially. Most likely this is the Kirk special though.
I know Kirk, man.
I like
Maybe
the Khalid
Ruby
here.
roam.
Not gonna lie, something aggressive going up against the Cho as well. They're taking the time here. And it looks like they pick up the Gata Kacha instead, jumping to the back lines. They have multiple angles.
I guess
Divergent
Gatot plus
here,
low E combo
but then
is
suddenly,
pretty sick as well.
Avatar the Guardian coming from somewhere else. Multiple angles by Fnatic ONIC Philippines here.
And now it comes down to what Yehezkiel plays. Yehezkiel, Wiseman, what you got?
Haven't seen
It's gotta
Ruby
be something
before.
range, right? You
Yeah.
don't want to dive
Can you
in.
imagine the
But the
Ruby
Gata Kacha is
plus
there as well. Even if you
low
pick
E
up a
combo
Farsa,
though?
you're gonna get caught.
Yeah, I don't think you go for anything like the
But I
Valentine.
think
You're
they are
just so
worried about-
close. It is tough. No
The
matter
thing
what your
about
tough
Ruby
spot,
right now
so
is
maybe
that
it's a what are you
the early
comfortable
game
with
cannot
pick
match
here. Maybe
most
it's
of the
a
harass.
What are you okay with here?
I mean, it could
Coming
even be
from
the Aurora, right?
most
I
of
mean,
the
you have a lot of
meta
frontline heroes who can
expile-
get
sorry, the
crowd
meta-
control effect in your aspect, especially when you have a Cho.
The meta
and you
rumors
have the
like
Hylos,
Khalid
they're good
and
at
Cho.
diving, but that
Ruby cannot
overall
keep
group
up with
setup
that.
potential might not be there.
Need a stopper.
Oh!
He's
Ooh!
played this once,
Yes!
and it comes out. He's technically both in your face and away. The Lilia.
Lilia, the last pick, but let me tell you folks, in a best of 7, if you want to
But
take
can you
risks,
imagine the low
if you
E
want
plus
to take
Ruby combo though?
chances, it's definitely for game number 1. Thank you very much to the panel. Oxiana Arena, get ready because we're jumping to game number 1.
We started with 16 and now we're down to 2.
Interesting
and
Lilia
third
pick.
time is the charm here. The third time these two teams, these two champions from their respective regions will meet up to find out
Freaking
who
stream
will
lagging
be
again.
the world champion here. What is up, guys? I'm Naisu, joined on the desk with Gideon Q and Mirko. Gentlemen, how are we feeling
I
about
don't
the
think
first
Ruby has
draft?
been
I feel
picked
like
yet.
the first draft is interesting. Punish your front
Is
lines,
it?
be able to
I don't think
diversify,
so.
go into the back lines as well. Cool places to attack each comp.
Hey man, they're gonna go in for the dive. They want to play their game. Both of them, right? FNOP want to go aggressive. TLID want to go aggressive. It's a brawl.
It's going to be a brawl out here again, a best of 7, and we're starting it up with game number 1. Oxiana Arena is ready for this bout, and both these teams have fought through the gauntlet to lead up to this. Already in the mid lane, a lot of early action expected with what we've seen so far. Super Prince pretty low here, but we got to
Yeah,
talk
Lilia is
about
okay
the fact
here.
that the meta
Only worry
has
is that the
really
range
set
is a
in,
bit short,
especially
and Loi
throughout
can
the
get to her
knockouts
quite
and where
easily.
we've landed now.
So
But
in a
this
team
Lilia
fight, she has to be really
from
careful.
Yehezkiel, mind you, one of the players that brings out the most unique heroes to the game here. And how does this work out?
Yeah, they brought up the Xavier. We were expecting something like that too. Oh, Witty with the flicker out. But yeah,
Because Lilia's HP is
this
very
pick
low.
isn't really
He's
something we
like,
see too much
he
of
can
from
be
Yehezkiel
instant
in
burst
MLBB
by
Season 14. Though, however,
even
when
a
his name was still
Suyo-
Sin, we saw a
Suyo's
lot of
bow
Yehezkiel
attack.
Lilia.
Absolutely.
Loi
I mean,
is
it's one of
single-
the few picks that can apply a
single
lot of
combo
pressure to
probably
your
can
opponents,
kill her
right?
already.
As long as you are hitting those stacks and making sure that
It's
you
gonna
are
be a fast
continuously
kill.
keeping them in place, you're basically zoning
Like, the
in,
only thing
right?
that-
And
that's
let's not
gonna
forget
save
that at least with
Lilia
OE,
is gonna
yes, the
be
yin-yang reaction is
positioning.
great, but it also has the
Because
conditions
Lilia
of
is so
making sure
squishy.
you have an enchanted talisman, for an example. And you can even see, right, from the emblems itself, he wants to live in these fights to continuously throw them out. Oh,
Okay,
Flicker out from
almost died
Yehezkiel.
already.
Shadow Kill, not ready just yet. There you go. King Kong gonna be very low. Shadow Kill not able to transfer over to King Kong. Both teams surviving, no casualties as of the first minute.
Well, good thing though, you know, Yehezkiel doesn't go down, had to burn the flicker, so that is going to be down. Also the revitalize from Brusco. But both teams still obviously looking for that potential first blood, really on this side of the map here.
Okay, it's Kirk. We're just gonna walk up. Aran doing the same thing. Both of the tanks here, frontliners. It just seems like, you know, it's kind of a similar game that Brusco wants to play compared to Aran. It's all about screening, waiting, and I would say, distracting the back line.
I mean, as long as the back line is confused with where they need to go,
Yeah.
Team Liquid ID, we know for a fact they kind of want to go straight forward at their opponents, but only on the right conditions. And hopefully, it's based on where Super Prince is going to be showing himself.
And that's a part of this. Again, level 4 for Witty, not available just
Only
yet.
got a streak.
So not going to be able to go for that pick-off potential. Same thing on the other side. You know, it's Fnatic ONIC PH that wants to take their
As
time
an ML
they
content
approach
creator,
the
we
first
can't
objective.
miss
Don't want to overextend.
the
Brusco
freaking
has been
World Cup finals,
fantastic
right?
throughout the tournament, making plays himself, you know, setting things up like, for
It's the
example, the
freaking
lead
World
that
Cup
we saw
finals.
earlier on. Here's the taunt, though. Witty's in trouble.
Kundo, Witty jumping back and forth. Wave the dragon over to Brusco. That's Fabian walking up. Shadow kill to Brusco. AOD able to escape.
He's still alive, and now they keep on going forward. Aaron Shiki's hitting back against Super Prince. The front lines are starting to crumble.
Revitalize. Witty jumping
Lilia
back into
doing a lot
Kundo.
of
Knocking
poke
Brusco up.
damage, man.
Diversion to the back as well. Witty taken down by
First blood.
Kirk with that primal wrap.
And they'll make it
Oh, he's doing
happen.
well.
First blood still going, though.
Oh,
Brusco.
Oh my god.
He's alive, right?
I got
Whoa,
thought-
good. They all good. All right. First blood goes through as expected. We weren't hoping for this game to be extremely bloody. It's still a marathon. It's not a race.
Aran will be trying to zone them away. Queller comes in from King Kong. Fabian on Aran gonna go for the stun. Kirk with the onward, and that's the kill with a soul sever. 2 kills for the neutral objective. Fabian.
He's fine. Oh, whoa, he goes back. Kirk. Oh,
They're not done with it yet. They want to keep on trading as much as they can. They cannot let this gold go too far off their leads.
you see already the back and forth. The pendulum is already swinging this early in the
Always
game.
catches you.
And
Well,
that's what you want to do. If you're TLID,
been a
you want
decade
to
since I've
go
been
in
here.
for those pickoffs. You utilize the fact that you're so mobile
I thought it has
on
been
this
like 3
Hayabusa for
decades.
Fabian. He
Not
does
just one.
Counter-Strike already too. Black shoes.
They lower you already
Already used
forces
Hezkill.
Yeah, that was a
Lilia
lot of damage,
out of
man.
the
Diversion. Don't know if they spot it. Hezkill
black
spots
shoes.
it. Oh, no one takes it. Just a bit of vision, utility here and there for FNOP.
Great call. But so far, you can tell that both teams are trying to
Just one
determine
combo.
where the battle lines
Lilia
are, right?
is almost
Respect the borders. The river
already
has been such
forced
a
into
dangerous
black
place
shoes.
already in the first 4 minutes of the game, and only very small advantages have been created. So far, King Kong a single level ahead of Fabian.
Gonna be really
for
hard
now, and things could
to
start
play the Lilia
snowballing
here,
out of
but
control, 'cause even
if
Kurt
he
has
pulls
the
it
lead on
off,
Iran.
He has a lead right
Quite
now.
amazing.
Still kind of checking out the area here too, locking in the buffs before this next objective does come up. But so far, so good. Even for Fnatic ONIC, PH Kirk could be in trouble. Pops the Primal Wrath, might get run down.
No flicker. Fabian with the quad shadow, able to connect onto Kirk. He is all isolated. He will not use the resources here. It will just be a kill. A good pickoff for the cavalry.
And Fnatic ONIC PH have not found the trade on the opposite side. Close, but still no cigar this time. Woody able to cover on air on Shiki, knowing the motions coming in for Fnatic ONIC. That first rotation looks good. Here comes the next fight.
Taunt into Soul Sever from King Kong. Revitalize used up by Aran.
Whoa.
Oh my god, Brusco?
AOG defensively. And that will be it in that skirmish. Meanwhile, the Usurper, Fabian, up top, picking up a turret. Diversion coming down as well. King Kong charging up the surge. Won't be able to find it. Fabian should be able to escape freely.
Gets out freely, gets a turret. Fabian doing work right
So far,
now.
TLID
He's
doing
everywhere on the
quite well so
Hayabusa.
far.
And that's what Fnatic ONIC PH has to watch out
They
for.
have been
Head on a swivel, but again, they
matching
have the Luo
quite
Yi.
well.
We saw Super Prince play this hero to a T throughout this tournament. And for the M6 in general, it's been such a crucial pick for a lot of teams in their compositions and how they approach the macro
Still waiting
level
for
of the
the
game.
wombo
Now
combo.
that this turtle is up, though, second one for
Got
the
out into
taking, TLID has a very
Low E.
minor lead.
Or even low
And
E
they'll try to
into
get
Gatot.
control
Who
of this
knows, man?
too. Again, even if they plant Yehezkiel up front as
The
a
wombo
mage,
combo is
it's
gonna
fine.
be
You can
pretty
always
sick.
black shoes out and just try to bait out some of the resources from Fnatic, and that's why they're so careful on the approach. Oh, bottom side.
Oh, Kelra.
Actually,
Oh, he
man,
survived.
Fabian already used a shadow kill earlier, so no kill. Diversion on. Stopping the bush. Aaron Chiki able to dash away from
Why
the
is
Earth Shatter.
Idiot
That was
so-
really coming down.
so
King Kong
squishy?
securing the turtle.
He finds it. They
Somehow
manage to
King
walk
Kong gets
away. If they
the
disengage
turtle.
now, it's going to be a plus
Uh-oh.
for Fnatic ONIC PH here. But the Usurper will not let this stand. He's looking for another turret. That's 2 already secured.
Oh,
At this
Lilia
point, this
already
guy,
taking
he's a
damage.
jungler, but he's also a turret destroyer, right? He's pushed down 2 tier 1s. But look at this side of the jungle. They're going to be focusing here. Witty should be able to get out, takes the Queller, but
What's
he's
Lilia
fine.
building? What is...
But
I
they
mean,
do take a
not
buff,
Lilia.
and so they
Edith.
are going to try
What's
to find
Edith
something
building?
around the map, and that's what Fnatic ONIC will always do when they get the information on the moves coming out from TLID. So next focused for them, again, both teams already having 1 turtle, but the next time this comes up, the Lord is for the taking here. And that's where we really have to start to look. Are the items in place for them to fight out? Witty
Great dash away from the G no witty to be caught in the back spot.
Nice.
Kelra picks up the kill, shadow kill from
Kelra.
Fabian. Kelra's gonna be taken down by Fabian.
Right, Vitalize already popped down, and Super Prince is gonna get zoned out. Brusco should be gone for it. Yehezkiel bails out with the black shoes.
Oh, they still want to fight?
Oh, back into Fabian. Kirk going in as well.
Oh my
Rat to
God.
take him down.
That's so brave.
Shiki bursted
That's
by
so
the
brave by
yin-yang
Gatot.
reaction of Super
Could have went
Prince.
That's
badly.
a great collapse, a clap back from Fnatic
Could have
on
went badly.
BH. This has been
Oh,
a
Brusco
battle
there.
of inches so far. We haven't seen any real momentum, but at least this
That was
time
very
round,
brief.
Fnatic on BH fight on their terms after the initial aggression from TLID.
And that's what they had to have happen at this point. Again, waiting for that first lore to come up. That also allowed now Kelra has the Malefic gun on the Bruno alongside the Haas Claw. So he's got the 2 items. And over on the other side, Aaron Shiki still building up into the second item. But they also grabbed themselves that tier 1 turret now
Yo, Epic.
on the top side. So
Nice,
playing
flicker out into the
this
turret
in 20 seconds
on
when
the
that lore
Natalia
comes
yesterday.
up, Fnatic might decide
Nice
to go
one,
ahead
bro.
and approach this in a different way. Remember, every single time they can utilize Super Prince with the Luo Yi, show up at an off angle, and surprise TLID.
All right, so we're seeing a different approach to the Granger here in the Grand Finals. Aaron Shiki going for the safer approach. Usually we see Skypiercer item 2 diversion.
Oh.
Fabian's gotta be careful here.
They spot him.
Action, no, the taunt as well. No, Fabian gets away from the taunt, gets out of the worldy. Or just the last shot, actually. Not even worldy committed by Kelra.
But now the Lord, they've lost position on it, right? With Fabian so low, I don't think he can contest for this. Let's see how TLID is going to handle as
Good
they drop
position
Glorious
on
Pathway.
FNOP.
Glorious Pathway down as well. King Kong able to burst it down with the Soul Sever. Winnie jumping in with the Yundo and the
Oh,
Dragon.
nice,
And they
nice kick by
continue
Cho.
forward. Aaron Shiki holding
Yes,
his ground. They're
but
looking
got
for a
already.
fight. Fabian fights one. Kelra takes down another. And now
Bruno's
without any
still alive,
purifies,
though.
Kelra walks forward,
Holy
finds it.
shit.
Kirk takes it.
dead.
Aaron Shiki is down. And that is going to be a full wipeout here for Fnatic ONIC PH.
They got the tanks.
The gold standard. Kelra
TLID got the
making his
tanks,
mark on the world
but
stage in the Grand Finals.
they didn't get the damage
A
dealers.
wipeout, and now he's just balling down these turrets.
He saw Fabian take the turrets. He's taken the team and the mid turret, tier 2. Taking a look at the instant replay brought to us by Kadia. This setup was so good, and it looked like Team Liquid had an idea on how they could win this team fight. But the biggest
Holy
problem,
choke kick.
look at the positioning for
Was it-
Kelra. Untouched,
Brusco?
just able to move and groove
Or
and
was it
slide
the
around
mage?
and pick up
Hey, he
the
kicked Luo Yi,
kills
is it?
and clean things up.
I think that TLID, even though they had an idea in terms of execution, could not find it just yet, right? Oh no, Witty, he's
Oh,
The
man,
Bruno's damage
Kelra.
is insane.
This is the burst. Aaron Shiki even AOG. Aaron Shiki gonna be falling to Brusco. Diversion to the back.
And Brusco, he doesn't mind with Kirk and Super Prince already holding on. Yehezkiel making sure those
What the
minions are
heck?
down. They can't
Is
get
it
out of
going
this
on?
just yet.
Kelra is unstoppable, and it's going for more.
Oh,
as
nice flicker play.
Kelra gets a double.
Into the slide, he went the toss up, the slide, it's all on point.
Talking
The flicker
about
play.
chemistry, the Super family well connected there, making sure that the onward and the slide tackle are perfectly in combination, and they get to walk out for free despite being in the base with holy shields.
And this is why
Okay,
it's
ED.
just so infuriating. It's so annoying to go up against
That's the
Fnatic
wrong kick,
ONIC
bro.
Philippines. For the few 6 minutes we saw, we were like, all right, they were matching King Kong, they were matching
No WD
Kirk.
party.
But then Kelra shows up.
It's a tough game. It's a really, really tough game here. Based on the items, you can see the respect coming out from both sides, all right? Aaron Shiki currently at 2 items with Hunter Strike and the BOD. He's not going for Skypiercer this time around, but even Fabian, right? He's not going for Skypiercer either. He wants instant power. He hasn't gotten the War Axe just yet, but decided to finish the Malefic Roar first.
There it is, locking that in. And this is the difficult part of it, because if we have to look at and break this down, Team Liquid ID,
How
they
is
just had a
TLID gonna come back from
landslide
this?
goal deficit now. You can see it, right? They're feeling pretty good. The lightning emotes are out, the charge is up. But for Team Liquid ID, they kind of relying on Witty. But the problem is, he prioritized Magic Resist. But the Kelra's the problem right now. A couple shots alone brings Witty down, even
Kinda hard to
Iran on
come back from
Hylos.
this.
So now this is where they go ahead and continue to put the pressure, take the buffs, take whatever they want. And it's up
The
to
thing
Team
is that
Liquid ID and Witty
FNOP
and
doesn't
Aran
make
to figure
much
out
of
how
a-
do we deal with
FNOP
this.
doesn't make a lot of
Right now, the
mistakes.
next item, Power Spike, that
That's
we can
the
see,
thing.
Winds of Nature, already purchased by Kelra. He doesn't mind to go for those 1v1s, either against Fabian or
Additionally, oh
even
my God.
from Aaron Shiki. But at this point,
Okay,
I
he's
think
just
that
to recover HP.
TLID will have
But
to just sacrifice another
I can't see
inhibitor.
them
This next fight is going
making
to
a
make it or break
mistake
it for
that
them.
And Yehezkiel just can't get
exposes
close.
their draft.
The fact of the matter is, Kelra already has the Malefic gun, so he's going to be outranging the glooms coming down from Yehezkiel. And
Because
he needs to dish out a
what
bit more
TLID
damage
needs
to
is
get the
that
kill. he's going to
somehow
have to sacrifice the black shoes, maybe even the flicker. And
Lilia
I don't know,
actually
man, I don't
gets
see
a bit of
Lilia as
damage
an
in.
execute hero.
I mean,
on the
Lily
back
is
line.
supposed to be designed against Brutsko, maybe even Kirk, sometimes even King Kong if he's already dashed into the middle of the fight, right? You need
He's gonna
Aaron
take, like,
to kind of slow them
a
down so he can make sure
positional
he hits every single
error
one of his
on,
abilities. But for now, Fnatic
Bruno
ONIC, they
and
understand that they've got
Low
better
East, but
team fighting overall based on the number of fights that they've had around the river.
especially Bruno.
Iran will go ahead and give the
Kelra needs to make a huge mistake
Fnatic
for
ONIC PH will go ahead and start up with the
the
Lord here.
TLID to
They're pretty scattered across the
win
map,
the
so they
fight.
might just be making the call. You know what? Give up the Lord, give it to them, and get ready for a base defense because they got a lot of catching up to do. They're down 8,000 gold. The good thing is they hold on to the base turrets earlier on, but now that this Lord is getting ready to siege in, and what we've seen so far from the team fighting capabilities of this lineup from Fnatic ONIC PH, Team Liquid ID is going to have to pull some type of a miracle already. Diversion, just trying to spot things out. Iran is there alongside Fabian. Wants to go ahead and grab his purple buff before this fight, before this defense that they need to pull off. But they're just shoved off of it again. So they have no choice but to go ahead and get prepped and ready for that Lord crashing down on the bottom side.
Even walking up to a minion
flares
wave.
will go out, giving them
It's
the
kinda
information
scary
at this
for you,
point.
yeah.
And so now Fnatic ONIC PH, are they going to press the situation, dive into the base, over the walls as the Lord charges in?
Wouldn't be too bad of an idea if they do so, right? As long as Kelra has the space, he can do whatever he wants to, and even sidestepping the Death Sonata shots just to make sure TLID gives him respect.
Look at that, Milfic gun. That's what it gets you. You can hit the turret from so far away. It's a mortar. Slowly but surely just catapulting his way into the base turret. 2 base turrets gone just like
Systematically
that.
getting all the base
They're blitzing
turrets.
the base of Liquid.
Are they going to go for a third
Systematic.
here?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
That's
Oh, kick on the Edith goes down.
Unable to dish out
Not
enough
yet.
damage. Aran is demolished. Obliterated in front.
Edith can recover all the
And
HP.
with, that's tough. Iran is gone. Diversion.
Oh my god, almost
Oh.
head deal is quelled.
See?
And
Lilia
Brusco
gets
goes
melted
for the
too fast.
AOG. 2 members down.
She's
Literally
freaking
vaporized at this point, and now going for the endgame
Fishy.
scenario. They just don't have the items to hold on!
Kelra's just focused. FNOP claim game 1.
just look
in
at
a
how
dominant
fast
fashion.
Lilia goes down.
Dominant game number 1. 7-1 and 5 for the gold standard.
The items to
Members down.
Just look at Lilia here.
Demolished. Obliterated in front.
Just focus on Lilia.
And with, that's tough. Iran is gone. Diversion.
Oh my god, almost head deal is
Super fast.
quelled.
Gone.
And Brusco goes in for the AOG. 2 members down.
literally vaporized at this point, and now
Us exactly what happened here in game number 1.
Let me tell you what happened. Fnatic ONIC Philippines, this is the first time they play at the Axiata Arena stage. The first game is just to remind you of what they're about.
Yeah, Lilia is
If you're
very, very
thinking
good
coming
against
in
tank
that,
jungler.
okay, maybe TLID has chance. They came
Very,
in
very
here
good
and
against
they're
tank
like,
jungler.
let me
Very, very
remind
good
you,
against
we have not
short range
dropped
lineup.
a single
That
series.
doesn't, that cannot poke her so
Everybody
easily.
asked the question, what is Fnatic ONIC doing? Are they
Because she is very
resting? Are
squishy,
they
but she has
preparing?
high
What are
damage
they
and
doing their
slow.
off time while you
So
see
she's very good
TLID
against
fight it up
melee-
against SRG? And I guess now
melee
we have
short
our
range kind of
questions
lineup.
answered.
Dude, honestly, like looking at this game, I gotta say 10 minutes flew by so fast. Shout out to Hello Panda, by the way. 10 minutes flew by so fast that I was shocked. I was shocked. I went for a quick toilet break. I came back, and then I'm like, what happened? You gentlemen, tell me, what happened?
That was what you call a lightning round.
That was a lightning round. That was definitely, it was a quick little, that was a pre-round. You know, it was a pre-round. It was a warm-up. But right now, it felt like FNOP came in, warmed up. They waited their timing. They didn't rush things in the beginning. They even let themselves take a couple deaths. They
Yeah, Malefic
sacrificed 2
gun
off-lane towers. But Kelra
makes
never
short
went
range
down.
heroes
In the
a
moment
bit
we
hard to
got to
play.
that first Lord, it showed
For example,
tremendously the patience of them, not
Moskov,
only on a
one of
full
them.
fight level,
But Moskov
in
actually
those
works
team
because
fights, the way they approach
at least he
each
has the
fight, they're
teleport.
always looking for the turnaround.
That
This
can,
is what you get
like, he
when
can
a
force his way
team
into a team
such
fight.
as the Super Family ends up
Like,
with a draft
force
that
his
they're
way
very
immediately into
comfortable with.
close range.
This is what I meant when
Lilia
each
cannot.
team brings
She
their
has to
own
walk-
meta, and you play
she
that
has to walk
within
up into the team fight.
evolving meta. And Team Liquid ID, they did try, right? Like they tried to one up and say, oh, we're gonna pick the Granger first, and then we end up with a Cho, and then small jungle pool, Hayabusa.
reminds me
It's
of
not like they
EVP
had
then.
a bad draft. It's just
I guess
Fnatic
so.
ONIC know this game so
But I
well
still think-
and know how to play.
I
in
still think
crafts,
Marco
which
is a better
was, again, why
goal
in
laner
10
than
minutes,
Kelra.
they were able to.
But
as you
both are
say,
very
just
good, of
take
course. I'm
over.
not saying that
And
Kelra is bad.
taking over a domination, a lightning
fantastic.
round, as Leo
But I
stated.
think
And
Marco
to me,
is more
something
clean.
that stands out was Brusco the Bruiser on this Gatot. We saw several engagements where he went in, took several hits, went back out, waited a second, looked back, saw Aaron Shiki, jumps back in, and guaranteed the kill. Whereas I feel like Witty, he was just having a very hard time on those initiations.
Right now, gentlemen, elephant in the room, this Lilia pick. Do you guys feel like it's serviceable in this series? Or is this going to be the last time we see this Lilia?
I don't think the
Lilia was the problem. The Lilia was packing a punch. It was giving them very good early game rotations. It was clean. Honestly, some of the big mess-ups came from the Cho, came from Witty, either over-aggressing, the team fight's already over, he's re-engaging when he's a little too low on health. You know, things of that nature was my issue, at least, with this match.
And here comes a term that we often hear
he
in
didn't
analysis,
get kicks on
forced
the
errors. I think
crucial
it was
targets.
up to the bruiser,
He kept
playing
kicking
that man-to-man
the
defense
ED,
throughout 80% of the game. That
which is not
Weedy.
the best
so
kick
you
can kick on unless she's already transformed.
Is the extra battlefield mobility provided for by the Lo Yi. The Lilia was just she had to check every corner. The Lo Yi though, you saw that there was a micro diversion, even inside their own base. TLID wasn't safe.
Don't blame Cho for not finding Kelra though.
That keeps TLID
because Kelra's
on their
positioning
toes,
is
even from the start.
immaculate.
I think we all know what the tenacity
So
does now. I mean,
if he wants to find Kelra, right, it has to be like
from Brusco to Bruiser. There was just so
in
many
the middle of a
like
team
he was
fight.
like 1 HP, but that
Like
little
really,
bit of
like,
defense made
the fight is already happening halfway.
That just shows you.
Then
it's
he can
more
find
of
Kelra.
I
If
don't
not,
really feel like the draft was the issue.
he'll
It's just
probably never
micro
find Kelra
plays. You see
in the start of the
just
fight.
overextending, getting picked off, and that one slight decision made the
Raf's not
difference.
gonna make a positional mistake
I want
like
to
that.
touch on the draft a little bit, but we're going to do it after this analysis because I'm seeing something here. I wonder if it will happen again in game number 2, but now we're looking at the damage numbers, and
We did a
Kelra
tough
had a
job.
pretty good time. But
If
honestly,
he takes
Aaron
throw again,
Shiki,
he's gonna
even
find the
though
same
from a losing position,
problem.
46,000
Not
damage.
not
honestly,
being
isn't
able to
that
find
bad.
any of the
What the
damage dealers.
Untouchable one did was get out of lane much sooner. I think that's where a lot of the Sonics,
Might be
all
better
of the
to get
fans and the
to
super
go
fans,
for
that's where
something
they
like
stood up and
aggro
said,
or
oh, it's
something.
real now. Because
Maybe a
remember
counter
that
engage for
first big
TLID
team fight where everyone was
What
part
might be a
of,
better
that
strategy.
I'd say Liquid
Counter
ID
engage.
won technically.
But it doesn't
He
fit their
got out of the lane,
playstyle.
Kelra didn't. So that means Aaron Shiki and Liquid ID know
TLID
how to
likes
use
to
the
play
map
aggressive,
and how to space
brawl.
out when they
Yeah,
can.
the brawl server
Apparently that
after
didn't
all.
cost Aaron Shiki much. So that's why he
So
did
if they
this much
go
damage compared to Kelra, who took it
counter
slow,
and
played the
counter
long game,
game,
and eventually hit his power spike.
doesn't fit
It was
their playstyle.
inevitable for the core to outscore Liquid IDs.
And now we got to look at the MVP of the game. It's going to be the gold standard. Kelra on that Bruno. One of the best heroes giving it to one of the best players. That's a recipe for disaster.
Kelra with the
Kelra
signature
has continuously
Filipino
been a
haircut.
monster. And
Center
he
parting.
needed to take that patience in the early game. He needed to wait right around 7 minutes, 7 to 8 minutes.
Is that the
That's
first
when
item
those
in the
power
big gun?
spikes start hitting, and that's when FNOP is like, okay, let's do this. And Kelra did it so well, even in that last big team fight. We'll see it when the highlights come up, I'm sure. He goes off, he takes down Witty while the rest of the team is fighting, and then he comes in through second, third quarter of that fight and just starts cleaning up with perfect distancing, perfect turnaround.
And how did he do that? A priority on Haas clause. So many times in this game, especially in the early to mid, Kelra we put down to a third of his health. And that's why you said in the later 2/3 of that fight, he would somehow come back, is because of the Haas claw. And gentlemen, guess what the second item was?
The range.
The Malefic gun. And that suddenly changed the way Team Liquid ID had to push their frontliners forward. Aran was at half health even before he could see Kelra. Widdy was usually dead even before the fight really began.
Yeah, honestly, looking at this matchup here for Fnatic ONIC Philippines, we were talking about how great the micro is, and so far they're really showcasing it. I feel like for both teams, they have this understanding that moving around the map, we both know how to do that. But let me out-muscle you. And I gotta say, Fnatic ONIC Philippines, they really showed their muscle here. Speaking of muscles, I'm actually looking
think he built
at
three hammer
how
than
the
Haas.
draft really progressed in the first game just
Actually,
now.
that's possible. That
In
is
terms
possible.
of how the game played out, we see a lot of different roles really making the picture of how this game plays out. But in the draft, it does look like Fnatic ONIC Philippines, they're respecting Fabian, making sure that he doesn't get the alpha. So in my head, is it going to be a strategy for TLID not to ban out the junglers just so that Fabian and King Kong can have a fair matchup.
Can
because
TLID
when
actually play
Fabian's
a
not
counter game
on a hero
lineup?
that he can
I think that's
initially
better
perform
for
by
them.
himself. Not saying he's not good on the Hayabusa,
Really?
but something like a Joy, something like a Suyo.
Just stick
it's a
together,
different
play
TLID.
and play counter gang.
It's definitely a different TLID, and I think when we come to this next game,
Or
there's a
maybe
big chance
force,
TLID takes
like,
first pick.
don't
So
play
we are
Troll,
definitely going
but
to see some
something
differences in
different.
draft,
I
differences
don't know.
in
It's a brawl
bans,
server.
and the way things are driven.
Actually, they
through
managed
that.
to catch
Big
Terra
chance
a few
maybe
times
we see them favor
in the early
Fabian
game.
and give
The
him the
Hayabusa
Suyo up
managed to
front,
catch
or maybe FNOP bans
Terra
it out.
like
We'll have to see
2-3
exactly
times
how it goes. And again,
in
I
the
don't
early
think it was a
stages.
complete draft issue. I think FNOP knew their power spike opportunity. They executed it perfectly, and TLID didn't respect it. They didn't respect that 7.5-minute rush and just over-engaged. They didn't keep it steady.
I agree with you that I also don't feel it is a draft issue, but we gotta respect the draft here because it really does look like the coaches, they're making some mental notes of how they feel, how they move around the map with certain heroes.
Hello, stop.
And I feel like this is the intricacies when we're looking at the grand finals.
You are still
is
late
it a bad
today,
draft?
though.
Absolutely not. It's an amazing draft. But the coaches
Not on
know
time,
the
brother.
difference between a Joy, a Suyo, a Hayabusa, a Lancelot, a Ling. And that's why they're keeping the options to the point where it's like, you're good on this hero, but we know what you're going to do on second minute, the third minute, and we can punish that.
Yeah, speaking of punish, we're seeing even the gold laners, like you're still seeing the Bruno starting to walk, you're seeing the Granger starting to walk. They're willing to roll that dice, right? If we get the Granger, hey, we know we can still win on it. If we get the Bruno, we can do that as well. So now it's more of that prio on limiting that jungle potential.
You know what? If it does come down to it, we are still looking at about, what is it, 47-53 win rate.
Damn,
for Blue and Red.
I'm kind of hungry.
If ever some way,
Let me
somehow,
go and get
Liquid
some
ID
food.
does, you know,
Be right back.
if Coach St. DeLucas gives the blessing, hey, leave open the Joy, leave open the, I don't think the Fanny's gonna see the light of day. So leave open the Joy, and then they trade for the Blue Joy. Is the question, is that gonna be a fair game? Is that gonna be like a better go for Team Liquid ID? I'd say no. I'd say it's possible that Liquid still just folds.
Question here. Before that, we got to look at a quote here. The test of champions from Coach St. DeLucas. Over the past 3 weeks, we've worked to instill a champion's mentality. Although the players are new to the M Series, they've embraced this mindset. Being a pro is easy, but developing a champion's mentality is not. After our second loss to FNOP, it was chaotic and emotional. We had to make adjustments to our playstyle and strategy. Facing them again will be a critical test, and losing for a third time would be devastating. As we prepare for this match, it all comes down to mentality, focus, and enjoying the match. Weezy, this is an insight that I have not seen. I didn't know losing against Fnatic ONIC Philippines affected them this badly. It was chaotic and emotional.
Well, I'll tell you what, to go somewhere you've never been, you got to be willing to do something you've never done, right? And that showcases that he's ready to take it to another level. He realizes that there's a difference from being a pro player and being a champion, right? It's bouncing back, being resilient, and that is what I expect to see from TLID in game number 2. Now, it's going to be a battle, right? It's these little decisions. We all agreed the draft is one thing, right? But it wasn't a one-sider because of the draft. It was just slight decisions that costed TLID that game.
You know what, Stefan, what was that little nugget of wisdom? To do something.
To go somewhere you've never been, you got to be willing to do something you've never done.
And that's what I'm trying to say about this whole jungle matchup. We've seen the Joy Suyo, we've seen the Fredrin Suyo, and we know how that works out. But what if TLID find a different angle of attack? Something that maybe we haven't even presented yet.
Granger jungle.
Just don't ban.
I mean, Syzygen used it. Granger jungle. Pick up Granger and Bruno.
It's a different
All right,
time.
back.
Something different.
I mean,
some
he is saying
M&Ms.
what you're saying, but I don't
Got
know
a
if we're talking
small
about that
pack
much extremes, you know?
of M&Ms.
I think, I don't know, when I see the alpha in the last draft, FNOP decides to go for the
Shall
alpha.
we vote on the next match?
And then we also see the Joy ban. I think you have to respect and kind of understand where they're approaching and say, fine, we're going to ban Suyo too. And just take all of those
Game
big picks
2.
off the field.
No.
Either you leave a lot open or you take it all off the field and bring it back down to Stone Age,
And
right? You bring it back down to something different.
Here's why I'm so confident in the jungle argument for Fnatic ONIC Philippines. It's because we've seen games where King Kong was given scraps. We've seen King Kong forced to play the Fredrin again. We know that he is an assassin specialist. We know that he's such a mechanically gifted player. If you give him a hero that just
Guys,
Heroes that I do
why
well
not we
with,
try
he still does
let's
well. Somehow he
try
works for the team, so
making
I don't know if
TLID
they do
win.
just the same.
Everybody
Yeah, but
just
I
vote
feel
for
like we can
TLID.
actually explore,
Let's
the
bless
idea coming in from
TLID.
Jax, make it ground zero. Have a
If we can
gentleman's
get
agreement to be like,
If we can
all
get to
these
80% votes
S-tier
on TLID,
junglers
I think they will
starting
win.
to become a nuisance. If we take down most of them, then we'll see things like the Bane. Heck, something we haven't seen in ages. Maybe we get to see the new skin of Boxia. Who knows?
Don't tease me.
But the thing is,
I'm getting excited.
I feel like that is a very big risk to take because it's a gentleman's agreement. TLID might think that, but ONIC might read that and be like, oh, you want to get all of these junglers out? I'm not going to play your game. I'm not going to ban any of them out. I'm going to ban something else.
If I know anything, I know that Coach Why
Come
Not
on, we
Coach
need
hates in
TLID to
general,
at least win one
but
match, right?
You're asking for it. If you just suddenly allow things like this,
Minimally to
then
one,
you
at least
best
one
believe
match.
be ready to be punished.
Well, I mean, we are in the state of a game, right, where we're on grand finals. These are the two best teams in the world. You know, you have to be able to play scraps if that's what you get. You have to be ready to go against super meta picks. You know, we can break down, we can theorize the draft all day long, but in the end, you know, like I said, I feel like in the end, Team Liquid ID has to perform in game with whatever is handed to them. They have to be prepared for that, and that's where I think they really need to step up here.
I think even with a gentleman's agreement, right, even if you go even further beyond that, right, it's the elements inside the game that are making the difference. The crowd control, the burst damage, that's what's making the difference. And honestly, I feel like if Witty, if he can't find the setups, he needs help. You pick up this Lilia, right? You trust that that's going to deal the damage, and you expect Witty to pick up all these pieces and get these setups, and maybe Aran rushing in as well, but it's not enough. Maybe getting the mid laner, the crowd control should have been the aspect as well to help Witty on these engagements. If they had those setups, maybe Aran could be the one to deal out that damage.
Alexander, that is a good angle. I like that maybe Yehezkiel has to now suddenly play utility again, not true core.
But we've seen that happen, and for that to happen,
Congrats, Epic,
he needs to
for
have
reaching,
a hero like the Khalid.
I don't know,
that there's some balance
Mythic.
there. A little bit of damage,
Congrats.
a little bit of crowd control. But remind me, remind you guys that in the draft, they actually targeted Yehezkiel. I mean, like, after the first 3 picks, we knew what was going to happen. We knew that the mid lane was not going to be safe. They
Hello,
battled
DG, I'm doing good.
as well, so that the
Thank you for
CEO
asking.
can gang. So I see the idea here, gentlemen, but we're going up against King Kong. Mid lane,
How about yourself?
I got to tell you, it's
How's your day
nonsense.
going,
Even
bro?
with an Aurora, even with a Vexana. At least that's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, so much of this game is going to be set up by the mid laners. Witty plays such an important part for his team, and he's really got to perform, you know. I mean, and if the Cho is maybe
Falcon is the
Cho
second
not
strongest team
option,
because
yes,
they
it
took
feels
2
good
games from FNOP.
sometimes. You can get those big picks, but we're also seeing it just get melted down. His emblem build, he picks up Thrill, he gets damage instead of going full tank, you know? I mean, it's maybe a
Could
little
be
bit
just a
smarter to do
playstyle
something
clash.
a little bit bulky because
But
you know
definitely
Kel is
you
gonna
need
be
more
hitting
than a
hard,
playstyle
and
clash
you
to
know
beat
that
FNOP.
King Kong is going to be hitting hard.
Twice.
Just putting it out there, if there's no Khalid, there's also the Jawhead.
The Jawhead would have looked
A lot of
nice there.
damage.
I thought about it, but
A lot of damage.
we'll see what happens. We're jumping into the draft now. There goes the Cho ban. There goes the Suyo ban.
Oh no, it might actually happen. Go back to the
They want
Stone
Joy.
Age. What if this is a Joy ban?
Joy ban. It's got to be.
Do you rush Alpha?
But then
Hey, but the
FNOP
thing-
just picks Fred or something.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, like, now we have a dynamic here because we know that FNOP, they can take risks in the drafts. Like, you can pick up
They
the
ban
Joy.
Suyo.
Dude,
That
King
leaves
Kong has
Eve
played so many
open.
Joys, he probably tells his team, this is where he's pathing. This is where he's ganking. This is his power spike.
They
this is how
want
we
Eve
deal with it.
on
this is
Ezekiel.
what FNOP did so well on first pick. They didn't just ban one jungler. They banned the Alpha and the Joy. They said Suyo is going to be gold this
Okay, they
match.
banned
He's
Eve
going to be the
anyway.
main prio.
So
And I
they
think
can
this
get
could
Joy
be maybe the mess
TLID,
up for
if they want.
unless they're giving Joy over and they have a lot of confidence in a Fredrin here.
Unless they go for the Joy, which I think Pavian
And they
did,
take the Joy.
and we come
So they
into
can
one
go
of
Bruno
your
here.
major discoveries in the knockouts.
Bruno Cho.
100% win rate against Joy right now. I
Bruno
mean, it's
Cho,
just looking
Hylos.
good, but they don't have to pick it up front. They pick
Go
up the
Hylos,
Bruno here.
either one I
They
think.
can go for
Most likely.
the
Or maybe they go for
Hylos,
low
something
E
of that
immediately.
nature.
Also shadows.
The
Yeah,
low E,
they do.
More comfort.
Yeah, gonna have the mobility, gonna have the element of surprise.
They
work for
don't
Fnatic
really want to
ONIC.
give it
Now,
to
yeah, with the Joy
TLID.
pickup definitely gonna be a challenge. I'm right there with you, Trex. I definitely believe. With
So
that 100% win rate on
TLID can
Fredrin,
go for
that's possibly the
Hylos here.
wisest decision here. But I mean,
Maybe
they've got a lot
take
working
the
for them
Granger
already,
if they
right?
really
Alex
want
Bruno,
it
a
that
heavily
badly.
trialed marksman, the best marksman so far, alongside the Granger as well.
I mean, here's the thing. Reminding that
I don't
before
think
this,
Granger
Fnatic
is
on
that
Philippines,
needed
they had a
that
draft
much though.
where it's 100% for that
But Granger is
Bruno.
good
I
against
still remember
Lowy.
the draft.
That's the
It's
thing.
Bruno,
Granger is pretty good against Lowy.
Matilda, having the Cho in the EXP, as well as Fredrin in the jungle. They played that kind of composition before. They have an option to do that again.
Yep, that was game 1 against Falcon Esports of Myanmar. And that went all the way, but it opened with such a banger. I think they can definitely do that still with the Lu Yi. And there it is, the Fredrin, baby.
I knew it was coming. I mean, there's some coaches that maybe aren't willing to risk it. There's some coaches that
Fred
maybe
is
don't
so good
feel
against
comfortable
Joy.
with their jungler on this, but we've been saying it. King Kong will play whatever you hand him right now, and he's going to make this Fredrin look good. So what does TLID do to answer this? It's a troublesome spot. You either have full faith that you're going to be able to play around it, or you go for the Team Spirit swap. You go for the mid lane Joy maybe, and then it's a wait and bait.
So what we want to see now is more,
but I want to
more crowd
back
control
a bit. We were
from
talking about
FNOP.
this, where Weezy, you were the one that said that
I
you
lost
need some kind of
fantastic
control
bet.
mage. And I said, if you want that,
Ben.
you need a damaged roamer. And now they have that. They have the TLID. And the thing is, they're not going up against an assassin now. They're going up against a Fredrin. So the counter here, the CC mid, as in like crowd control mid, it makes sense.
Yeah, and having this Joy is definitely going to be a threat, but with that Fredrin is some good security from FNOP, and yeah, right there with you with your Heskill. He should be going for the utility realm. It looks like they were
Actually,
kind of on
Kufra
the
is pretty
same
good.
sheet of music as us, right?
It's a
With
pretty good pick in
crowd control from
Fnatic
it's
ONIC
just
lineup.
not enough of those setups. A lot of those
Kufra
engagements that they're
or
fighting it
maybe
out on,
even,
it lost because
maybe even
Brusco
Atlas.
was the first one to
Atlas
find
is
the
also
major
pretty good.
setup play to win over the trade.
Yep, I'm 100% with you, gentlemen, and I hope that Liquid ID is, because that's what they need right now, a stopper in mid. Aurora still up there. Vexana, if you really want to get down to it.
Vexana.
If they
Actually,
put,
EDIF also
Barca
works well.
Here, what would that
EDIF
feel like?
also
Would
works
that be
well
enough?
as a
Would that be
roamer.
okay?
For FNOP or TLID?
For
Almost
Liquid.
anything
For me, it's
that
a
can
little bit
instant
difficult
stun.
because even the Bruno
The Joy is
with
nice.
the Worldy can cause chaos there.
And it's not so easy for you to spot where the diversion's coming from.
Exactly.
We've seen, well, half a dozen diversions spotted by the random
Okay, they banned
ice
EDIF.
blast
Yep.
by an Aurora. So yeah, I agree. Let's see. Let's see if Liquid ID will go that round.
It's also tough to pick up a Farza on this first pick side because FNOP can always bring in one more counter pick if they
Got
want. A lot of answers. I'm still wondering, do we
I don't
think,
think-
are we
I
sold
don't
on
think
the fact
Matilda
that
will be
this
a good pick
Khalid
here.
is Rome right here? Or do we maybe see something else picked up for TLID?
I think Rome is the right decision, but you could possibly pull out the Gatot here as well.
They can
And,
take the Cho
it'd
still.
still kind of be the same situation.
Oh, but Cho
I
is
feel
banned.
like for
Sorry.
Fnatic, though,
Didn't see
I feel
that.
like the same rule applies to them. They could change this up entirely. You have the Lu Yi, you have the crowd control. You technically could go in for a Mathilda here because you have Fredrin with the setup, the energy eruption, and you also have a lot of crowd control from the Lu Yi.
One thing to note, Matilda, this
I actually
is
like
MPL Indonesia
Atlas
has
here.
picked up. For you to fight against Matilda, you
Even
pick up
even
that
Kufra
Khalid.
is fine.
So this
to be
Khalid is
honest.
also showing to Fnatic on
Kufra
Philippines
is
that
also fine.
we know that Matilda is in your arsenal. We have the deterrent for that pick.
TLID got to come up with something here. They go for the Vex, they go for the stiff arm, they go for the ability to help out in these objectives. It's
Vex is
something that
good.
they had trouble with last time that we saw. Final pick, EXP lane. What about the CC? Against, it shreds down on this Fredrin.
It's good against the Fredrin.
Can survive diversion
Phobias,
ambushes. Instead, they go
expected.
for the old favorite. The
It'll be either Phobias or
That's
CC.
what?
Either one.
3 dashes.
Yeah.
Because of their HP damage
And right
is
now,
good against
Fnatic
them.
on Philippines, final pick here, and they themselves pick up the CC. This is a
guess
pretty good
taking
pick,
CC
but
to go
gentlemen,
against the
so far
Phobias.
we've been calling the draft. We know the differences of ideas coming into game number 2. TLID going up against Fnatic
This
on
is pretty
Philippines.
bad
Fnatic on
against
Philippines.
Joy
Quite-
though. Actually,
in terms of
TLID's
the
lineup
win
looks
condition, they have
looks
Kara,
more-
they have the CC
looks
as
better.
well. But now, thank you very much, gentlemen. But we have to continue with the show. We have to give it over to the casters for game number 2
think TLID has
of
a
this
chance
best
here.
of 7.
Thank you very much, panel, for breaking down Game 2 draft here. Once again, 14 minutes on the clock in Game 1.
TLID
Can
has a good
TLID
chance here.
bring the series even, 1-1 in this best of 7?
The
Gideon,
only
how do you
thing
feel about the lineup?
is
I
that
think it's going to be a
there is-
little bit hard, right? Lane-to-lane
there
matchups
is always
obviously
Lowy.
leaning towards gold,
That's
but
the
hopefully
thing.
they can get enough of a
Lowy
lead on
is always a
Aaron
game
Cheeky
changer.
and hold it until about mid-game where he can pop off. Otherwise, FNOP, that is, I mean,
Yeah.
The Fredrin speaks for itself. The CC2, Fredrin against Joy, CC against that Khalid and the Phobius matchup.
We'll see if it's all going to come to place once again. Team Liquid ID, a different lineup, able to fight the range that we saw earlier and maybe even contain Kelra, the gold standard on the Bruno once again as they go ahead and face off. But even with this, you know, the Fredrin has popped up a little bit more throughout now the end of the M6 tournament here. But it was a newer pick that was picked up a lot against these assassin junglers, or, for example, the Joy that ends up working out really well. So King Kong going back to a familiar and comfort pick, if you will, that the world was used to. Now in the mid lane, still trying to check things out here. Super Prince really low.
I feel like the world forgot about the 2 years that we had to deal with Fredrin in the
Can we
jungle.
forget?
I don't think anybody can forget that, right? But considering that Team Liquid has the Khalid on their side, they can force out priority, whether through mid, through top side. It depends on the direction that they want to go to. And for now, it's a help Aran get out of this lane. We're just going to let Aaron Shiki do his thing in the gold.
Yeah, I wonder what emblems he actually went for here. If Aran actually went for more agility, Wilderness Blessing, perhaps to just rotate around the map and help the team get neutral objectives, or if it's more of that brawly style where he wants to go up against Kirk, he wants to win it out. Witty, though, on the other hand, this is a comfort pick for him. Witty the Wise on the Khalid. We saw this also yesterday, flicker out King Kong. Wow, that's quick for a Fredrin.
Yeah, he showed up real fast. Here's the look at the emblem. So to answer that, Aran does have the Festival Blood, a little bit of extra movement speed too, but it is also just Fnatic ONIC PH that likes to roam around, couple tenacities. Again, this is a tankier Super Prince Luoyi that we have seen in the past, but again, now mid lane.
Oh, no flicker on Witty. Yeah, reaction coming down as well. Revitalize. Oh, Witty gonna be caught, pops in. The healing, Kirk gonna be caught in the Curse Blast. FNOP and TLID are just poking each other.
I mean, this is just the kind of predetermined, hey, I demand respect around the river. And I understand why TLID wants to fight, right? At the end of the day, they can give up these neutral objectives, but they cannot afford to take that permanent damage. Whoa! They can jump right into the fight!
Oh, in front of pursuit, first blood for Aran. King Kong though picks it up as an internal guard. Disengage now, Ton over 2. That's the kill over Witty. Gonna be caught in the bad spot. No flicker for Witty. Oh, no kill. FNOP don't want to chase. Fabian steals away the purple buff and gets out.
Gets
Not
out.
actually wins
Gonna be able to take
wins
that
that
purple buff away,
They
but
got 1 kill and
Fnatic
1
ONIC PH
purple.
wanted to go in and fight. They will get it. I'm surprised too. Witty was still able to survive that, even without the flicker that he had to burn earlier on. But ultimately, still even. You know, nothing too crazy, but the objective did go over to Fnatic ONIC PH.
Well, actually, I think it might
This
not
is
be
gonna
as
be
even
good
as we
against
think it is, right?
Phobius.
Fabian's level 6 to King Kong's level 5. He had a previous 2-level lead because of the
So
storm
actually,
buff.
Joy
I think that Aran was given
might
the
want
call,
to
hey,
focus
if you can
on
get a kill, that'd be great.
hitting the
And now
CC ASAP.
Fabian will maintain that 2-level lead throughout this match.
Yeah, and the fact that Witty actually got out was just so valuable for them. They got the purple buff down below though. It's gonna be a gank. Aaron Shiki, good use of the Death Sonata to get the AoE down on Kelra, and it clears the wave just in time to escape. Up top, Aran's actually winning this match. Oh, Kirk brought back again in front of pursuit. That was not the empowered skill 1.
Talk about the discipline, man. I mean, he held on to the vengeance. They're going to take a trip, though. Goes to the top side.
Fabian electrifying beats, gets him out to safety. Witty rotating as well. Raging Sandstorm, Super Prince flickers out.
He forces the flicker as soon as possible. Super Prince in so much trouble, gets hit by the Eternal Guardian as well.
Aran picks up the kill, another infernal pursuit. Now Brusco is going to be chased
Joy
down.
has
Witty
nothing to
rotating
stop
again,
her, man.
Going in, looking for some damage, but Brusco should be fine. It'll be another trade on the
Without
board.
Fred
as
and
TLID
Gatot,
were capitalizing
is
on
stopping the Joy.
FNOB's attempts.
Now they pull ahead slightly more for Team Liquid ID. And now Super Prince, that's twice, right? Yo, to Kirk!
Vengeance used up by Kirk. Can he get away? Witty will try to jump in. Infernal pursuit.
Oh.
Kirk,
Oh my God.
So the Brave by 1v2. Kirk slain by Witty up top.
What
Okay,
the
no
fuck?
pressure, no sweats there. They got the dive off, they got the kill that they were looking for, and still we see that the advantage is held by TLID.
This is like a
Witty
page
and
out of the
Aran
book
are
we saw
sure
in,
angry with that, Joy.
Game 1 from FNOP, where the layering of the skills and the timing from TLID is on point so far. Now, can they maintain that? They've gotten themselves a nice, comfortable gold lead, 2K ahead. They're building in now, first items all locked in, but this, Aran again.
Oh, the pursuit now going to be chunked low. Kill pick up the kill. Fabian jumping in the back line. Electrifying beats to run away. Eternal Guard not connecting. That's a good yin-yang reaction, or actually, now Kelra. Flicker forward, AOT.
He continues moving forward. Kelra needs to hold this position as Witty has to slow them down. They find one in Aaron, Jiki, and Kirk trading, and they want to go for one with the Raging Sandstorm. Wow. This fight between these two teams, nobody is giving up. Resources being thrown left and right.
No, I mean, it looks like you would think that there wouldn't be that moment, but then they crashed down. And again, that fight was started by Aran. He wanted it, but also now the two turtles in the hands of FNOP, plus a turret. Kelra, one hit away still, might go down initially. Aran goes in. No, he flickers forward.
Yeah, a big flicker burnt, and Kelra is just having fun here in the bottom lane. Kelra with 2 kills is just so scary.
I mean, it's scary now, but he doesn't have the Berserker's Fury, right? He's building up to a Malefic gun, which I think he should be getting sometime soon. In the meantime, I think that Fnatic ONIC PH, despite the slight lead going over to TLID, the first item power sparks are finally starting to roll in.
Yeah, they're catching up with those first items. That's a Thunderbelt now too. Super Prince just got the glowing wand, so now working on his next. And I'm surprised, again, where's he gonna go with this diversion? Brings in King Kong with him. Malefica now picked up for Kelra. They're gonna get spotted out, but Fabian might be in trouble.
Okay, Fabian.
Fabian.
Able to retreat, going in. Super Prince flickering back into
Fabian,
King Kong.
Fabian.
Now it's Gatan over. Fabian
Double.
locked down. Brusco picking up that kill. Aran looking for the play.
The help
Raging
came very
Sandstorm
fast.
and the flicker.
Oh, he connects, and now the revitalized Kelra
No
alive.
damage.
Winnie, he's gonna get melted
TLID
still.
2
King Kong
disconnected.
holds the line.
Kelra!
TLID so disconnected.
And Kirk with a follow-up. Kelra gets his skill down. It's a wipeout.
What? Just like that, 6 minutes, 36 seconds into the game, they achieve a wipeout against Team Liquid ID. That's what we call a pinch.
That is a pinch and more, and they're gonna get more off of
The
it.
Brawl server is getting outbrought.
Again, you already see the lightning come out, and it looks like
The
they
Brawl
want to play
server is
that
getting
way
outbrought.
even in game 2.
The champions of the Brawl server
And Team Liquid ID,
getting outbrought.
after that shocking wipeout, will have to readjust the game plan moving forward. Last turtle spawning up. Kirk just holding his own.
He knows. He knows. He's a little too strong right now. I don't know how else I could say this, right? Just a War Axe. Oh, where's it? Where's it going? To the top side. Doesn't spot him out. I'm pretty sure they saw the River Crab get taken there.
Uh-oh.
You're gonna send him up. Witty.
They spots him out.
Oh.
Puts him away. Now it's Brusco with the taunt as well. King Kong, there you get reaction. Oh, shot Witty gets away just barely as he buys enough time for Fabian to recall.
How many times has Witty gotten away in this game, and he's gonna have to continue to do that. Even looking at the items, again, as we split down the roles, as Kelra works on the tier 1 here. Witty's only got a Thunderbelt himself. You can see Starlium Scythe now too for Fabian, still working on his next, and Aran, Thunderbelt too. So even the front line might be in danger because of the fact that this power spike for Kelra specifically.
Look at this guy!
Look at it. That's just the preview already, and he doesn't even have the Berserker's Fury yet.
Oh my goodness, I'm looking at the gold rankings on our little monitors, and he's got a 2K lead of his own, right? Oh my goodness. No, he's not gonna die here, right? They just gotta sacrifice the tier 2. No point to fight now.
Kelra is
This is game 2, bro.
outranging a Granger.
Yeah, that's, you know, at that point, and now that he gets and just works that turret down, King Kong's still looking for a fight. Witty.
Kilroy with a side. Brusco picks up the kill.
Too much damage.
Sonata does nothing. Kelra, slight tackle forward.
He's just showing off at this point. He's just showing off. I mean, what else can you say about it, right? He's getting away with everything.
He's sitting there.
He's got the super fan behind him.
Oh my lord.
If I had the super fan behind me too, I'd probably be as confident as Kelra, but right now they're already assaulting the base turret.
Aran walking up the Eternal Guard, not connecting. Brusco was able to dodge away from that one. Kelra is just munching on this turret from out of turret range.
ONIC won the first game.
9 minutes here as we move into that 9 minutes. 4 to 10, 7K gold lead. This is a ridiculous amount as Fnatic ONIC PH are putting Team Liquid in a slow chokehold, and they just can't breathe.
No, they can't. Yin Yang reaction. The balls from Kelra. Diversion
Prince.
from Prince. And the diversion is truly a diversion. The mid-wave comes in and Kelra picks it up. Reggie Sandstorm flicker. Kelra!
Committing so much into
Get
Kelra.
forward around, has to hold the line. He goes down. Brusco cuts them off, a double for Kelra.
Again, the diversions will work in favor. Whether they send it forward or not, they make a win. And now working on the mid turret.
They are committing so much for
easy
Kelra.
right now. And
One
this
flicker.
is almost impossible to come back from.
Everything
Yehezkiel
gone.
just doesn't have the items.
Whatever
And with the
they
next
send,
wave already crashing on.
whatever
Let's see how
resources
Fnatic
they
wanna
use
push
to try to
through.
get Kelra is gone.
Backside.
On it.
Just one
man,
flicker.
Fabian, he tried to go for the flank, but Kelra's
Oh, this
the
is
real
dangerous.
assassin
This is
in
dangerous
King
from
2.
ONIC.
Honestly, at that point, now they can go ahead and focus on the Lord. It looks like they'll do that, but I wouldn't have expected at this point, 10 minutes in, 2 base turrets gone, non-existent for Team Liquid ID here.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Naisu. I did not expect this game to go so far to Team Liquid ID's control. I think a large part of it is because they take in these fights as if they're skirmishes, but Fnatic ONIC slowly pushes these skirmishes together into one full 5v5, and that's what Team Liquid ID is failing to see.
Let's think about it here. Team Liquid ID, how do they adjust from this? They're 8,000 gold behind. There's no way they touch any area here around this Lord, so it's more so of what's the game plan for the base defense on this push-in?
I feel like this is what we call in the business a checkmate angle.
I think
for
we
Fnatic
should
ONIC
watch
PH. They're
yesterday's
not 10K, but they've got 2 inhibitor turrets,
Discord
which is
match.
already wild. This
Learn from
with the
Epic a
Lord
bit.
as well. I'm gonna double check the
No.
items real quick on our monitor, and yeah, not enough of an item
Learn
power
how to
spike. King
flicker
Kong
out
knows
with,
it, that they've
from
got
Epic.
them in the triangle choke.
That's the beast. King Kong is just standing there, getting vision for the team, and now they're looking for another siege.
At this point, clearing up the waves. But again, as that Lord does make its way, they are going to work it down, but they just want this bottom turret down if they can fully expose the base. Lord making its way down the mid. And again, without those shields of being part of this defense, that's a big advantage for Fnatic ONIC PH because they did the work earlier on. So they all just have to wait for this Lord to push in and then decide, do they end the game? Do they take a turret? How do they approach it?
Let's see. Aran getting taunted back up. Oh my, Kelra's just dealing so much damage. Side tackle. Kelra got the monster kill. Faven gonna be caught in the curtain call. Witty looking for an angle. Both base turrets taken now. Witty with a quick sand guard.
Oh.
Now they're going for the back line. Brusco is buying some time, but Karen doesn't care anymore. He's going straight for the crystal to put it to a 2-0 for Fnatic ONIC PH.
Is this result
You
even
thought
surprising?
game 1 was
Alright.
fast.
Not even
Well,
surprising.
Fnatic ONIC PH said we'll make it faster. 11:50, and now sitting at 2-0 in the grand final, best of 7. What is going on here?
One thing I like about
More
SRG is
polished
they don't
team
really
right now.
Kelra has never made it to World
Who that?
Championship before. And the first one he's made it to, he might just get finals
Nida.
MVP here.
He just might. The whole team completely locked in already, shown us in game 1 and game 2. Panel,
Hey,
what do you guys
FNOP
think?
really
Are
focused.
FNOP locked in? What's
Look at
going
their
on here?
faces, man. They are really
What we
focused.
think here is that in M Series history, it's either a 4-0 or a 4-3. And now it's looking like it's going to the direction of a 4-0 because I gotta say the first 2 games, those were quick. But might I remind you, it happened here at Axiata
King Kong
Arena.
is
That impossible
fully locked in.
happened where we had a reverse sweep. But either ways, this is looking a little bit too
100%
much.
locked in.
Oh, set
It
the
doesn't look
tone,
like
Fnatic ONIC
he's
again,
going to
and this
be
time even faster than
taking
game
this
number
easy.
1. That's a hard pill to swallow for any team in this situation. And now Team Liquid ID back to the drawing board again for game number 3. What do they need to do to make the difference?
Yo, there's a saying that
If I were them, I would be banning Kelra's Bruno.
Yeah.
In
To be honest, it
Arena,
doesn't make a
lightning
much of a
round
difference.
back to back just happened, son.
Giving the Bruno
Lightning
away
could strike twice.
doesn't make much of a difference because he will
If
just pick
we
something
see
else.
some sort of miracle
can even
happen
pick
in the
later.
sense of reverse sweep. If we see
That's the thing,
TLID
you
maybe
can't really
turn
ban out
things around here, but it
for the
is
Bruno
looking rough.
because
FNOP
something else will take his
seem
place.
Like they
It's
were
like
born for
it's
this
like tentacles,
night
you know.
right now.
It's like
not just in the draft, man, but from
It's like
gameplay to
it's
the
like a
whole
octopus
package,
tentacles.
From the coaching staff to the players.
you cut one
they're
off,
handling
another
it
one
all
grows in its
beautifully.
place.
First of all, let me just say, okay, like, I'm honestly more interested in the highlights because looking at the plays here, Fnatic ONIC Philippines, all 5 members, they're playing it very, very clean. However, we do have to be critical here because this is the grand finals for the World Championship, and TLID are making some mechanical mistakes, like Aran even trying to engage second skill first and then flickering forward. Weedy not hitting the skill shots. Like, TLID, they have to get in the zone because right now, it does seem like something's going on. Something's going on that they're missing their skills here.
I'll tell you what's going on. I can't speak for what Liquid is doing so far because these are, you know, some blunders that they've committed before. But for Fnatic ONIC Philippines, this is a lineup that they tried before against Liquid ID. It was, what, game number 2 in the upper bracket finals, wherein Fnatic ONIC played a very similar lineup. You just switch
Seems
up
like
the
you got it,
pieces, but it's
Mr.
still King Kong
Tentacles.
on the Fredrin, And Kirk
Seems like
on
you
a
got it.
sustainable XP laner, much like the CC. They lost that game in the hands of Liquid ID, but as you pointed out, Trex, they learned a few things. Like they switched things around so that it wouldn't repeat itself.
Yeah, they get a little bit more damage this time. They get the CC in the gold lane instead of having a Uranus, you know, instead of having something a little more stagnant. Also, Kelwer gets on the Bruno. You have this late game potential, and overall, FNOP just played this game very well. Even early on, they were willing, I mean, they took a death on one of those invades, but they were consistently putting pressure. They didn't want to let Fabian scale. They didn't want to let Aaron Shiki scale. They closed this game out in 11 minutes and 50 seconds, and they played it exactly how they needed to play it.
Let me just say, I kind of feel like every single time TLID poses some kind of problem, it looks like ONIC, they have the answer. Because I gotta say, Fabian this time, he got the joy, but the answer was there, right? We got the brethren, and let me tell
imagine
you,
King Kong
009
dedicating this match to Mova Zane for picking the
We
Fred.
heard what Mirko said. That's pretty
Dedicate
fast, veteran.
the match.
Hey, that's the beast
Dedicating
taking
this
care
match
of him. Did we
to
not talk
Mobazin.
about this pre-match that compared to Fabian, as much as I love the Usurper, King Kong, as much as he is a micro-mechanically gifted player, he doesn't mind hunkering down and saying, all right, I'm going to play a role here. If you need me to just counter the Joy, I will.
And this is another game for the Fredrin to prevail over the Joy again.
That's 100% still.
100% win rate on that. And you know what, I'm starting
Hello,
to
Moon.
realize a pattern, right?
Hello,
It's
hello.
to get the roamer uncomfortable, get
How are
Wade
you?
uncomfortable, right? And you've seen him go from a setup roamer to now a damage
What was that
roamer,
team
but
in
it's still the
MSC with the
same
Benny again?
recipe for the side of Fnatic ONIC, right? They know if they go aggressive super
Was
early,
it
Bruce can find a
SRG?
setup, even picking off Witty is the answer for them. There was a
SRG,
point in the
right?
game where we saw the Haas Claws into the Malefic Gun, and the only defense
Moon,
on the board
get
was Thunderbelt
the-
from both
Get on the camera.
of Iran and Witty, which is not enough. And then the Berserker's Fury even came in.
When they
before built another
interview
defensive
people, right?
Easy.
Just
At this
get in
point,
the camera.
what, the first 8-9 minutes of the game, Thunderbelt isn't even a real defense item.
Do you have
You
a
need to
sign?
get the stacks on it, and if you're
Pull up
getting
a
stacks
sign.
against a team that is what, 5K, 6K ahead of you, under 10 minutes already
Put my
penetrating your
YouTube
base,
channel link
that's
in the
an
sign.
open fight.
So this is how you touch the untouchable Aaron Shiki. You make the front line crumble. Because game number 1, game number 2, panelists, this is what you guys have been talking about. Weedy, Aran, these are amazing players. They're worthy of world championship, but Fnatic ONIC Philippines keep on countering them. And now we gotta look at the MVP of the game. It's 2 times now, twice with the Bruno, the gold standard, Kelra.
They're gonna run out of angles to shoot him from the same corridor, man. He's gonna keep getting the nod here.
I mean, if he keeps getting the Bruno.
I mean, yes, the Bruno's a problem, and
Good
it's
point.
true. At
Right.
this point, do you completely switch up your draft ideas and just maybe hunker down in the gold lanes? But honestly, just like King Kong, Kelwer's gonna play with scraps, man.
I still
you
feel
could
like
put whatever in his hands.
Beatrix.
Plenty of teams. I mean, I
No.
get it. The Bruno's a problem, but plenty of teams have beaten the Bruno. So there has to be something.
I feel like the goal lane is solved. I feel like goal lane, it's everything else that's impacting here. We're talking about roamers, we're talking about the junglers, but at this point, it almost does feel like the draft makes an impact. But the players that pilot it, oh my goodness.
I mean, giving the Bruno
Fredrin
is the-
a counter to the Joy, but you still have to use it well. And King Kong used it well.
Yeah, he used it amazingly.
It's not the best thing,
there was
but
a fight in here where Joy,
the same
we might see
time-
it here in a minute. Joy gets invaded in the
Imagine he
in the
gets the
orange
Bruno-
buff,
the
and
Granger.
Joy just can't move.
Maybe
man. Joy gets
the
either
power spike
hit
is a
by the
bit
duality,
slower.
Gets taunted by
Or
Fredrin.
he gets the
Fabian
Layla,
is
maybe the
essentially
mobility is not
useless in
as much.
every fight whenever they're all grouped
Or he
up,
gets
and it is
Irito.
just tough times for the side of
So
TLID.
like longer power spike.
At this point, I feel
everything
like
is
he needs
just
to get a hero that is
slightly
uncounterable.
longer
But no such hero
or-
exists.
It's going to be a challenge, right? I mean,
On-
I agree.
I mean, you
don't
know,
think it's
the
just
power spike
solely
is
the
just
draft in this. Even
longer.
If you switch
It
up the
takes
goal lanes,
longer.
even if you take
But
out the Bruno, it's the
at
element
the
in
same
game
time, it's
that
just-
remains the same, right? The
you're
battle
just
to getting the
delaying
first
it.
setup, that's always
Whether
been
you
these
get the Bruno or
engagements to
not,
get
it's
your
just
gold
you're
laner
just
online.
delaying it.
TLID have
They're
to stop
delaying
trying
the-
to brute force their way through
power
this.
spike, that's
they
all.
need to put some respect into Fnatic ONIC Philippines. We're seeing
can't
even in the
catch
end there, that last moment,
someone who
Woody
has good
goes
positioning.
for this big play. Even
You
if
can't
you
change
catch
that.
Kelra there, even if you
Whatever
land
he
on him
plays.
with the Raging Sandstorm, nobody is there with you. you're not going to be able to kill him. He still will have a flicker after that catch. And either way, you're about 7,000 behind in gold. You are not going to be able to brute force win a fight against Fnatic ONIC Philippines right now. They need to steady it down, slow it down.
That's why I'm saying maybe
the other team,
TLID actually
he's
needs to
going for
play
some plays
counter
right
engage.
now that he
They need
cannot
to
go for
they need
in
to
a
play the
grand
counter engage
finals
instead.
matchup.
And that's without even acknowledging the mid duo of Fnatic ONIC Philippines. They've played the same hero, Louis Gatot on Brusco and Super Prince. If you start attacking the other lanes, that means these two are just free. They're happy with what they're picking up.
It's funny because if Woody had more items, maybe it'd have been a
Rooting
little
for
bit of a different story.
FNOP
This is
because
literally
I
the
want
situation
them
where
to
it's
beat
like, hey,
TLID.
you're not built like that.
Something that I do have to point out, the mid duo coming in for Fnatic ONIC Philippines, both Brusco as well as Super Friends,
It's gonna
they're
be boring
essentially
though.
stopping
Another
what the
Filipino
mid duo
winner.
of TLID wants to do. You want to
4 years
rotate?
in a row.
Excuse me, sir, but let's have a 2v2 here in lane. Like, no
Yesterday
matter
I
what's
met
going on,
Diablo and
what
today I
they
met
do
GB.
is
Nice.
stopping. That really enables King Kong to move around the jungle. Like, we've been watching
gonna
this
share
kind
the
of games
photo?
where King Kong looks very free, but we have to remember those two people, Brusco as well as Super Prince, they're allowing King Kong, number one, to do what he wants. If he wants to enter the opponent's jungle, go for it. But they also
The score currently
if
is
Fabian
2-0.
wants to go
FNOP
inside
2.
Onyx territory,
TLID 0.
Brusco as well as Super Prince stops that. These two players, we don't talk about them that much, but they, in my personal opinion, is what making King Kong look absolutely amazing. Now, right
A lot of my
now,
Malaysian friends are saying
this
they
is a
want FNOP to beat
2-0.
TLID for beating
We gotta
SRG
have
yesterday.
some different opinions here because panelists, we've been talking a lot, but now I want the opinion of Coach Yeb.
Am I wrong to say that
courtside with our host? So let's see what Coach Yeb has to
that's
say.
the nature
for
of
this
competition,
matchup.
right?
Thank you, the panel. Here's Michelle
It's not like
with
it's not like
Random, our
TLID
first
woke up
report. Now I'm having the
yesterday and
Vice
said,
President of ONIC Esports franchise
"Fuck
here with
everything.
me, but
I'm
still
just gonna
prefer
beat-
to call you as coach. Is that okay?
I'm just gonna look for
I
SRG
prefer
and beat
still
them.
to call you as coach. Is that okay for you? Okay, so how
I mean,
are you
they
doing
can
here?
only beat whatever is in front of them.
Fine. So would you like to introduce to us more about your
The tournament
work as
put
a
them
vice
together.
president? 'Cause I
They
believe
just have
it's
to
much
win
different,
against
like,
them.
to work as a coach, right?
Nothing they can do. It's not a revenge.
Basically,
Kill or
just
anything.
for this M series, I'm here to help and support ONIC Philippines.
We're just coming here to support. So what kind of support Rema must be curious about, right?
Yeah, like we're very curious, like what kind of support you give to Fnatic ONIC Philippines. So, Coach, why not mention that you've offered a helping hand to FNOP during the knockouts? So, what kind of support, the ones that you're willing to share with us, that you give to FNOP?
Helping them mentally prepare and just for additional strategies.
Coach Yep,
It's
all right,
this
so-
guy is the
Yeah,
previous
so even if like with the title
coach
of VP,
for
a
ONIC
little bit of
ID.
Coach Yeb is still in
ONIC
there.
Indonesia.
But like help motivate.
I think he
the
got
team.
promoted
That's
into
why
like
I
manager
still call you
or
as a
something.
coach. Okay. So now on the stage it's the third time rematch of the Fnatic ONIC versus Team Liquid. Absolutely the most like the rematch of any M series here, right? So as a coach, your boys just got 2 games ahead right now. Are you happy about the way they did it?
Yes, of course, I'm happy with the result for now, but the series is not yet done, so we don't have to be complacent and just enjoy the game.
All right, so right now we're getting chill guy Yeb right now. Not
So
too
he's actually
excited,
the
you're
coach
up
for the
2-0, but
previous
you don't want the boys to get complacent.
ONIC
so,
ID team, which is
since, I mean, everyone knows your achievements
E-boy,
as a coach. Maybe you could
Irie,
give
you know,
for one itch.
CW,
Their moment.
you know those guys.
So we know that each team has a key to victory. So for Team Liquid and for Fnatic ONIC Philippines, could you give us your one key to victory for each team?
Just be themselves and enjoy the game, yeah.
Just be the
Technically,
show
I
guys.
don't wanna
why,
give-
right?
All right, be themselves and enjoy the game. I feel like Coach Yeb is holding back a bit, but we understand why. But that makes a lot of sense too, yeah.
Yeah, coach is very confident about his boys. So, but the last, any message, any like shout out to your boys on the stage and to our Sonics here.
Thank
They
you
only
so much, Sonic.
focus on the people caster.
Filipinos,
About the panda.
all Filipinos that supporting ONIC Philippines. We love you all.
It is cute.
Thank you.
Do you get a
Thank
free
you, Yep. Thank you, Rema.
panda?
Okay, now it's a good time
armband
to start the
if
game.
you buy
3.
Hello
so let's
Panda.
bring it back to the panel.
By the way, is this host from China?
I feel like Coach Yeb's
She's the
advice
China host,
is
right?
great for Fnatic ONIC Philippines. Be yourself, have fun. Can TLID do that? Can they just be themselves, be fighting all the time?
Also, I thought they will put Brigida in the
coach, that's his advice.
final
Trex,
thing this.
what do you feel? Do you feel like TLID can take that advice?
Coach
Thought they would.
I mean, yeah, have fun, you know. But you know what's fun? Winning.
Yeah,
winning is fun, and they got to step something up here, just point blank. I mean,
Hey,
it's
Trex
TLID.
spitting the facts, man.
They had a good
Trex.
draft in game 1. There
You
was
know
some
what's fun?
misplays.
Winning
In game
is fun.
2, I mean, in game 2, I mean,
Trex
even
spitting the facts.
they're not completely losing in draft. That last one, I don't think the joy into the Fred one was good, but there's still just mistakes over the map.
Yeah, I feel like an element that you have to take is that use your best
Bro is a
strategy.
philosopher.
And I feel like TLID, that's fighting, but they got to
Freaking
refine it, but they have very
21st
little
century
time.
philosopher.
However, I do got to say, since they're using the ROG Phone 9 Pro, they can do it.
Was it?
Yeah, are you okay? I mean, you're really going for some game
It
now?
looks great.
I'm seeing what else Liquid ID can do, all right? We've stretched the limit of the 77 current
sitting beside the
Hero
analyst area.
M6, and I'm looking like what else is left. I'm
You
using,
should just run into the camera and wave
165 hertz
so we can
refresh
see
rate
you.
screen to go through the currently 126
Just run
heroes
into the
we have in
area
MLBB,
and wave.
And I'm starting looking at Suyo, that beautiful man. I think if he's left, I'm currently
He
in a
was
Suyo
left
kick.
open,
Yeah, I'm on a Suyo kick. So if whoever gets Suyo wins.
I mean, I don't know about you. Since you're enjoying yourself, I'm enjoying myself. We need some Hello Panda here where you guys can fuel your energy. Heck, you know what? I got full boxes. I got what do you call it?
You're looking at Trex now. Are you wearing earphones?
And now we got Hello Panda, and you guys can too. Heck, I was walking around Anxiat Arena, and a lot of people are bringing out their Hello Panda. So shout out to Hello Panda and to all of you guys enjoying this lovely biscuit.
You know
I
what
can't
loved
imagine
about
you not
the,
wearing
interview, Coach
earphones
Yep?
though.
What?
I love the fact
Because I don't
that,
think you can even
he was
hear
asked
me.
the question, how does he feel about Fnatic ONIC, right? They're up 2-0. Normally you would expect maybe somebody to say,
Yep.
oh, we've got this. Like, it's in the bag. It's guaranteed. But no, he respects
By the way,
the
who are you there
dynamic
with?
from TLID,
You
right?
with
He
your
said,
friends,
job's not
family,
finished, the Mamba mentality.
So that's what you
ML
like.
friends?
What I like is honestly
ML group?
Ferry. When luxury meets gaming with Ferries. First, M6 switch. Watch this. Green Ferry, locked in, Green Ferry. That's the blue Ferry.
Or maybe you're there alone.
All right, there you go. 3 ferries in one
that's it, right?
desk. Shout outs to Black Ferry Gideon as well. We have all the ferries here, and one cool thing is that if you have,
with your
a ferry
cousin?
watch,
Nice.
you can ride their buggy. So you can go to the carnival. So we could have do that, but we're working.
I need to get a watch. That's what I got out of that.
You know what I need?
What do you
This
need?
isn't actually mine.
How come your cousin never watched my channel?
Since we're on top of things here, literally in the nosebleed seats in Axiata, I could use a secret lab.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Too.
You know what will you be able to do with Secret Lab?
What?
You can play for longer because the chair is comfortable. Heck, if Trex had a Secret Lab chair, his daughter will stop making fun of it.
Exactly. She would. But you know, we all know whose fault that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Secret Labs would be great.
But
Here or at home.
either ways,
Beside me,
now
I
we gotta
when
get
he
back
made
on
match
topic
with
here,
them.
folks. 2-0.
Myanmar also supporting
2-0
FNOP.
for Fnatic, ONIC, Philippines.
Everybody's
One
supporting.
more win, and they're
To be
at
honest,
match
my
point.
real feelings this
While
final
all
is
this is
that
going on,
I like
TLID
Fnatic
had
ONIC.
time. They
I
had
like their
time
play style.
to
I like
readjust. They had
how-
time to re-strategize.
You know when you watch a very
so far, gentlemen,
almost
in my
like
personal opinion, whenever
perfect
TLID
team
adjusts, it's honestly
play,
in
right?
their mid lane when it comes.
it
to
makes you
hero
feel
picks.
very
I don't know if that's
happy
enough
to watch them.
because so far
Because they are so
Fabian
clean.
rotating the same heroes.
It's
Aaron Shiki rotating.
it's
same
like very
heroes.
satisfying to
Weedy
watch.
rotating same heroes.
You know what I mean? It's
We
like
gotta
watching
see what
those like
else can we
like
rotate around.
people
But now
cut
we're talking to
perfect
Beloyski,
slices of
Exile here.
watermelon
Beloyski,
or
you've
something
met
like
Kelra
perfectly
in
spaced.
MPL Philippines a couple of times.
There's like perfection
Is there
in it,
anything
and it's
you'd like to
satisfying.
tell him?
So
Kelra
watching
is a good
Fnatic
friend of
ONIC
mine.
gives you that feeling
He's
of
always been a humble
satisfaction.
person. I see him as a
Like
kid
this
who's
is how
always eager
Mobile
to
Legends
win.
should be played.
That's why.
But at the same
he's
time,
now
I don't want
the best
Philippines
goal laner
to
in
win
the
another
world.
freaking World
He truly
Championship.
earns the title. Good luck, Kelra.
And it's that same hunger that has kept Kelra relevant and on top of world
So
rankings.
I am supporting TLID for this final, but I'm also supporting ONIC because of how clean they are.
And now we're looking at the
Does that make
average
sense?
KDA. Look at the difference here. First of all, the top three is all Fnatic ONIC Philippines. Number 4 is Innocent, and number 5 is Aaron Shiki. But 13.3, double
The female
digit
caster
for the
named
average
Michelle
KDA.
from
Because
China.
of the results of the past couple of games,
Thank you.
they're meeting in the upper bracket finals.
Thank you for the research
Yehezkiel
report.
was prior on top of the scale, and now the Ghost of Jakarta cannot step back up, and this is what we have. Still, you know, just barely there, top 5, the untouchable one, Aaron Shiki, but yeah, compared to the three from Fnatic, the numbers don't lie.
Yeah, and those numbers could honestly continue to go up as we go through this series. If TLID doesn't hit the switch at some point, it's looking like, you know, things might wrap up soon.
Hey, I just hit the switch, flip. That's what needs to happen right now from the side of TLID to be able to get back online and take this game under control, because they're running out of opportunities. Now facing with their backs against the wall, 2-0, and everybody knows when it comes to esports, this is one of the hardest things to come back from. So jumping into the next game, a couple of things are going to have to change. First, Witty. He tried to go in for the setup, he tried to go for the Cho, it didn't work out. Then he goes in for the Khalid for the damage to try and find the backline, and he lets Yehezkiel pick up with the crowd control, and both methods still resulted in the same answer.
On stage, we just saw Coach Facehugger, now analyst / assistant coach for
Facehugger.
Liquid ID, and the situation they're in right now, a 0-2 slump. I bet this throws him back to his old days in Aura, where they would struggle in MPLID for the longest time, and now as
Do I
a
have to
coach,
guess
like,
what is
yeah,
his
I've been there,
favorite
gentlemen. I know what it's like.
film?
I wonder if that kind of
What
wisdom
is his
is
favorite
coming
movie?
into game number 3 right now, because they need everything they can
you don't
have.
have
You know,
to.
any kind of help.
Now we're jumping into the drafting phase of game number 3, where TLID, now or never, they gotta pick up some kind of momentum. And if we go back to the advice of Coach Jeb,
Okay, finally.
something
Wow,
about having
that was a long
fun
wait.
is being
Game 3 starting.
comfortable, is being alive. And now we hear TLID not
Well, they
giving
finally respect
Kelra
Ben,
that
Doi,
Bruno anymore.
and Bruno.
And now looking at the junglers
finally
here,
respect
only
Ben.
one has been banned, and that's Fanny.
So at this point, maybe we see FNOP just, all right, fine, you ban. They're very known to do this. If you're going to ban the Bruno, we'll ban the Granger here. Leave the jungles open to trade up on. But again, FNOP's now they're in this place of maybe comfortability. But my guess is you just ban the Granger here.
I mean, it's a pretty good ban. And again, if you pick up the Suyo, you got the Joy. If they pick up the Joy, we got the Fredrin. The Eve gets banned out, which, might I remind you, this is the pick TLID use.
You can
to
take
stop
Joy again,
Songray Giant.
but
so this is a very good respect ban here. And now TLID, time to drop the beat
they
of
need
Flash.
to find
Pick up the
something
Joy.
That's
better
a stinger,
to set
right? I
up.
mean, I feel like FNOP is putting them in a chokehold right now, right? They want them to take the Joy. They're not even worried about it. I mean, credits to Coach T over there, Coach Trex. The Fredrin is still on the board, and we know it's 100% win rate.
But that alone is not the problem here. You can still put the Suyo on King Kong and
Granger as
win-
well.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, exactly, and win the rest of the lineup.
If I'm banning Bruno, I'm thinking we definitely see the Granger pick up here, right? It's like, why even? Because now you give over Granger, and then what do you have in response to Kelra at this point?
Moskov.
Who's been
Beatrix.
but
Moskov, yeah.
against Kelra on the Granger. it's
Oh,
very-
Harry!
Now
Wait.
FNOP's all right. So FNOP decides to switch it up. Fine, we're gonna.
If
have
you
some
don't
fun
pick the
this game.
Granger, you can
They're
go
taking
Beatrix,
risk here.
which
Well,
is also
there's
really,
no
really
need to
good.
rush the Suyo. They do open up the Granger still.
Is Granger really
Definitely
that
a
high
risk because
prio?
you're outranged.
In the
But
pro scene,
something tells
I
me
think in the
Fnatic
pro
are like,
scene,
they won
yes.
the first 2 games with a
Because-
very similar lineup. They're going, all right, maybe this time we
Yes,
dive.
I mean, I
long
don't
range
know,
poke,
when-
but
Personally, for me, when you
I
hear
don't really like
footsteps, you think of horses, not zebras, where sometimes the simplest thing is the right
I don't think as a
solution.
coach I'll ever
But it's
prio
like
Granger
Fnatic
in his
Philippines,
current form.
They're chewing a curve here, which is very interesting.
We've
Don't think he's even
seen
that good.
Fnatic ONIC pull this kind of trick against their series with Falcon Esports. They could have won clean.
But
Yep.
and decided
there
to
must be a
go,
reason
yeah, let's
why
play the Zhong.
the coaches like
that's
him,
why,
right?
you know, I'm like, I don't know about this.
I think
Maybe
at
I'm
this
just
point it's I don't know.
Too
It
blinded
feels a little weird seeing the hair
Fredrin
up
here?
front.
by
I'm
Granger,
not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's weird at all.
but I still don't see the point
yeah, I think
playing Granger.
Fredrin here would be solid.
I think
It's
there's
definitely
better
what we
marksmen than
what I
Granger.
think I would see them pick. But again, they're
Yep.
in that point I was talking about, where sometimes if FNOP starts drafting a little strange, this is chance for TLID to capitalize.
So let me just say this. The reason why I feel like it's strange because it feels like a trap, right? Do we not get this kind of vibe? It's like they're letting go of their Granger. It feels like they have a strat specifically for this Granger. So that's why I feel like this is sus. They're
How about somebody in chat explain to me why Granger is such a high prio?
What kind of trap is TLID going to fall into?
Yeah, and then they go
Like,
for
change
the
my mind.
Suyo
Change my
instead
mind
of
about
the
Granger.
Fredrin as well. So I'm right there with you. I think they are having a strategy that we have yet to see so far in the Oxiata arena. But when it comes to TLID, Aran, he's got a comfort pick. He's rocking that Hilda.
Yep, he himself pushed the Hilda agenda all throughout MPLID, and now the world is reeling in the wake of this XP lane dominator. Going into bans, we still don't have mid laners. Instead, they ban a specialty hero for Widdy, the chip.
At this point, I'm liking TLID's draft. Their draft is clean. They were given a lot of prio, a lot of great picks. Everything that they have feels good against what FNOP has brought so far.
Right now, when I'm thinking of traps, maybe I'm overthinking in general here, but if there's a Suyo, would you ban a Fredrin?
Seems like chat is equally.
But is there a chance Fredrin EXP
Wait,
comes
why
out?
is the quality went down?
Maybe, but that's still, I mean, that only really kicks in what, that's going to kick in around.
Seems like chat is equally confused about this Granger prio in
M6.
M6.
Really winning out is around
I can see why
So many other heroes left for Kirk to
they
just
would like
go,
Granger, because Granger is
Fredrin
kind of
XP.
safe with his long range.
Maybe you are overthinking.
It's kind of safe.
I mean, I don't know. Because again, I feel like something's cooking here, and I'm not sure what it is.
But
Speaking of cooking, you are going to see the high
in
lows
team
taking off
fights,
the board as well.
I don't think he's
Still
that
have yet
good.
to see the mid lane matchups. The Farza
A DPS marksman
still up
would
for grabs.
perform much
Looks
better
very,
in team fight.
good. I would say even for both sides, maybe you have to worry about the Katat. But Brusco the Bruiser, right? I mean, we know how he performs on this Katat, right? He's able to get to the back line. This literally was the deciding
Granger is insanely strong in
fact
laning
in
phase.
game number one.
This
You
is
saw
true,
multiple times
but
where he would go in at
isn't
1
Harry
HP,
also
and
insanely
the
strong in
tenacity,
laning
the
phase?
only thing to keep
Isn't,
him alive, and they're able to
like,
find the picks off. They're able to take out multiple
Beatrix
members of
also
TLID.
insanely strong. Bruno is
What are
insanely
we
strong.
looking at here?
Brody is
Final ban
insanely
coming
strong.
from TLID is going to be the Khalid. Target down onto Brusco. Target down onto that roam. Maybe a Kirk pick. Edith still open.
1-1 is insanely
for the
strong in
side
laning
of
phase.
FNOP.
Which means the Valentina Edith dynamic is still there. If ever Fnatic ONIC do pick up the
So I don't know.
Edith, but I don't think they'll pick it here. They'll pick the mid laner here and then keep that XP laner pick for Kirk. That's what I'm guessing.
So what do we think they pick up for mid here? Maybe they take.
Granger is annoying with his
Valentina
damage and
doesn't
poke.
look amazing.
But as a marksman, right?
They could go for the Farz. I
As
guess,
a
but
marksman,
Joy's
you
gonna
don't
run
want
down
to
on
be
that.
annoying.
You got the Death Sonata.
You want to be
You have a lot of answers for Farza.
deadly.
But again,
You
it
don't-
is Super Friends.
The whole point of a marksman, a goal laner,
It's tough.
is to be
Even
deadly,
Aurora,
not to be
still
annoying.
available for grabs. FNOP could definitely take that, especially having that Hilda is going to rush in. I mean, having the crowd control would be very effective.
Annoying
Wait
is
a
something like
minute!
EXP laner.
Sicilian locked in for FNOP.
Mad range,
You know,
from Fnatic ONIC Philippines. What does TLID
Roamer.
do? Currently,
Those
they only
are-
have one
those
person
are
who can get into the backline here.
the roles that
and
you want
that's
to be
Fabian's
annoying in.
Joy. Do they have room in
But
the
for a
draft
marksman, you
kind
have to
of
be
pivot
deadly.
there?
I mean, we've seen this exact pivot before. We've seen Joy go, what, mid?
Whoa,
and
whoa,
be
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa.
answer, and then they pick up Alpha or
I don't
something
think
like that.
I don't
I'm
think the
just-
ghost plays like that, son.
Hey man, I'm just
Ghost-
saying. You're right. He's a artillery backline. I
Utility
don't know. I don't know if
sometimes.
that's in his kit. It's true.
You can fight range with range, though. You could go in for the Navaria. I mean, up against this composition, you can play from afar. The only thing you have to worry
Novaria's
about is
cooking.
That's a double poke. And
Oh!
it's still good poke. The Farsa, again, great range artillery mage, and the Carmilla, which I think is a. I've heard, you know, from many fans of MPLID that it's like
deny
a
banning,
comfort pick for Weedy.
deny picking
I
the
wonder how useful it'll be here in this game.
Camila.
We don't know what to pick, but we're gonna go for this.
Deny
It's
pick
the
Camila.
whatever.
I don't want to say it like that.
I mean,
I would
well, not
say-
exactly not know what to pick, but it is the okay.
I
A
would
lot of
say-
things could work here.
Do I like the Camila
What do
pick
you want
here?
right now, Witty?
That's
This
decent.
is something that you can
I guess it's
possibly come
decent.
back with because the Curse of Blood is very deceptive, right? When you hit that big burst of damage, you can't really calculate for that. So maybe this is their Hail Mary.
The thing is that,
Yeah, it's gonna be
there's not
challenging, though,
much
because now
setup
they're
for
lacking in the
Camila
crowd
to
control.
land
It's
that
gonna
out.
be more on being the
It's
aggressor in
literally
these
she has to
situations,
do it
you know?
herself.
just how well Fnatic ONIC is with the aggression. We even had a
there's
lot
a lot of
aggression versus endurance, and they were the aggressor.
responsibility on
VD
again.
Pick will be the CC to match the mobility of Aran on his signature.
Blending that out is not going to be easy.
Right now, TLID looking at the draft.
Especially
this is one of
with
their best drafts so far when it comes to comfort. But is it enough? We're throwing it
Perfect
over to
positioning.
the casters.
It's going to be difficult to play this Camilla.
Two devastating games already for Team Liquid ID, and now 2 games MVP performances for Kelra. This time doesn't get the Bruno. Can we see an adjustment here? Is this enough to bring a match win for Team Liquid ID?
It's going to be a hard journey this time. I mean, their draft, yes,
this
as
is why I'm
mentioned,
saying,
could
I don't
maybe turn
know
it around
why
with that
the
curse
pro
of
players
blood,
are picking
but it
it.
feels more like
But
a deny rather than an accelerate.
They're
the adjustment,
professional.
right? I really like the adjustment.
So they
for
have their
TLID.
own ideas.
I feel like this is a very
But I would like to
comfort
hear
draft for them, and
from a pro
it's now or
player
never. It's 2-0 already.
why the hell
It's
being
2-0
here.
already, and if FNOP gets this one, they're going to be facing championship
yes, Gringer is
point
probably
ahead
in
of
the
them in this
meta
best of
pool,
7
right?
grand final.
In the
Team
pool
Liquid
of meta
ID.
heroes.
The
But
draft
this
is
high in
unique.
prio,
We've seen the picks before, and this Carmilla in the
Who
hands
goes
of
my
Winnie
mind?
will have to go ahead and
Why is he
pull
so high in the
something out that
prio?
we haven't
I can understand
seen
he's
just
in the
yet.
meta pool.
The Curse of Blood can work great.
But
And
this
it's
high
not
prio,
only that, but also
like
we have to point out the
second
fact
top,
that this is a
insane.
lineup that should extend the team fights in their favor. 2 revitalizes for them, 1 from Witty and 1 from Aran to go that way. And also taking a look at the emblems here, breaking it down, Gideon.
Hurts my head. Hurts my brain thinking about it.
3 impure rages coming all across the board. Oh, Aran, you're in so much trouble.
Revitalize already. So Queen Claws brings him back. Kirk
Revitalize saved him.
Fabian recovering that position for the team. Aran gets away.
I don't think he's going to be able to recover from that just yet, especially when the CC is on the opposite end. And now, even in the mid lane, they're still contesting for it. Rusko making sure that he can sustain against Witty and Yehezkiel at the same time. And this is what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, Surge Side Queen Claws, Soul Sever, King Kong picks up first blood.
Very nice.
That's not what you want to happen, man. You know, give King Kong the Suyo. He'll make it happen. First blood in his hands. And that's the thing. The team is going to go ahead and play around those points. If they know that some of the resources are down from that early skirmish earlier on, they'll still capitalize.
I wonder why some of the junglers don't play Suyo that well.
I don't know. I
wonder
don't
why.
know the
Suyo's like
statistic on how many first bloods
it's like a universal
that hero
jungler.
actually has, just because how much damage he has in the early game with the Soul Sever.
He does, but Kirk right now is winning this 1v1 pretty hard so far, and Aran forced to actually go for the recall. But generally, how I'm seeing this is that TLID need to make sure that they
impossible
have a tight game, right?
for
Any little mistake that they've made, we've seen Fnatic
for pro
ONIC
jungler to be
really
bad on
blow
Suyo.
that over and turn it into a full-on snowball.
Yeah. Let's think about this. This time around, Kelra's not going to have the Bruno. He's got the Harith, a signature pick of his. Hold on. Hold that thought for a second. The fight for the turtle, though. Fabian.
Good retribution now. Going to be caught on the curtain call and also the Sanguine Claws. Witty pops in to revitalize. Kirk coming in as well.
Kirk.
Into the back. He dives.
And now he wants to continue on. Oh, the vengeance not
Nice.
enough. Takes down.
That's what
At
TLID
least
needs
Fabian
right now.
is able to find a kill for himself, right? These small moments to pick up these kills, to find that initial gold is going to be great, but this Sanguine Claw is showing up to be quite a bit of a problem for TLID.
And again, Super Prince is on a hero that is very late game centric. You want to go ahead and build
Guy
up
is
those
not good at
stacks on
Suyo.
the bad impact, and then eventually you're just popping off
Maybe I
damage
would've
from
hero.
range. But going back to it, you know, for Kelra, this Harith works a little bit different. Wow, already Yehezkiel forced to go ahead and just wings on
Are you
out of
trying
there.
to
But he's going to be fine. Already early damage potential
reach bait?
showing.
I really hope he doesn't
All the
disrespect it.
viewers
So
here.
far, Kirk has been playing a strong game and Aran does
Yeah,
have a bit of
reach
a
bit.
level lead so far, but at the same time, right, we're noticing that it's just about pushing these waves, making sure you have priority, making that very first move. It's just the capitalization has been a little weak.
Good trades. Oh, up top. Kirk picked off Fabian. Able to utilize Aran's aggression. Now it's Witty who gets traded on the map. Super Prince with the claw. And King Kong with the kill.
Okay, at least it's pretty good. They're trading up, right? We
Yep.
give Witty, we take Kirk. It works out at the end.
And not only that, but this is Fabian, the best start that he's had so far in the series. It is going to be on this Joy. Could hyper scale up pretty well. Aaron Shiki will burn the flicker, so Kelra goes and gets that resource out with the Zaman Force. But Fabian also, going back to it, picks up the Starlium Scythe now. And with the early kill that he has, he actually is able to provide quite a bit of damage, still running that Temporal Rain on the Joy here.
They have to really take their time with this, right? A lot of the motions on the map are pretty readable, but from Fnatic ONIC PH, it's about making sure this mid is clear, and at least Aaron Shiki is going for the double waves, and I feel that in the past couple of games, as much as Aaron Shiki was able to pick up those double waves, Fnatic ONIC capitalized a lot more on Yehezkiel and his positioning, which is something we need to keep in mind, right? If we see Feathered Airstrike, we're expecting GOA to come out pretty fast.
Now the turtle's up, they're gonna fight for the space already. Yehezkiel gets taunted.
That's a lot of damage, bad impact. Oh, Yehezkiel forced to flicker out to safety. Meanwhile, Ran gonna kill by the yo-yo. Witty forced to use the
Bro, Super
revitalize
Prince
just
playing
for the
like
burst,
as
just
if
for the poke of Super
he's
Prince.
freaking Tigreal, man.
Feather Airstrike is going to come out very... Fabian is going to try electrifying beats. He's already gone
Yes,
in. Curse
Tigreal
blood.
out.
And that's gonna be Brusco taking very low, still able to survive.
At the 8-second CD,
Get the kill back.
Tigreal out in.
The turtle, AOG.
With range and the 8-second cooldown.
Fabian. Jumping back in, kill rush down.
Why?
They didn't find it back. They didn't get the trade that they were
Nice.
looking for.
Nice one
and
by
finally,
TLID.
Team Liquid have some momentum in the game, and King Kong is able to walk away from another
Fabian
electrifying
on fire.
beats. At least they're able to breathe for now, but one of the better starts we've seen from TLID.
Yeah, not only that, but all that going again to Fabian here on the Joy, 5-0 now, gets the triple. Not only that, but also got the turtle. Uh-oh.
He's back.
Kong might get spotted
He's
out.
back. Oh my god,
No,
wrong
we don't
timing.
want to watch Murray.
Oh, King Kong survives. The outplay from King Kong. Kirk gets the shutdown. Fabian got
What
taken
the
out
heck is
under
that
the
timing?
turret.
He's alive.
That's shutdown
Oh.
right there.
How? How did it
Fabian died.
happen?
How?
Fabian, I mean,
Fabian
he's
died.
5-1 now. Broken record at this
What
point
the
of time,
fuck?
but here comes the rest of the team. It's now they're going
Cameraman,
for a bit of a lane
what
swap.
the
Kelra
fuck?
dealing with a run underneath the turret with the Zap.
Can we get the replay on that
Care
non-replay?
about it.
Oh,
look at him.
Jumping back and forth, Aran going to the bush again. Sanguine Claws catches him. Oh, the airstrike into the back. Aran will be slain by the bat impact.
The timing on the Unbreakable to get the taunt outside of the circular from the Feathered Airstrike was perfect timing.
Outside of the circular. I love that. I'm going to steal
like that?
I like that a lot, as a matter of fact. But at the same time, it's 5-5, and they've evened out that lead. Man, that was such a huge shutdown. The gold now looking real good, but there's permanent damage on the map. Top side missing up and one inhibitor. Sorry, not one inhibitor, a tier 1, but even the bottom side has been traded too. At the same time, King Kong's still level down on Fabian.
He's a level down, and they're finding these small wins across the map. And Team Liquid ID is going to have to get in a position to go ahead and capitalize on some of the leads they have. Like you just mentioned, the lead in levels, even for Aaron Shiki, he is a level 10 right now.
How
He's
did
only got
Fabian
the
die?
Hunter
It was
Strike, still
such a
building
good
in.
early game.
Meanwhile,
Now the
Kelra,
shutdown goal
Starlium
goes to
Sight still
King
working on
Kong.
the second item, but now the last turtle for the game is started up by TLID. Let's see if they can get the 3 for 3 here.
They're all going to focus onto Aran. Sanguine Claw, Aran very low for the airstrike to zone him away. Fabian wins out the retreat battle.
Oh,
King
nice.
Kong taken out by Fabian as the curtain call comes down, but FNOP
Okay, they
will
get-
just disengage.
They get their
They're just pulling
momentum back.
We don't need any more than this. Let's not overextend, and let's just breathe for a moment. With King Kong already down, Fabian has guaranteed his level lead against his opponents, but Aaron Shiki is the main win condition. He needs to poke out his opponents, and once Fnatic ONIC get desperate, that's when Witty needs to find that counter engage.
Brusco taking a lot of shots here.
Oh! Super Prince in that bush. Aaron Shiki now with the Rhapsody as well.
That's a very
Able to save
strange-
Kelra with the chase, and now gets caught by Aran Power Wilderness, and for the airstrike, Kelra! Still able to dodge away for so long.
2 for 1 so
Fabian.
far, but it's still revitalized, comes out through electrified.
Oh
Beach
my
does
God.
not take him out. Finally, Fabian is able to put him down as Aran is next to fall with the help of King Kong. Are you gonna do it? Yes, he will. Underneath the turret, they dive. A double for Kirk.
The timing from the Super Fam comes through again in a fight that
Fabian
you
could
thought
have
was all for TLID.
survived if he
But it wasn't, and now,
moved better.
again, the pendulum swinging in
I
game
don't
3.
think
They
he
focus
would have
on
died
the
there
base the
if he actually
mid-turret
moved
tier
well.
1.
Under the turret
That
going
was
in for the
very strange
airstrike. Kirk
movement,
shall be shut
feel.
down by Aaron Shiki.
That's 280 gold into the pockets of TLID. At least they find something back. 9-9. They're keeping it a very tight series here, but with 3 turtles on their side and 1
Could be a
turret,
movement
we're
error, I don't
looking
know.
for some permanent damage.
But I felt like that he could have- he could have escaped there.
Realize that it's all about waiting for that Cursed Blood to come out, and then maybe looking to, you know, overstep a little bit to get TLID to come out of their comfort zone.
The most difficult thing here for Fnatic ONIC PH is obviously dealing with where Fabian is. Most of the time, because of how far ahead he is in terms of damage potential on the Joy, they got to keep an eye on the back line, and Kirk's been doing a fantastic job. I mean, he is tanky enough to go ahead and jump in around whether he has the Vengeance or not. And that's kind of a mirrored approach where your back line is both exposed on both lineups if you're not careful here. So they check things out in the mid lane. The Lord is up, and Kirk's going to be the one to go ahead and get in position. Now still, it's relatively even across the board that Tier 1 gets pushed in by the minion wave at bot as they get in position for the Lord.
I just love the fact that they're forcing respect out of them, right? Even on the bottom side, from FNOP, they're not spreading out anymore. They got to stay together.
Okay, so Melfic Roar already picked up by Aaron Shiki too, so that should be the power spike, 3-item power spike. You can see the damage, the poke with the feather airstrike as well. Death Sonata. Kelra is out of the fight just like that. Up top, 1v1, Flavor Fave, the Usurper in a 1v1 against Kirk.
That's a very good
kill you, but it's not King Kong,
before the Lord, because CC has been a problem for their team.
Yet, right? 4 ultimates to 3
That's a very good
the
kill.
economy is looking pretty good for Fnatic ONIC at this point of time, and this is the very first Lord. If they're looking for that big swing, Fnatic ONIC need to win this out.
They'll just delay it a
I
little
would say
bit
the
longer.
key
Team
members.
Liquid ID still having the revitalizers too. One was just used.
It's not that important to kill the CC then right now.
Ghost signal though on the Lord. They're gonna zone out FNOP.
Probably more important to kill.
David claims it and Kelra disappears. Aaron
King Kong.
Shiki gets him down with the Death Sonata.
Where did he go? Where did he go? Just a couple of shots and he disappears into thin air. Unfortunately, he's not able to build up enough shields. The raw damage from Aaron Shiki is just too much for now.
It's too much for now, and this is the game that Aaron Shiki and the rest of Team Liquid ID needed. They get themselves another major objective, and now trying to work down some of the turrets they still have left to approach the base of FNOP, but Aaron Shiki just go ahead, post up, take down that tier 2 as the Lord makes its way down bot. Aran?
Oh, no.
Kirk?
Even with the revitalizer, Aran might have just made it. Kirk into the midst of the rest of the cavalry who just pounce on him.
Kirk, he's got to calm down here. I mean, yes, it's calculated from Iran's side, but Kirk should know better. He got very confident off of that, and this is off of a Lord push.
Lord push right now.
We didn't see the
Mid-turret still
shutdown.
being worked on. A feathered airstrike dropped down. Wow, a lot of shots for King Kong.
Maybe they'll show it after the
Shields are
game.
going to be popping here, though. Lord almost gone. The last one will go down, though, as Lord is cleared out. So FNOP will hold on to the base turrets pretty healthily.
For now, at least they can breathe. At least they can, take their time and rethink their strategies. Because I think the hardest part is getting
the right strategy though.
Together. Ideally, you want to get that curtain call on both Aaron Shiki and Yeheskill. Maybe
getting rid of
Fabian as well with
PC
any
makes
other front lines.
it a lot easier for
feather airstrike on the Super Grizzlies Ignition and the glowing water. Oh my god!
Camila to operate.
In time. Another feather airstrike over to Kelra. Very low on Kelra and Kirk. Prince able to clear out the wave in the bottom lane, and that is it. But man, the kill threat.
He was burning.
He was hurting a lot. That was glowing wand on top of the... Oh my, it could have gone bad. Super Prince luckily pops his ult in time and conveniently has minions down by the bot side of the map.
Could have been real bad.
It could have been real bad. Even running with that. Again, all Super Prince wants to do is continue to build up on the stacks.
Stack him up.
That he has. Glowing wand, wishing lantern now. You can see it there. 216 stacks for the Sicilian.
Not the
so
best,
the later
but
the game gets
still
dragged
works.
on, then Super Prince becomes pretty devastating in terms of damage, but you saw it too. The stacks for Aaron Shiki, he deleted Kelra earlier on.
Yeah, I mean, he's 695, he's about to hit 700, and it's only like 1230 in the game so far. I mean, he's been stacking up really, really nicely, and I do like the way that TLID is adjusted.
And you can see the purchase for Witty. Anti-Curse into second item Twilight Armor, so he has ways to deal with the poke that will be constantly coming out from FNOP's Super Prince, right? With the Sicilian, that bad impact, it won't really have that punch anymore with the Twilight Armor. You can just constantly take that damage, back away, wait for it, Kelra. Kelra with the back wilderness! That's a big bomb. No, that's not either. Curse of blood from
my God.
That's 3 members already down, and
The
Kirk, he's
Camila
got
hit
no
that
pushing
perfect out.
powers. Fabian starts running in with the rest of the squad. It's going to be the Vengeance already. Papa with no minions. What?
Okay, there's the push in from the cavalry they're looking for in game of 3. FNOP will still try to defend, but they're going to have to make this work.
Only Kirk left now.
he
Gun
can
down
defend.
the Rhapsody and that Sky Piercer. The cavalry are alive.
Ooh, they breathe life into another game, extending the series. They're not going to let FNOP get to match point just yet.
the Camila
not
was
without
perfect.
at least one stampede
Perfection,
down.
Camila
They
out.
came through as a stampede
But all
in
started by
game
Huda.
3. We talked about the
All
adjustments
started by
leading in
Huda.
this one, and it was apparent here from start to finish. They show that they have fight in them right here for this series.
And you can see how the Carmilla was a comfort for Witty the Wise.
Yep. It was a great pick, unique draft once again. We're gonna have to go ahead and throw it over to the panel to break down game number 3 and see what they thought about this result.
TLID was able to take down Fnatic ONIC Philippines in game number 3. The question is it an outplay or a mistake? Trax, what do you think?
I mean, TLID, I think they were able to execute some things there. They were on fire, and FNOP, honestly, a little bit on the fritz there, man. Had a little bit of a glitch in draft, at least in my opinion. And then even in some of the gameplay, we saw Kelra get caught. TLID had the advantage from draft on, and this time they executed it very well.
I think the word you're looking for is a little too playful. We've seen Fnatic ONIC go through these episodes. One to point out is against Falcon Esports. They picked out a double dive lineup, put a Yu Zhong in the EXP. In that same series, they put a Uranus into Kirk's hands, and that was against Liquid ID. I correct myself?
Either way, we've seen it happen a few times from
Yeah,
that.
so it seems like for the sake of shaking it up, Fnatic ONIC, we're only speculating, decided to first phase draft a Harith and then open up the Granger, give it over to Aaron Shiki, and then close up with a little more conservative Sicilian and CC, which again allowed for Liquid ID to come in and read that game from game 2 and then take over. Weezy, how do you read this?
It's the ONIC special. That's what it kind of appears to be, right? When they are ahead, they tend to kind of do these things. They draft a little bit more interesting. Something I can't predict. I would say the X Factor effect, and the X Factor is high risk, high reward, and this way, in this game was not their reward. So I think in the next one, the draft was what made the difference in this. It wasn't a micro game. This was 100% draft.
So this time, it's the draft. We can say that for sure.
So, like, Trax, do you think that maybe for the sake of winning the World Championship, should ONIC make it simple?
Yes, I mean, I think this was when we first started the night and we talked about win cons for TLID. It was take advantage of these playful moments, take advantage of these glitches in the system, and then build momentum off of it. So Fnatic ONIC, they have two choices. They keep on messing around, and they let TLID catch up, and then it's risk factor. Then it gets risky. Then they find out that, oh man, TLID has momentum now, and now they're really playing and growing. Now they're adapting. So Fnatic ONIC, they need to quickly get things back together.
Yeah, this was interesting too, because you pick up the Joy, and I would have sworn the Fredrin 100% win rate would have been the thing picked up here from King Kong. But instead, decides to go for the Suyo, and then you have the Sicilian, the late game special. But I mean, this is a 13-minute game. We saw the stacks, they just weren't scaling.
You know what? There were moments where the Suyo wasn't even bad. Like, I think Suyo into Joy running it like this, especially if you're confident as King Kong isn't wrong. I think where it really fell off was how Kirk was just holding down the fort, even when he didn't have to, for the sake of that Sicilian, to try and buy time and space on the map so that the rest of them can approach that power spike. Even that Harith, there was a moment where in the bottom lane, Harith was just dancing around Aran and pushing that bottom lane tier 1, but what after that? Where do we go from there? I don't think Super Prince wanted to be in these situations this early on, because we saw his stacks early, right? And they're not very high for like a 12-minute game time.
Yeah, there's also this, you know, with Kirk, what we just saw from the items, he's very late to pick up any magic defense. Yes, he gets the tough boots, but into the War Axe, into Brute Force Breastplate, and you're in this tough position because you have Aaron Shiki, who's dishing out insane damage. You have Fabian and a Farza, who's dishing out insane damage, and every time we saw Kirk go in, trying to do Kirky things, he
really
gets
interesting
taken out
on the emblem
very
side.
quickly. Even when that one moment, he thought he had her on.
Yeah, and speaking of Aran, I mean, he's running that Hilda special, right? You've seen him dominate in TLID, with TLID in Season 14 of MPL, and you see the domination here again over Kirk, who was just caught out of position so many times. I mean, look at the difference in damage between Aaron Shiki and Kelra.
Kelra did just as much as Brusco.
And that's not very much. If anything, Brusco dealt more. You look at that number. Talking about Kelra here, he is a
box
short
scaling with
to
items,
mid-range
survivability,
mage.
lane
He likes
prio.
to play in the paint.
Overall
And when
damage
you're in the
durability,
paint,
he's probably got
Widdy picked the right hero.
all round
If you're
maxed
going to run
all of
straight at
them.
the Team
I
Liquid
disagree.
ID, Widdy
Hard
just puts up
disagree
the
there.
Curse of Blood, and you suddenly have to find
think his scaling is not that great.
Aran is just right around the corner.
Of course, his scaling is
I think Fnatic
good
ONIC really have
as
to
a
tighten up
marksman,
the
but it's not
screws
as good
and
as
fix this game
the Twitch
for
scaling
draft.
marksman.
Like that's just the main answer here. That's how
Lane
they
Brio, yes,
drop
he's
Yeah, when we're at this peak
solid.
of, when we're at the grand
One of
finals, and I
the
think
stronger
many grand
ones.
finals before this,
Overall
so many
damage,
things comes out to one or two
I would
picks in the
say
draft. So many things
he
comes down
beats
to these coaches and what they give their
a
teams.
few
And
marksmen
TLID
based on
kind of
range.
risked it there, right? They go for the
Not
Joy
a few,
first
but a
pick.
lot of the
They
marksmen
risk
based on
giving
range.
over the Granger, but in the
But
end, we
it's
have our
mostly poke damage.
MVP.
It's not really like
Yep, the usurper
crazy,
Fabian
insane amount
here
of damage.
using the joy when he has the space to do it. Oh my god, he will take the chance and he will do it. Honestly, looking at the lineup here, there's a lot of opportunities for TLID to make sure that Fabian really shows up with the joy. And I feel like that's the secret recipe here, where they have Aran as well as Weedy, where Weedy was taking a lot of shots. But once Weedy has that Twilight armor, he's able to tank up, he's able to wait for the right opportunity to use that Cursed Blood. There's a lot of distractions, and then Fabian just goes through the cracks.
Yeah, and there wasn't really too much punish on the Joy pickup, right? I mean, it looked like for the side of Fnatic ONIC, they were trying a little bit of an experimental draft, trying to find another way around it without having to go with a traditional counter-engage Fredrin or a Beller to go up against it. And
I think
it
just one
doesn't work out.
sentence
I feel
is
like
enough
at
to
this
describe
point,
Granger.
in M6, you have to go for the harder counter.
Annoying, but not
so
deadly.
taking a look at some of these highlights, Fabian,
That's the
clean game
one
in the
sentence you
beginning.
can just describe
Even playing a
Granger.
little bit risky in this first fight, maybe he decides to come back in, but he knows his team's there.
Annoying,
picks
but
up
not
the extra
deadly.
kill, and we get to a point where Fabian just starts to scale out of control. He's second item. He goes from Starling Scythe straight into Holy Crystal, and that's when we know. I think there was a point where he died, and I'm looking at Leo and he's 7-2, and I'm like, at this point, even if he dies 3 more times, he's still going to be able to 1v1 just about anyone on the map.
Yep, just second in the gold rankings towards Aaron Shiki. He's farming heroes. Homie had 9 kills.
Yeah, I would like to see a Mia.
He could have had 10.
I would love to see a
He
Mia.
almost got the
I've been
solo
calling for
kill
Mia the
onto
entire
King Kong, but that's when that
M6.
whole little instant
Still haven't seen
replay
it.
situation happened. But just the same, you know that Fabian will not let you forget that that almost happened. He still performed way better after.
Yeah, dropping the beat of the flash.
They're not
on
gonna
Fnatic
show
ONIC
the.
with that flashy pickup of the Joy, the deciding
They're not gonna show
factor
how
to
King
help
Kong shut down
TLID push on forward and
Fabian.
still remain in this series, not facing
They
a
still
3-0
haven't
deficit, but
shown it.
a 2-1.
Yeah, so right now it's definitely not going to be a clean sweep. So far, again, we've seen either 4 O's, 4 trees. This time, we got to see. If we're following the trend, it does seem like we're going to go all 7 games. But do you guys feel it will even go that far?
So are you saying there's just no other way? Like, just because
there's no other way.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is either 4-0 or 4-3.
Personally, I don't think it will go 7 games.
By the way,
That's exactly,
for all the
because
Granger
it's so
supporters out
clear
there, right?
What happened here with Fnatic ONIC? They
For
were
all
in
the
a
Granger
dominant
supporters out
position,
there.
1 and 2. They switch it up a little too much, if you ask me, in game number 3.
Let me.
I think if they don't fix
Show
it
you.
up here in game number 4, then maybe we do follow the pattern. We go all the way. Only if.
Only if next game there's another glitch in the system, there's another quick fritz in the draft, then definitely this whole trend could continue. I think next game's going to be our big decider on when this is all going to end.
Yeah,
Second
but
highest
that's
pick
not a
rate.
gamble I'm willing to take. I'm not going to go for the experimental draft, especially with
Granger
all this
with
on
the second
line.
highest
The
pick
Oxygen
rate.
Arena, grand finals, a
In
chance to be a
all
world
of Mobile
champion.
Legends, okay?
That's not a time to experiment.
Second
That's
highest.
where you go straight to the basics and you work with things that have been tested, things that have been proven time and time again.
So we're seeing that probably game 4 onwards is going to be the real FNOP. But before that, we got a quote here coming in.
Granger with
from
the
Weedy
9th
from
lowest win
TLID.
rate.
We did wise. We have to see what
Out
he
of
has
200
to say.
over
The
heroes.
title above all. Weedy has said
He's the
facing SRG
9th
was an
worst
intense
hero
match for us. We have to set
with the
aside
second
our
highest
egos
pick rate.
and personal issues, prioritizing this match above
I rest my
all
case
else.
with Granger.
In the past, we didn't play as a team. We focus on our individual games. Against FNOP, we're committed to pushing ourselves to the limit, aiming to bring the championship title back to Indonesia. Very interesting quote here coming in from Weedy.
I mean, you know, I like how he said SRG was an intense match for us because they 3-0 SRG,
So people
you know?
playing
and
Granger
they
are dead.
made it look very clean. TLID were so dominant. So definitely
Hey, you
a
can-
little bit of humbleness there. And now I'm
You
wondering,
can- you
know, if
can
they want
use
this
whatever-
championship title,
Whatever you
they need to
wanna,
bring out that beast
whatever
that we
excuse
saw
you want
from
for
them the
Granger.
past couple days.
And every single game so far in this best of 7, 1, 2, and 3, they have put out their best foot. It's not like the draft was bad for TLID in any of those games. It's actually weird that it's Fnatic ONIC that we're actually pointing out that had a weird lineup going into that bout. So I agree. Weedy, just focus on your gameplay. Focus on asking St. DeLucas and Facehugger for a good draft. And if you get it, just play better than Fnatic ONIC. But going into Game 4, I think things are going to change.
And I do agree with the point when he said going up against SRG, they had to play more as a team and not their own individual games like they have in the past, right? Especially when we've seen the match against SRG, they had a lot of synergy. They had a lot of diving potential as a unit, that hive mentality, which was helping them overcome a lot of their competition, and that really put pedestal
of course, correlation
up for
doesn't
the side
equal
of TLID
position.
to be able
I know
to
that.
step on. And they were able to step on it, and they learned
at
from
the same
experience.
time,
But now it's using that experience and translating it into this game. Now, they got a match off Fnatic ONIC. Can they ride that
there's a
momentum?
reason for the stats.
We'll have to see. A couple minutes till draft. You know, TLID. I think.
And this is like significant stats because
match, right?
it's from a huge
swing.
sample size.
You know, do they
It's not like I sample my community of 100 people.
Maybe, you know,
it's the entire ML player base.
not messed up in draft. You know, like it's kind of.
That's out of your control. As a competitor, as an athlete, if you know in yourself
But
that
this is
you won
just
because your
Google
opponent did
MLBB website.
few things wrong before the match even started, how do you deal with that? It's irreplicable. You can't go like, all right, I hope they do that again. I hope they pick the Harith early again.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't even look at that game. I would look at the game before where the mistakes actually happened, when it was an even playing field.
For a hero that is not complicated to play, like,
I don't expect.
if you say Fanny
twice,
has a
it's
low
not going to
win
strike
rate,
twice again, right? There's
I
a
can
reason you
understand
said that,
because
and I feel
the
like
hero is
stepping into
complicated
the next draft, it should be a
and
little
not
bit
everybody can
harder
play
of a
Fanny.
challenge for TLID.
But
so
I think everybody
looking back
can
at
play
the previous
Granger, right?
games where they did lose in the micro
Like, is it
engagements
that
is what's gonna make
complicated
the
to play
difference
Granger
overall for this
that
series.
it has such a low
And
win
now we're
rate?
looking at player head-to-head here, and I kind of feel
Is
like
it that
this is what
difficult?
we're going to see a
Or
lot
rather,
in
is it-
this game. Between Brusco as well
Is
as
it that
Weedy,
difficult to
it
be
does feel
good
like
on
Weedy will be
such
the one
a
to take the brunt
simple
of the
hero?
damage here compared to Brusco, because in terms of the mid-trio aggression, it does seem like ONIC is a little bit more compared to TLID.
All right, if
That it has such a low win rate. I don't know.
It's not what's on screen.
Maybe
it's something that isn't.
someone explain
the
it to me.
fact that Aran took so much damage in game number 3 to help spread it out between him and Weedy might be a
Do I
key
have
to
a
victory
Discord
for
server I
Team
can
Liquid
join?
ID.
Yeah.
If this, what is this? 13,000 that Weedy is taking more from Brusco
somewhere
is spread out between him
already
and
gave the
Aran.
Discord.
Maybe they can
Okay.
take more fights wherein it's not a 4v5,
Didn't
a
see that.
3v5.
Thanks, Night
You
Shift.
know what I'm saying? Like, if Liquid ID can keep the numbers game fair, then maybe even more they can find ways to like shut down Kelra, shut down King Kong.
Yeah, look for those. I think a lot of it comes down to them tightening up, looking for those, you know, more clustered team fights to where they're not as spread out. Because we saw it in game 1 and even a little bit in game 2, you know, FNOP really capitalized when they're able to disperse them. You know, Kelwer will find Witty in the back line, kind of broken off from the team. Then Kelwer comes in late. So if TLID is able to group up, they're able to disperse some of that damage.
Which is weird because Fnatic ONIC are specialists
Don't
at
get
the
us friends with the other thing
scrambled style of team fighting.
about
That's
him
where
is
Brusco
aiming
can get
really
away,
straightforward.
heal
Yes.
up for like 2
People
seconds,
have a hard
come back,
time aiming
punch
his
someone in the
first
face, and
It's
then
true.
be part of the fight all over
It's
again.
true.
How do they hit
But the
this
thing is that-
balance? How do they make that happen over and over again?
The
Besides,
thing is that
again,
if he's that
besides a weird
good
draft,
a hero, if he's that good,
again, secrets up to them. It's up to coach
Shouldn't his
St. DeLucas and Facehugger
win
to
rate
remind them
actually
how to get that.
be
Yeah, you got to out-bruise
higher
the
than
bruiser. I think
ninth
that's one of the
lowest?
keys to victory for the side of
Like,
TLID.
come on, man.
I mean, we see him
If
on
he's
the
that
top,
good,
we
if
see him
he's
with
that
his
high
initiations.
prio,
Majority of these
if he
games, if I'm
deserves
not
such a high
mistaken,
prio,
were they all
shouldn't
top
his win rate
games
be
from
a
Brusco
lot
so
better
far?
than that?
They were.
3 games in a row.
At least not 9th
games in a row.
lowest in
See, and that's
the entire
that's a key victory right there.
MLBB
Just finding a way to shut
hero
him
list
down.
of 200
Maybe
heroes.
forcing him on something
Come on, man.
else, so he can't create
You should
such
at least
an
be like
opportunity.
maybe 100 lowest.
And now we're jumping into the draft of game number 4 here. TLID, I agree with you, gentlemen. If Fnatic ONIC Philippines draft like normal, it's going to be pretty hard for TLID. They were able to clutch it out when Aran as well as Weedy takes the damage by 50-50 here, but this time, unfortunately, the Hilda has been banned out. Fnatic ONIC Philippines will be on first pick.
Okay, so TLID, what do they make this last ban as? I don't think you go into jungle. You take out the Bruno. So now you're kind of playing that same game. Last time they were on blue side, they had the first pick opportunity. They obviously don't want a Granger up front. They're willing to maybe give it over to FNOP. Does FNOP
Joy
take
again,
it? No,
first pick.
they go for the Joy this time. TLID, you're in the same position. You don't make the Harith mistake, I think, here. I think you
What's my
take
score
Granger, Granger whatever.
Actually, I
Granger
predicted
Hylos,
yesterday
Granger
4-1.
Cho, I mean, Cho's
Gonna stick with it.
Yo, I think, once
Gonna
again,
stick with the 4-1.
personally, I think you go for Fred on pick 3.
But it's a switcheroo now. It's FNOP first.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, TLID
Low
should
is
take
open.
that.
TLID, you take the Granger.
Low E.
I'm taking the Gatot. You gotta stop Brusco.
Maybe go
from
low
this comfort
E
pick, right?
and high loss will be
Eventually,
good.
I mean, they're
Low E,
giving
high loss.
respect over to some comfort picks of their own. They're taking out that Hilda from Aran.
Okay, low E Suyo.
But they're gonna go in for that Suyo instead, pair it up with this Lu Yi.
I kind of like the low E, high loss though. Why are they so eager to pick Suyo? Especially since
it wasn't too bad against the Joy. It was
not very
a hard
picked Joy.
stoppage though, which means maybe going for something like that Belleric could be the case here.
puzzles
I
me.
mean, the Lu Yi, I get it. You're taking it away. It was definitely a possibility as a number 2 or 3 pick for FNOP.
Maybe they want to see what
But again, you're
what
now
why not
risking
has already
losing
picked.
a gold laner here. If
And then they can
FNOP
counter pick.
decides to lock in this Granger immediately, I think that's the choice for them on number 3 here.
Here's the thing. The Granger is good, but Kelra can make a Moskov work. A
I would
Beatrix.
like them to take a marksman here.
That's just
Like a prior
whole
marksman.
nother story.
Give something
so
to
I'm guessing,
Kelra.
they prioritize something else here and they close in on that mid
Give something
lane matchup.
solid.
Super Prince still has his own diversion if you think about it.
Yeah, I'm from Singapore.
Very fair. I mean, definitely agree. And it's, I mean,
I don't know, man. I don't even like Granger, but he's just one of the things. One of those things that just work
Instead
better
of the
than they should.
Gatot, you get something a little more aggressive,
Okay,
a little more backline divey.
Yeah, and this should
I am not a
open up the
professional
Granger for
coach,
the side
so
TLID to have the presence in the gold
they
lane,
probably have a
especially
good
with that
reason
Bruno
why they
being
prior
taken
Granger.
off the board. Now the Valentina
Right.
has been grabbed up.
I'm trusting the
from,
coaches
FNOP.
here.
The first
I'm
Valentina
trusting the
we've seen
professional
this
opinion
entire
here.
series, and with that Valentina,
There is
they're gonna
something that
have
I don't see.
diversion play, which means both teams will be able to teleport across the map and catch each other off guard. Oh, and the chip for the shortcuts.
Now it's a party.
Oh yeah, so right now TLID, they're definitely playing a little bit more macro here. They got both the Louis as well as the chip, so a lot of movements around the map. Now all they really need is suitable heroes to actually go through the teleports.
They are folding the map in half twice. They can send out the chip, not even with the diversion intact, like he can just scout out, come back via the Y walk, and suddenly there's so much that
the thing is that they have
They
Valentina.
just need the right pieces. Still do not have the solid peel we're looking for, and still no gold laners.
I don't know whether it's actually good
in
to
both
just
teams' hands.
have double
They're both
teleport
taking him
when
out.
there's a
One
Valentina.
out, and Harith out. Granger's
Not so
still
sure.
a large. Beatrix still out there. Moskov as well. So TLID, after all the bans, they have first dibs.
Yeah, I think depending
It's
on
like
how many
TLID
more
is just
gold
forcing
laners
their
get
strategy
banned out here,
right now.
TLID gets that first pick snapback here on second phase. So FNOP might want to be careful on how deep they go into this gold
So
lane and
far-
what they leave open for themselves here.
Yeah, it's going to
Oh,
be
Nick's
interesting to
drop
see
looks
which way
better
this plays out. I'm honestly a
so
little
far.
surprised about the chip. You already had the element of surprise with the Lu Yi, and I don't even think that FNOP would have even banned that out.
I'm so
Maybe it was to
disappointed from Munda
stop
as they
them
do
from
nothing to
getting the
grow
chip
ML in
themselves.
Pakistan
Could have
and
been a
India.
possible answer. But nonetheless, they have great crowd control with the Lu Yi. They have the great element of surprise
was
as
banned in
well.
India.
I think the
Munda
gold
for me
laners, I
instead.
feel like whether you get the Granger, whether you get
Didn't,
the Moskov,
I
it's
thought
really going to just boil down to the
Munda
micro and who can scale a
unbanned
little bit better as you go through
Mobile
the
Legends in
game.
India already?
What I
Or
really
are
want
they
to
like
see
in the
is what
process
is
of
going to go
doing it?
into the XP lane.
I mean, I think I heard
TLID.
of that
It's something
before.
to kind of
I'm
deny
not sure.
Kirk. We saw Kirk
But I
struggling
think I
in the last match.
heard about it. So many of the marksmen are banned.
Again, Granger probably gets picked up here by TLID. They go for the Claude.
Wow. Claude.
Where are these teams going?
I haven't seen Claude in a while.
There's nothing really tanky on the side of FNOP. I mean, of course, there's gonna
Teleport plus
be.
Claude is very strong though.
Claude, though, I mean, it's quick movement, it's quick pace. You have Lu Yi, you have Chip, you have Claude.
Does an old favorite like Arlott come through? You still need an answer to those dudes coming through the portal, right?
TLID needs some kind of tank here.
Are we gonna
because
see a
Chip
Mia?
ain't that tanky anymore,
Yeah.
and you
Or
can't let
Brody,
your hero
maybe?
die all that early.
It's gonna be Granger again,
It's gonna be
right?
challenging.
Boring
Looking at the
Granger.
options on the board, still the high-lows still available for both sides. We are going to see the Edith pick
Okay,
up
Beatrix.
alongside the Beatrix. So gold lane matchup will be the
I
Beatrix
was hoping for Mia,
up
but
against the Claude. How are we feeling about it?
I don't think Mia is that great against
I
Claude.
mean, you get the Kirk special, you feel comfortable. You got the Brusco Bruiser special, and as we've said, Kelra's gonna feel good on just about anything. And this isn't even an
Claude is
out of
pretty
meta
solid
pick
against
here. This is a
Beatrix,
Beatrix. It's been
though.
a solid pick throughout all of M6.
Solid A+ pick here.
A great
One
diver
more
for
TLID,
Beatrix.
the XP laner.
Edith is really
What
good
does Hylos is open.
against the
Do you
Claude.
do that? Do you go through the
Because
shortcut
both her
and then
skills
just
can
drop
Yeah,
the
Phobius.
pathway?
That's Phobius
cancel
available
Claude's
too.
out.
They're going to go for the Fredrin, the answer to the joy. But
where's it going?
XP
it
Fredrin.
has to be XP. They're pulling a team spirit.
That's
So
strange.
it's that trap you were talking about, but a game late and the other team.
I mean, because we've seen it before, so it's not all that crazy. But now, we'll see how TLID uses this draft against Fnatic ONIC Philippines, which arguably they got all the favorites on each hand. And with that, we're throwing it over to the casters.
I'm thinking about why they picked the Fredrin though.
Very interesting draft. We already know what party it's about to be here for this one from TLID. But interesting. I mean, even with that Fredrin last
Isn't it
pick,
just better to just go for Ruby?
I guess it's a little interesting, right? You're still able, you have multiple ways to
Why
lock
Fred?
down and try and keep Joy in place. I guess that's what they wanted from the beginning.
Hey, it looks as zany, as goofy as a Hilda XP when I saw it first at
Why not just
MPL.
take
And Aran
Ruby?
was the guy who tried it first. He was the guy who brought that pick. So, Fredrin XP, Aran, I trust you.
We'll see if that trust is in the right place, because one
Is there
thing's
even
for
anything
sure,
or any strat that
TLID
works
is
against
one of the few
Chip,
teams
like,
that brings
really
out
well, I
so
doubt.
many unique combinations
Kinda
of
hard to
heroes and
stop
picks,
an
and they do
unstoppable
it for
portal,
game
no?
number 4 here. And even out the series, we'll see if it's enough. But also on
Like,
the
I guess
flip
the only
side,
thing
the
that
other
works is
side
like
here,
a group
for
CC
Fnatic ONIC
or
Philippines,
lots of
they're more
AoE.
so, leaning on some comfort for this. And
I guess
Brusco
that's the
on the
best
Khalid
strat against
has had great performances, and you take away the Louis
Lots of
from
AoE.
Super Prince as he gets whittled down already. Oh, Brusco's could be in trouble. He's going to go ahead and Cyclone out
But
of
depends,
there.
right?
But at least now you have the Valentina for Super
We
Prince. So
might have to see how the other team plays with the portal.
I suppose, but even Brusco's playing a very tight game here. No flicker, as expected, but unless...
Yo, that's not good. Revitalized from Aran will not save him. Super Friend still, despite getting bullied early, claims first blood.
Interesting motions across the map here. I wasn't hoping that was going to happen, but at the very least, it's good for Fnatic ONIC PH, right? They find one for themselves, and at this point, it's about brawling, getting all those battle spells out of them as soon as possible.
Yeah, they have to go ahead and play against this. Kirk taking a couple shots from Aran. Again, an XP Fredrin is not something you see too often. So this will be interesting to see how he plays it, because also he's running the Revitalize alongside Witty. And we know that with this kind of lineup and these kind of heroes from Team Liquid ID, Brusco again?
Surge, Sever Fabian. No, he just used the Queller. He took him down. 1-1.
Yep, so far Yehezkiel's been doing a very good job making sure that duality is able to proc just in time and making it difficult for Brusco to kind of take that space, right? Every single time he tries to forcefully push out those waves, he's going to have to pay the tax.
And this is why having that Louis Yi is so valuable on these lineups, because it's just, you're able to go and get, even if it's just the reactions that you're using and not the diversion, so to speak, it's a big threat. But the fight for this turtle's already going to break out here.
Okay, Aran almost fully stacked, goes in, but King Kong's there, finds a spot. King Kong wins the retreat battle. No Revitalize for them to play with. Even when Aran places it down, Brusco, Raging Sandstorm with E, doesn't escape from the primal wrath of Kirk.
Why would they take such a big risk on this? And they didn't even hit their level 4s on time, right?
Yeah.
I think that Aran, yes, at the very least, you are somewhat strong, but you don't have your first items as well. No Thunderbell, really. And you're going to get bursted down by a majority of these heroes until later on into the game. But let's not forget, Witty is not level 4. Even Yehezkiel wasn't
Finally
level 4.
get to see the clock.
I just don't see the angle.
And that's
M6
why
skin.
FNOP
Prime
punished
skin.
them when they had that angle available to
It's
them
Prime-
too. Witty's still not level 4. Will
Prime
take
Beatrix versus
quite a bit of
Prime
poke damage down.
Claude.
Who's going to back off here.
The
but this
battle
is,
of
again,
the
a sign. And we see King
M
Kong do this
skins.
all the time when he picks up the Joy. He loves to jungle this quick around the map, and he's already got a gap between him and Fabian.
Oh, yeah. It's already really tough, Witty. Shortcut Kirk, instant flicker out. Fabian will take it so that he can go to the XP crab.
Yep, real fast on him. He wants to catch up as much as possible here.
Let's
great
do a
reaction
poll,
time
see who
coming in
wins.
from Kirk, right? At least he was able to move out of the way and not give a free kill over. Because so far, hold on.
Revitalize from Witty. King Kong's damage a bit too much to handle. Electrifying beats onto Yehezkiel. And in reaction, King Kong very low, still able to escape. And man, up top, it's a blazing duet from Aaron. Still no damage though. Kelra walking up. Diversion.
Oh, outplayed! Talk about an IMU of a lifetime to find the solo onto Yehezkiel. Nowhere safe.
IMU is what they said. And Yehezkiel gone. Now a lot of the pressure there on the top side, and you would think, with the lineup Team Liquid ID has, they're the ones playing around, keeping the head on the swivel from Fnatic ONIC PH with the macro utility that this lineup brings. But it seems like FNOP's able to do that instead.
Yeah, and they're doing a phenomenal job so far. 3K lead, and Iran unfortunately does not outpush Kirk at this point in time until he
I'm
gets
still very
maybe
confused over the Fredrin XP pick.
Basically be seeing Fnatic
It still doesn't make any
very
sense for me.
happy around the turtle, which is
I think Ruby will be so much.
TLID to come in with more
Like, just think
creative
about
angles,
it.
right? Now that their
Yeah.
ults are available,
Ruby
they should be looking for flanks,
setting for
looking
low E.
opportunities to
Just
sneak
think
their
about
way
it.
into
The combo.
battle lines.
Again, part of this is the utilization of the Valentina for Super Friends. Shortcut going to be dropped down. And that's King Kong. So he's like, you know what? Shortcut came through there on that side of the map. We'll go and make our way to the turtle and start this up to lock it down. Second one. Not sure if there's going to be any contest, so it looks like TLID just goes in positions.
And Fnatic ONIC PH, they read perfectly into it, right? They see that TLID escape, they see the diversion where it was initially going to go. They know for a fact that they've got no resources, so therefore, we don't need everybody around the turtle.
It's just
They
really
took Predator XP to counter Joy.
Right down below.
No way.
Doesn't Ruby do the same exact thing?
To his safety and gets the kill.
Can we just
If
say,
you're
you know,
gonna
Kirk on this Edith, a signature pick of his, loves to do the, hold on, jungle.
Fred, you might as well just take Joy.
Yes, Q, reaction. Fabian to be very low again. King Kong
Oh, he
versus
missed,
two.
he missed.
Fabian escaping the Queller. Yes, Q walking up again up top. There's a battle. It's going to be King. Oh, Kelra jumping.
Oh,
the double for
Beatrix beats
Kelra
Claude.
under the tier 2.
Beatrix beats
Nicely
Claude.
done, nicely done. Brusco applying so much pressure across the map, opening up that information, allowing
Vela
these
has more outs to
kills
copy.
be falling
I guess that's
through
true.
for both Kelra as well as, I mean, King Kong, the fact that King Kong was already 2v1ing it, he's really pressing his lead.
He's
But still,
has a
I think
massive lead right now,
the-
but just again as a team, it's
feel
mind-boggling
like-
to think that Fnatic ONIC PH is finding all these fronts across the map.
The
from
benefits of
bottom to
having the Ruby
jungle
on your
and then
team
the top. Then it's Team Liquid ID
beats
really trying to catch their breath and try to find
the
these moments where they can actually keep things from
negative
getting too out
aspect
of
of
hand.
giving Valentina
Now
that out.
the focus here, tier
feel
1
like
bottom lane, they all rotate
You needed
down.
that Ruby
Sandstorm from
instead of being
Brusco.
afraid of giving Valentina that out.
Kelra was trying to siege this turret
I mean,
down
Valentina
bottom
already
lane.
has good outs to
They're
copy.
kind of in a tough spot now. They have a
So,
composition that needs
it's not
to
like
somewhat snowball.
he doesn't have
Securing
anything
two
else to
objectives
copy.
At least at the start, and they have failed to do that.
And the best part is the item builds that we're seeing. Everybody is making sure that they've got some tough. And now here comes the shortcut as Aaron Shiki is chugging down Brusco, but it's not over yet as the front line is in trouble.
Quick sand guard. Oh, King Kong! Going and diving into the back of Hezkiel, trying to survive King Kong again. Aaron Shiki. And Brusco will try to sandwich him down. The BMI into Kelra's debut.
You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him. King Kong unleashes in the back line, and now that's another objective. Turtle secured here for FNOP. And just Team Liquid ID really trying to decide, you know, we brought some uniqueness to this game. We brought some spicy picks to the draft and maybe a whole lot of utility, but we haven't been able to use it.
Have you guys ever watched a
I
video of
think
a hydraulic press? Because
FNOP
that's
is
what
gonna win
Fnatic
for
ONIC PH are doing right now, and Team Liquid.
That's my prediction
They've got
yesterday.
all the utility to be
FNOP
able to come up with
for one.
creative angles, but these fights have been so convincing from Fnatic's side. And I gotta give it to Kirk, he's doing a great job, but at the same time, their pinches are like none other. Their collapses are so clean.
Again, it's that thing I was saying earlier about Kirk, man. You know, he's underrated in the sense that when the Edith is also picked up, it's not something you so much think about. He also loves to play with the Warcry emblem, so he's a little more aggressive. But like you said, Gideon, it's the fact of the layering, whether they're initiating with Brusco's Raging Sandstorm or playing into Kirk's initiations with a Flicker Onward and Earth Shatter. But look at this, focus now on this side of the map. They want to take down that tier 2 if they can. TLID knows this. They'll rotate and try to keep things under control. But again, keep an eye on Brusco. Doesn't have the flicker though. But King Kong.
Oh, he's gonna go. Oh my God! There's apathy from Kelra, almost taking Hezkiel down. Or Shadow Raging Sandstorm as well. Revitalize to keep him at bay. Aran still there. Super Friends.
Oh my God.
Wow! He
Is this a
stole the
wipeout?
Fredrin and he caught all of them.
Oh my goodness, melted every single
To be honest,
one.
if
An
Ruby
energy
was there,
eruption
right,
of
Ruby
a
was standing
lifetime
there,
coming in from Super Fritz.
they wouldn't dare do
The
this shit.
IQ on Super Prince and the decisions, and that's why we said this
Just the threat
Valentina
of
pick would
being
play an integral part in winning this game.
They wouldn't dare.
because you have so many options, but then the creativity.
Oh! Kelra! And now King Kong on your Hezkiel.
Just the threat of
What a statement piece coming in
into a
from
low E
Kelra.
combo.
A masterclass, doesn't miss one of
You
those
wouldn't
shots.
dare do this shit.
Making sure that TLID are always on their toes. It's 9 minutes into the game with one of the biggest leads we've seen so far. 11.6K, 17-1.
What do you do?
What do you do?
What do you do
Start
against
praying.
this?
You start praying and hoping and counting that you have another 5 minutes in you.
I think the party's over here for Witty in this one because right now there's no way you show up for these to contest.
Oh my god.
Even
Okay,
the
they're not gonna do it.
diversion so late, they send in Aaron Shiki, BMI's back to the base, but it was too late at that point, and now with a massive deficit to work against, and the shield's already popped in the mid lane and turret down to the top, they are down to almost the bare bones. Look at the difference in itemization.
Dear Lord, dear Lord.
Oh my lord!
Yeah, Heskill, it just has to eat it. Like, what else can you say about it, right? You don't have the items to even get into your second item spike. And unfortunately, an Enchanted Talisman, yes, you can throw out abilities, but half the time, eating those shots is all you can hope for.
When you're super ahead, you go for Heptaseas, and that's what Kelra is doing right now. Another random shot, Raging Sandstorm backwards, but it's all just to get space for
Have you guys
Kelra
tried the
to
corrosion
get the
side
base
via
turrets.
Trix build?
They got the base turret mid already down, but still Lord
It's
is
kinda
up.
disgusting.
They used the conceal earlier on, so TLID.
The rank
That's
game
the
build.
Kelra!
Nice.
Render's apathy! The gun in the gold lane! And now it's Brusco diving in! King Kong cleaning up!
He made the standard strong. He's ending this game. Keep your prayers up.
That was a
Start
quick game.
praying to him if you're a marksman. A
Match
gold
point
lane
for
god.
ONIC.
Kelra.
Match point.
What a
3-1.
shot.
What
One
a
more
shot,
game.
what a lineup,
One
what a
more win.
performance again, and now they find themselves championship point for the super fam of Fnatic ONIC Philippines.
The Fredrin
Never
last
seen
pick
such
was
a
such
dominating
a
performance in my life coming in from a gold laner.
You
Such a
said
bad
you just
last
gotta
pick.
pray to who? And the god in the gold lane is playing in the MLBB Lanadon.
Got to the gold lane at this point after that one, man. Panel, what about this game? What happened here? Take it away.
They need to
I
think
feel like
about
for this one, the analysis is
the
a little
drop,
bit
man.
more simple.
What
But
the
Fnatic
heck?
ONIC Philippines, they got their best heroes on their best users. They know what to do with this. The Edith, like even the Beatrix, you saw that final shot.
They played their best MLBB, and
the score is
I think this was more on Liquid IDs. It's
3-1
safe to
right
say,
now.
is it fair to say that they may have
Not 3,
overthought
TLID
and overloaded on utility? Our casters were doing their
So,
best to call all of these shots
FNOP
from different angles.
is
of
match point.
the
They need one more win
shortcut, the diversion,
to
even
actually
Aran
win the
coming
entire
through it.
series.
LaFell saw this from a mile away. Hell, I'll tell you now, maybe even a light year away, but I think it came out at the wrong time. That Fredrin trying to, what is it, still counter the Joy? It was a non-starter.
Yeah, the draft, I think the idea
Not last
was
one yet.
there on paper, right?
Potentially
but I
the
love
last-
that
it's
he's overthought
potentially
it.
the
I
last
think it was a
game.
little too much,
Because
too big brain,
if,
too trying
TLID
a little bit
wins,
too
the-
hard
the
when
series
once again,
extends.
You could have just kept it steady, kept it simple, because Fnatic ONIC was the one who had to recover from the previous draft.
Yeah,
Currently
they
it's,
didn't go
uh,
experimental
game-
this time. They went back
I mean, the
to
next
their
game will
roots,
be game
back to the
5.
basics, and it definitely makes a difference in the game from what you've
The series
seen.
can go
and
up to
yeah,
game
that's
7.
a rough one. It was interesting seeing the chip pickup alongside the Lu Yi, right? I mean, you already had the element of surprise. I feel like it was definitely overkill. They could have went for more crowd control, any other element outside of trying to go for more of that mobility and that element of surprise. So, yeah, that's a stinger. I feel like this is another one that boils down to this is not a micro game. This
So
one
if
was
FNOP
draft.
wins this, then it's already
I
done.
feel
Yes,
like
correct.
One of the things that we
If
have
the
to
next
say,
game ONIC wins,
TLID did
the
not
series is over.
interrupt Fnatic ONIC
So
Philippines
ONIC
from
wins.
doing what they want to do.
If
Either
they
in
win the
draft
next
or
game, the
in-game.
series is over.
And I kind of feel like that's the biggest thing. But now, looking at this, looks
So
like
the only way the
we
series
just had
goes
the
further is
fastest game
if TLID wins the
Fnatic ONIC
next.
Philippines against TLID. Game number 4
potentially
it was
2
10
games.
minutes and 34 seconds. Before this was 10 minutes 43 seconds. Team Spirit against Falcon. So game number 4, in terms of the domination, that was the fastest game so far.
9 seconds is the difference between these two records. And what a recovery. If we were going to blast Kelra's Harith, did this performance on the Beatrix do more than make up for that? He redeemed himself, picked up his signature hero, and I don't know, were you watching? Were we watching the same game? He used every single gun.
By the end, he was one-shotting people too. And
Did
I
he
mean,
use
it
the
was
shotgun?
just a monster overall.
Didn't see him use the shotgun this game.
Man, that was a dominating performance, right? And that's not just any game. That they're
But we
setting
have to really question the Fredrin pick, really.
One win away
Like, seriously.
from being a world champion.
Even a freaking Terizla would be better.
We gotta look at the
Don't have to pick Ruby.
We're gonna look at the itemization.
You can pick
for the
freaking
moment,
Terizla.
and we're gonna see, did they really overthink
Not the Fredrin.
Because again, looking into the draft, one of the question marks was that the Granger was not present. But
Haran got shafted by this draft, man.
Was the Claude an okay idea here? Because
Haran
it's
got
okay.
shafted
We've seen
with this bad
Louis-Claude
last pick.
interaction where you're able to basically hold every single lane, but is it too much?
The world's longest BMI is what you're referring to.
Which hero is not
Trex and
Kara's
Knight were actually
signature pick?
bouncing back on this idea that
To
they
be
didn't
honest,
pick the
because
Granger,
Kara
and
has
they picked the
been
Claude instead
playing
because it
MLBB for
runs
so
away
long.
better from the
Every
joy,
freaking
protects
marksman
itself a
is his
little better from
signature
the
pick.
Khalid, but was that all it was?
Yeah, I mean, where's the damage coming in, right? You went for this tanky Fredrin EXP, you go for the Claude, who's super shred in late game, and FNOP's draft isn't even that tanky. It's fast moving, it's aggressive overall. And I think at that point, I mean, FNOP knows. They know, okay, we're just gonna push the gas here. We're not gonna give you a moment to get any items in. Aaron Shiki
Hello,
didn't
my
even
name
finish
is extremely
Trinity
long.
build by the
Don't
end of
read
that
it.
game.
Only one death, by the way. ONIC only have
Imagine
one
if
death,
I have to
only
say
one
your name
casual.
all the time.
Brusco.
21 to
My name
1
is extremely long. Don't
early
read it.
game.
in the early game. Like, that's insane. But I kind of feel like that's the biggest problem for TLID. Like, we're going to look at the damage numbers after this, but I don't know, looking at the draft, I'm not seeing a lot of damage here.
Yeah, not a lot of damage, and it's interesting. When I see a Luyi pick up, when I see a Chip pick up, there's two ways you can play this, right? You can be proactive, you can go in and try and get these initial setups, you can be the first one to get there, or you can be reactive and wait for the other team. And right now, Fnatic ONIC, their foot's the one on the gas. You're seeing the diversion plays from Super Friends come out way faster than
But my question is, why
So
did he
TLID
build
were lost in their own
a
portal,
Tina
you
shield
could say
instead
so.
of
They were
Radiant
going
armor?
through the same
There's
portal
three
and looping back
freaking
like Ouroboros over and over and
magic
over
damage
again.
dealers.
And
You're
I think the word we're
building
looking
a
for
freaking
is the
Athena shield.
damage profile. There
Bro.
is shred on Claude. Yes, if you make it to like the 16, 17 minute mark, there is burst on the Luyi if you're able to get those duality stacks on. But that aside, Fabian needs some good setup to be able to finish dudes off with the Sever. So there's nothing that they're doing in FNOP. It makes sense why they only got one kill.
From your points, I'm hearing one thing. ABC needs to happen, and then the damage comes in. That's where the D comes from. But is that really what you want? Do you want a draft where you have to set everything up just to have that one big moment?
Not
If
against
Fabian
a
killed
team
King
like
Kong even
Fnatic ONIC. They are a team
Plenty
known
times
to
in
play
the-
lightning rounds. Hell, they set
In the
another
game
record
that they
here.
won,
Yeah.
the
Lightning
previous
struck
game.
3 times, bro.
It was just a little spaced out, but still FNOP back in gear. You know, Team Liquid ID, they tried to hit the gas. They tried to hit those shortcuts. They tried to find moments where they could catch FNOP off guard, but every time it just kind of fell short.
Looking at the damage
Yeah, they
numbers,
should.
makes me feel a bit uncomfortable.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot
I
of
just
damage
feel
over
like they
Kelra.
should play counter game.
Spearheading the way on this
They are always
Beatrix, the
trying
signature
for
pickup for him
the
as well. And I
active.
mean, this is what happens
They're
when
always
you
trying
have
for
somebody,
active, bro.
Witty on the other side running this chip, not really able to get the setups they were looking for. You know, you're putting a lot of the crowd control into the hands of Yehezkiel, and he can't really initiate, especially when there's nobody there to frontline the damage.
Party never started. Kelra was too busy keeping them
That was
in
for Joy.
his scopes. He was lining them up.
I
I
seriously
mean,
don't.
look at this. Aaron Shiki
No,
didn't
seriously,
deal
guys.
20,000. Ezekiel
This-
22. Fabian
Just think about
23.
this.
These are not the
Fred is for Joy.
damage Like, here's the thing. You even said it, Leo.
Guys,
Onyx Lime is not
Joy
even
is not that hard to
damage.
counter.
don't
If you
need to do
if you're
that
talking about
much damage,
Minsita,
and
yes,
it's still
I
not enough.
can understand why they pick
Yeah,
Minsita
not enough indeed,
into
and
into the
21 to
XP.
1. Another hard
It's
pill to
literally
swallow, and
a hard counter for
good
Joy.
leap forward for
Fredrin
Fnatic
is not
ONIC
really a
Philippines.
hard counter for Joy. It's
TLID,
just literally
they
a
got to
CC.
win
You
3
can have
in a
you
row
have so
to turn this
many
back around.
And now
heroes
we
that
have
have
our
CC.
MVP, the monster mid laner, Super
Fred isn't
Prince,
even like
on
a combo
that
setter for their
Valentina,
team.
even making
Like-
that crazy play.
like what I suggested is Ruby.
IMU using Fredrin's
Ruby is like
ult.
one of the best
The
setters
energy
for a low E.
catching tree.
Yeah, even before that, early game, picks up the diversion, gets to the mid tower
Yeah.
It doesn't do
behind
anything.
Yehezkiel and gets the solo kill on him.
It's not really a
I mean,
counter.
overall, You said it, Leo. We're like, okay,
If
yeah,
you're
he gets the
picking
lead,
Fred
but
for Joy,
now he has the
I
diversion
can
as well.
suggest at least
We
5
literally
heroes.
see it in
They
full
are,
force within the
that
first
will
few
do that
minutes of the
role.
game.
Mans is straight
Exactly
up
the same,
taskmaster.
but even
he
better
sees what his opponents can
for
do
their
and says, I
team.
can do it better, and does it. I'll be honest with y'all. That Fredrin taunt play was good, but I think it was just extra layers of flair. Because I'll tell you now, with the draft that Team Liquid came in with, as overly creative as it was, they also kind of put themselves in weird positions for Friends to do that.
Yeah, and that's when you see a proactive mage, right? When you're running on this Valentina, you take the diversion from the Lu Yi and you punish. You look for the opportunity, you teleport across the map, and you find the setups. Not only that, but the damage as well. Super Prince was everywhere on this map, rotating around with Fnatic. ONIC just all over every objective.
What is that KDA? 2-0 and 14, 16 out of 21. I reckon that's what, 76, 77% KP. Across the map, he was just, there were just a handful of
One
kills he
game
was not
away,
part
I
of.
was hoping to get
Yeah, I mean, this
to
is
watch
one of
7
those final
games.
plays here that is
Yeah,
just
hopefully.
monsters.
I
And
hope-
it's like such a quick switch
I hope they
to
win
catch
the next 2
everybody
games.
there.
That's the only
Super
way.
Friends is
Anything
definitely, I mean,
less than 2
everybody
wins.
is online right now, and so
And
far,
it's over.
just about everyone on the team has
Okay,
could
we
have earned an
gotta
MVP
channel
throughout
some
these
of the
last few games.
Yeah, definitely.
we gotta channel our
another one
blessings
in the
into
books for
TLID.
Fnatic ONIC, but it's not. It's hard to say. I would say it's not too far out of the ballpark,
Let's
but it's
channel
hard
our
to
blessings.
come back after a
Okay.
3 or 4-1 deficit, 3-1 deficit.
Game
so
5.
3 games in a row for TLID.
Guys,
If they're able to
Game
pull
5.
this off, this game, it wasn't a micro engagement, it was the draft. First, you got to fix that. And then once they fix that problem, you run into the problem you ran into in the first few games where the micro from Fnatic ONIC was overwhelming them.
So now, honestly, when it looking at the previous 2 games,
let's channel our
this
blessings.
feels more of a match between the coaches instead of the players, because the draft is impacting this a little bit more. But now we got a clip here that we want to analyze a little bit more.
If we're
in this
gonna get a
where
game
Super
7,
Prince on this Valentina,
we
the
gotta
Valentina
do it.
reminds us that this is a hero that can say, I'm better than you, because having the access to that 2 extra dashes as well as flicker, essentially giving you 3 extra dashes is huge. Super Prince starts off by taking the energy eruption and then looking at the opportunity, he's just waiting in the flanks, and then he flickers forward, gets 3. This is the ability of a Valentina where you have the flexibility, you have options. You can be a little bit more aggressive, you can be defensive, but here's the thing. You
Guys,
even
don't
have
be
utility.
confused by the
Monster
poll.
Mage actually
Don't be
used
confused.
a flicker plus
We are
the shadow
channeling our
strikes
blessings for
to be
Team
able to
Liquid.
get that 3rd skill. Ladies and gentlemen, do note the taunt is
You guys want a game 7, right?
Jump in. And
Do you guys want a
as
game
soon as
7?
I saw him take that Fredrin ult, I'm like, oh no, what's he gonna do with this? How is he gonna make this work? And apparently, they were in comms. They were talking about it. I have the ult. Make him stay. Make him stay. We'll kill them all.
Which is insane too, because Valentina's been a hero that has kind of not been picked up as much because she's so up close and personal. It can be a risk factor.
Guys, if you want a
And the
game
way that
7,
Super Friends is playing
channel
that
your
right
blessings
now,
into
it
the
just
vote.
fits so well in with the way that
Vote for Team
FNOP likes to
Liquid.
play, that aggressive, in-your-face style, not giving you a second to breathe.
I mean, Luigi's not that big of a range.
Fair.
That's how you deal with Valentina, range. And the Luigi showed up first, like, there's no Farsa, there's no Eve, like, what does the Valentina have to worry about? So it does feel like this is more about the draft, so this is more of the battle of the coaches.
Yeah, the coaches definitely going back to the drawing book, and another win in the board for Fnatic. And now the biggest challenge yet for TLID. We're in the Oxiata Arena. We're at the grand finals. They have a chance to be a world champion and to have it possibly ripped
That
out of
game
your
was a
hands
massacre.
from Fnatic ONIC Philippines.
Haven't even
Talk
finished
about
my bag of
pressure.
chips.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I feel like at TLID,
Chip didn't even
they
eat a
gotta
single
slow it
bag of
down
chips
when
the
it
entire
comes to
game.
what they want to prioritize coming into the draft. And with that, we're going to give them a little bit more time. In fact, Eterna is standing
True,
on court
true.
side where
Without Moon-
she can report to us what's going on
Moon
down
went
there.
all the
So,
way.
Eterna, what's going on?
To watch the game, and then they only watched 5 games.
Right now, courtside,
Not
and it
worth
looks
it.
like a celebrity is in the audience. It's not other than
Imagine-
Faisal Jaidi.
imagine,
Welcome to Malaysia.
Thank you.
Liquid
Thank you.
goes on the
Oh,
reverse
wow,
sweep
so
right
many
now.
fans.
That'll be one of the most epic reverse sweeps ever.
Alhamdulillah.
I mean, only second
But it looks
to
like we
BTK
are at championship
and
point right
Cloud9.
now, so we are 1 game away of
That'll be
crowning
only
our
second
new
to that.
world champs. If
But
it
if they
goes
go on
that
the
way.
reverse
Are
sweep
you
right
here to
now,
support
that will be
Indonesia, TLID?
pretty freaking
Yes, of
epic.
course. I came here to M6 want to support Indonesia. Indo
Have you
Pride.
seen Eroshiki's emblem on court? No.
You get that,
What was
guys?
the emblem?
Indo Pride, Indo Pride.
See, I don't know if there's a lot of Indonesians in the building or it's just a serumpun thing. Is it serumpun or is it Indonesia?
Indonesia.
Wow. All right. So did you fly with them?
Batam, from Batam.
Hey, Batam.
From Batam.
From Batam.
From Batam.
All right.
Wow,
So
from Batam.
I've been reading a lot of articles about you. I've been reading a lot of articles about you.
Okay.
And it seems like you've been involved in the MLBB scene for quite some time, even
Yep.
as a pro player.
It was a long time ago,
a
you
long
can
time
say.
ago.
You can say it was long a time ago.
Top Global Lunox, Top
So-
Global Aurora. What else?
Yes, I was
Akai?
Global Aurora.
This won't be a
Global
reverse sweep
Lunox,
technically, it was a 2-1,
Gary,
no?
And
Uh,
Gusion,
bro,
but that was
you're
a
getting
very long time
too-
ago.
Is that why you cosplayed Akai?
Don't
Were
be
you
caught
top
up on the
global Akai too?
technicalities, you know.
Did you cosplay Akai?
Don't be
because you
caught
were
up on
top
the
global Akai as
technicalities.
well?
No, my father.
I will count it as a
my father
reverse
was
sweep.
cosplay with Gatot Kaca.
Gatot Kaca.
Gatot Kaca.
Where is he? Pamu.
At home.
At home? You didn't
At
bring
home,
him?
yes.
Did he let you come?
Yes.
Oh, he let you come.
Eroshiki
It's
used the
okay.
common emblem.
Okay. So, Pamu,
Bro.
thank you so much for letting Fidel come.
Bro.
It's been a blast. It's been
I love
an
you,
honor.
Pa.
Love
Did
you
he
too.
maybe he didn't use Claude for like
Next question.
already
So,
like
what do you
1
think?
year.
I mean, you've had
The-
experience.
the
as
last
a
time he
pro
used Claude was
player.
1
You know
year
the game
ago.
well.
That's why he's
What
still
do you
using the
think
common
TLID
emblem.
can do to come back from this?
About that, I cannot say for sure, but I was hoping and I believe that TLID was performing the best, the players, the coach. So we are Indonesia hoping TLID can bring us some comeback moment.
Comeback moment. How? What do you think?
Maybe, I don't know, we're just hoping because they coming here, it's already make us proud. And then we're still, everything, no matter what happened, we're still proud of TLID.
Yes, exactly, Incognito.
I like that.
It's
I like
gonna
that.
be a
I think
reverse
everyone
sweep.
agrees. Wait,
We're gonna see
is that
something
another
epic
celebrity
today.
that we see?
Yes, very famous, very famous.
Very famous? Is she your
Very
friend?
famous in Indonesia, number one.
Number one?
Number
Is it?
one.
What's
Who?
her name? What's her name?
Sorry, may I know your name?
Echa.
Oh, Echa. Her
Echa.
name is Echa.
Echa, I heard you
Echa,
have...
where you come
Number one
from?
popular in Indonesia, but don't know the
From
name.
Bekasi. Are you here to support Indonesia?
Of course, I'm here to support TLID.
Man, the fans are really in the building.
Number
it's great
one
to see all
popular
the
in
support
Indonesia,
here. And
but don't know the
last
name.
question for you, before we head into maybe a message to your fans is, what is your score prediction for our grand finals?
4-3.
4-3?
For TLID.
Close best of 7 going all the way?
Yep.
All right. All right. All right. It looks like everyone agrees as well. Echa agrees? 4-3? 4-3.
4-3.
Okay. Maybe Fadil Jai,
4-3
you have
sounds
a
good.
message to your fans out there or maybe the MLBB community?
The question is, who is the four?
Can I say in bahasa?
Of course.
Buat semuanya yang lagi nonton, pokoknya apapun yang terjadi, kita doain buat Indonesia, buat TLID. Selalu support, apapun yang terjadi, kita tetap bangga.
Hashtag Indo Pride. All right, thank you so much, Fadil.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much,
Hashtag Indo
Echa. Thank you so
Pride.
much to all the fans in the building because we are going to throw it back to the panel. Boys, take it away
Is the
for
next game
championship
starting?
points.
Thank you very much, Eterna. And if we're going to make that 4-3 happen, now TLID, they can't drop a single game. They have to be clean. They have to be perfect. And that's going to be very difficult considering they're going up against Fnatic ONIC Philippines.
True.
Yeah, there's no more mistakes from here, right? Their backs are against the wall. I like to always say pressure makes diamonds or burst pipes, and hopefully today they can find a way to turn this back around because I like to see things go the distance.
That
I'm all
you
the way
do.
out from North America. I've seen even our grand finals in NACT went the distance, and I'm trying to manifest that into reality here in the Oxyauto Arena.
So you're saying Liquid will bounce back here now? It's the only choice. It's the only thing that they can do.
If
tighten
it's
up that draft,
RRQ instead of Team
don't
Liquid, right?
overthink it, get good damage profiles.
I think the Malaysians will be supporting
win lane
RRQ.
to lane and play
Instead
the
of
best
FNOP.
MLBB they played all
Ever.
their whole career,
Whole life.
whole life.
Or
Fnatic ONIC just drafts like they did in the game they lost.
which what we already said, we can't count on that, right? TLID's got to go full Ultra Instinct mode right now.
Which they, it looks like they have. Game 4 they did.
I don't know. TLID's.
We got a FNOP supporters in chat.
Draft was off. I think there was a couple plays that were off. I think at this point they got to play perfectly, like LaFell said, and that is tough against Fnatic ONIC Philippines, who seem like they are playing perfectly non-stop.
ONIC.
Yeah, and now yesterday what happened was after both best of fives, we had an MCGG All-Star match. So we're gonna give you guys a little bit of snippet about what happened yesterday.
We're gonna play after
this.
If
you guys missed that matchup, a lot of chaos entered. So let's see.
I might have dinner first before playing.
Magic Chess fans, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. Our voices have finally been heard. We're paving the way for a more competitive.
They're gonna play Magic Chess. They're gonna play Magic Chess, right?
Welcome to Magic Chess Go Go.
Yeah, they really are gonna play Magic Chess. There's gonna be a Magic Chess
welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to
feature match later.
Go All-Stars 2024.
Powerful tank. On the other side, we've got Team Gaming versus Just No Limit, 3-star Popple and Koopa.
Maybe I should start playing Magic Chess. Damn it.
He as well will be eliminated. The captain of Team Magic taken out at 7th place.
2 members of Team Magic.
You know what's the good thing about playing Magic Chess? Guys. Let me convince you about playing Magic Chess. Okay? Let me convince you. Okay? I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna make you want to play Magic Chess. Alright? You don't have any teammates in Magic Chess. So there is no dark system. You have no teammates. No dark system.
As a pro player in MCGG, thank you for watching and staying with us. My name is Reptar. Good night, everyone. See you next time.
Looks like Chico Guys and Dean Gaming was the last 2 players, so shout out to both of them. And if you guys are interested, just to let you guys know, we announced it earlier, but
so guys,
Go
it's time to play Magic Chess. Quit MLBB, play Magic Chess.
Well, so make sure you guys download it as soon as it's available for your region and test it out. But now we got to focus on this upcoming match because again, Fnatic ONIC Philippines are at match point, and TLID, unfortunately, in the previous game, they drafted a little bit too cautiously, but in terms of how they play, maybe a little bit too aggressively. But the problem is,
then you better stay there,
you don't have enough damage. So it looks like the identity of the draft was not really replicated in the identity of the gameplay.
Yeah, I feel like you got to find that perfect medium, right? You got to win in the draft. You also got to win in the micro engagement. So getting an aggressive composition could be the key.
Yeah,
to
you
that.
read me like a book.
You need the crowd control. You need Witty to get on something. If he's going to go damage, and then you have to make up
with
Hezkill getting on something.
It's time for dinner.
Control. There's no in-between. You can't go all to one side or the other. They have to both play their role, and they have to play it down to a T.
So, let's say the little voice in my head, the member of the cavalry that's in my head is saying, if they some way somehow end up with a perfect draft that, you know, they used somewhere down the line, like against SRG last night, can they do it? Can they take down Fnatic ONIC here and maybe possibly go for the
good playing Hearthstone
reverse sweep at this point?
How long has it been since I played Hearthstone?
Perfect draft after perfect draft after
Gonna be
perfect
super
draft,
long.
Yes, I do think it's possible. I don't think it's solely.
My first legendary card was Ysera.
They would have lost that game that they won, right? They would have lost even
that
though
was my first legendary
draft a little bit.
Ysera.
FNOP kind of messed up in draft.
From the standard set.
would have been able to win that. And I remember telling myself, if FNOP wins this
was it
game
called a
right
legacy
here,
set?
they're just built different. TLID doesn't stand a chance. But we have seen TLID at least win something. So we know the possibilities are there. We know there are some answers. But those answers don't come cheap. They cannot make a single mistake in the draft at all.
Yeah, got to find that needle in the haystack. Should be the game plan for TLID.
Ruby, what's your opinion on Pokemon Unite?
One game at a time. So,
guys,
yeah, it's going to be a bargain. It's going to be a gamble.
Guys.
But it's not
Don't ask me about...
Speaking of impossible,
don't ask me about other
on the next
MOBAs.
chapter of greatness.
I'm freaking hosting
Why not from Fnatic ONIC Philippines. Watching
an
them
official
overcome
event
past hardships
for
and come
Munton.
together from different teams made winning MPL Philippines incredibly heartfelt. Winning
Pokemon Unite
in
sucks.
6 would mean even more, not just for us as a team, but for ONIC Philippines as an organization, as it's a title that has long eluded them.
let me tell y'all real quick before we continue with the code. This is 5 years in the making. They were here in M1, did not even qualify for knockouts. They were here for M3 in Singapore, got swept in the grand finals. And now in M6, they're 1 game away from taking home that trophy.
And looking ahead, these players are still young, full of energy, and have bright futures. M6 might just be the beginning. And that might be even scarier. They're ready for Chapter 2.
All right. Chapter 2, more like a full-on sequel, more like a full-on book, because again, I think it's ONIC time to finish the story. This is a long-term narrative that Coach Wynot is putting a book into. Some old players are actually watching in the crowd right now, if you know what I'm talking about. We're here competing, and now it's the same
bro,
organization.
you better chill the fuck out, bro.
A set of different players fulfilling that dream.
Chill the fuck
And now
out.
we're looking at the head-to-head here between the coaches, Coach Wynot as well as St. DeLucas. When it comes to the win rate, pretty big difference here.
Chill the fuck out, and then come back later.
For St. DeLucas. And looking at the first pick and second pick, honestly, pretty even there. Not really that much of a difference. If we're looking at the bans here, ONIC, this is not something that you see often, but they're one of the teams that often bans out the alpha.
Yeah, I mean, ONIC is willing. We saw it very early on, that especially when they're on first pick side, which we can see their win rate's a little bit higher on first pick side.
Do you get paid good money by Munton?
They're very willing.
Basically, if this stream doesn't get to 5,000 views, okay, if this stream, this single stream doesn't get to 5,000 views, I'm not gonna get paid anything. Nothing. Nada. Okay? So we have to get to 5,000 views.
It's like we're fighting this battle on 2 different fronts. One is the micro in the
please,
game, and also
please let it get to game 7
the
so I can get to 5,000 views.
Head-to-heads up there as we jumping into our next game here momentarily. Team Liquid ID, right? They're here. They just lost 21-1, a very hard loss on top of that. And we've been seeing records broken today from Fnatic ONIC, right? They had, what, the fastest game so far by a matter of seconds.
And possibly the cleanest run in an M6 winning tournament. What is that? If they win here, that would have been a clean run, not a single series loss.
And here's the thing. All the games, they didn't go past 50 minutes.
It has to be 5,000 total views.
It's actually going pretty fast. I mean, like, at this point, it's only like...
Right now, I'm at
7 something. We started roughly 5, so it's only been 2 hours.
So
2.8k.
Are developers happy that this is where these athletes are taking this game? The fact that our mobile MOBA is playing very fast, or are these teams just pushing the limit of what's possible and ending in the most efficient way?
I mean, if they end fast, you can go to the next game faster, so more games can be played. But
yes, to Shanghai game as well. To be honest, I think MLBB is super popular.
In the grand finals of your first international tournament.
The thing is that
I'm happy.
These 2 tournaments, right, almost don't compete with each other. PS and Mobile Legends, they don't compete with each other. Firstly, both are different types of games.
You know what?
One is MOBA,
the MLBB
one is
doesn't
FPS.
understand the genius of Brusco.
Secondly, their audience is the audience geographically are very different.
I think if you let
like MLBB is very heavily.
I think there's we've seen so many different
the audience is a lot in
we've seen the
Asia and Southeast Asia.
Attack bruiser that
While,
wants to get in the back line, that doesn't just sit around and let you hit him.
CS is more towards the European and America side, so the audience is like completely different.
I'm just here to absorb damage.
So even though they are hosting the competition at the same time, right? They are appealing to different audience.
He's definitely a roamer you can rely on and has been doing great so far in this series. Now,
I'm not being a hater. I'm just channeling some
with TLID at the deficit,
some blessings for TLID.
If Fnatic ONIC closes this out, they win from the upper bracket, which the last time
I think TLID needs some blessings to reach. Guys, I'm trying to get you guys to game 7.
No, every single
I'm
one
trying to get you guys to game 7.
Upper bracket, right?
Yeah,
we need the blessings for game 7.
Lower bracket teams winning.
Yeah. Only M1 upper bracket.
But as Leo stated,
I'm doing this for the team, you know. Taking one for the team.
They're known to show up when needed.
We might see the first 4-1 in the history of the M series.
Yeah, just over and over, man.
And it's all full circle here in the Axiata Arena, moments away from potentially the final game in M6. It's been a journey here, and it's up to TLID to rewrite that story if they want to remain in this series.
A lot on the shoulders of the young Weedy the Wise. Whatever wisdom is left in him, And whatever Coach Facehugger and Coach St. DeLucas can share, it's gotta come out now.
Into the draft we go. The potential final game of the day.
Ben.
Oh, yeah.
Go even.
Definitely potential the final game of the day. And right now, Fnatic ONIC Philippines are on the second
Why do they
pick,
keep
which,
showing
looking
this
at the numbers
lady?
here, 54% win rate for the second pick here. And now, looking at the fun fact here, the 4th game of this best of 7 grand finals was the 100th game of the M6 World Championship.
100 games. Let that sink in.
Yes,
Because
high
of our
loss will be good.
Swiss format and the wild card, we played 100 games of MLBB so far. World class.
Talk about records. I feel like every day I've been here, I've only started in the knockout phase, and I've been seeing records left and right, and that just shows you that it's full of surprises, and maybe we have more in store as we push through this series.
Hold up. The draft has already elapsed. Zushin first pick by the Cavalry, and look at this. Fnatic ONIC banned 3 junglers and pick up the Alpha. What's left for the Usurper?
Exactly, and that's what they do, man. Normally they do it on first pick side. Normally it's, all right, we're going to take out 2 junglers and take
still
what's
Hayabusa?
left. And now it's like, all right, we got another switch up
Hayabusa
for you.
pretty
You
good
thought you were
against
gonna
Eve.
outdraft us. We got the answer.
The Hayabusa could come out here, though, get to the back line, find this Eve, but they are going to go in for that Hilda, the Aran special from Season 14 MPL ID.
That's the last thing that they can pick.
Feels a little good for the Cavalry. Those are signature pickups. Yezgiel on the Zushin.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye, bro.
Hayabusa, not so much in game 1 of this series, but we're off to a good start. Fnatic ONIC closing off the first phase with an Edith, a signature across the board here. Now they're going to start, I would assume, locking down gold laners, because after the bans, guess who gets first pick after?
Mr. Kelra.
Bro got ejected.
If they even want to.
The god in the gold lane.
They have
Enjoy the game
options
silently,
still, right?
bro.
There's possibilities. Now, the alpha pick, King Kong has done, I mean, probably his best performance out of any other jungler on the alpha. He's won several games on it, some of them being against TLID.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the Granger pickup will come out of this. This is something worth TLID banning out, but then we know right behind it's going to be that Moskov. Maybe taking both off the table and making more of a challenge in the gold lane could be the plan.
Good keyword, challenge. Because of that Harith ban, a specialty pick for Aaron Shiki. Will TLID entertain this jab from Coach Ryan and Coach Hayes? Like, so are we taking out gold laners? And it looks like, nah, because there's nothing going to be left for Aaron. TLID taking out Brusco picks. There goes the TIG.
All right, so where do we go from here, right? I think TLID knows that they get first pick on the gold, so they don't want to ban into gold, right? They want to leave something open for themselves here. FNOP, on the other hand, they take out the Harith. We still have Granger possibilities. We still have plenty of options for Kelra.
Let me throw this out there. Even after Liquid ID's last ban, if it's left open, they could pick up a solid Matilda.
And that would definitely be a wise decision, having the mobility and the sustainability in your favor. There goes that Jawhead ban. We've been talking about this Jawhead for a little bit today.
Very
Still
specific target ban.
It's been such a threat on the isolation plays. Also, this is going to be potentially the first game we may not see Brusco the Bruiser run on the Katat.
Yep, there's the ban. Good read, Steph.
Yeah, definitely not going to allow those comfort picks to slide in. Like you said,
I don't think they really want the
margin
Gatot
for error for the side of
for
TLID.
FNOP.
They have to
There's
win
way
this
too much
draft. They
magic
have to
already.
get the most optimal composition to not only win in here, but also in the micro engagements in the game.
Rises when I give the word.
Right now looks like FNOP picking
I
up
lost
the
is still
lead.
I
Both
lost.
that as well as the Eve. You got the range. The Eve is already doing well against the Jushin. Adding on to that, the Khalid.
I think there's only high loss left.
Looking at FNOP, the mid trio here.
Like
they're
anything
not
else
gonna
is
let
off
this
meta.
Hayabusa farm. I don't see how TLID can move around the map.
I mean, TLID has some, I mean...
They still can go
TLID
cheap though,
has-
if they
overall,
want.
they get
cheap.
exactly what I think they want, right? Is one problem. The Alpha does the true damage. Hilda can have a little trouble with that. Last time we saw this Hilda against King Kong's Alpha, they went for this early invasion, which completely backfired on them. So TLID just
Maybe
needs to
a
round
cheap
things out here. Maybe not go
Beatrix?
for something super tanky like a Hylos, but something maybe more on the fast-moving
Maybe
side.
Kaja Beatrix also possible.
A Granger onto Aaron Shiki. That makes sense. Do we see the Hylos here for
Camila
Winnie?
again.
No, it's the good old trusty Carmilla that won them the only game so far they have in this
Camila is
series.
quite
What does
good
Kelra
with
pick up? Is it going to be the Beatrix?
Lucian,
Is it going
though,
to be his
I must
signature
say.
pick?
I'm not sure if TLID have enough damage. I'm just putting it out there. I don't think they have enough damage.
Damage profile is, I think, what it is, and the burst coming through. Keller's gonna have to close the gap.
Yeah, closing the gap indeed, and the draft has been locked in from both sides. TLID, we talked about it. We said they have little
Don't
margin
like
for
TLID's
error.
drop.
Is this the draft that can
I
make
don't
the
think they
difference
win
for their
this
micro
game.
engagements?
Well, if ONIC wins this one, this is the final time
I
the
don't
panel
think they
will
win
be
this
on
game.
screen. So thank you, everyone. But now we're throwing into the casters.
Thank you so much, panel, for breaking it down once again. It's me, Nice.
How are you feeling, James?
Gideon, and
Are you
Mirko
feeling better?
to bring you a championship
Are you
point
recovering?
game right now. Can TLID extend the series? Again, it's a best of 5. They have the chance, a best of 7. They have a chance here. What do you guys think of the drafts for this one?
I think this one's going to be a lot more interesting, right? FNOP have taken a completely separate angle of targeting Fabian, and now the early game as well. The TLID need to snowball off
Okay,
this
okay.
comp.
Let's start
So
the
much
actual
control
poll.
for FNOP. This looks like
Let's
a
start the
pure
actual
neutral
poll.
objective
FNOP
snowball kind of
or
composition. They're gonna
TLID.
get first one all the way to the third.
Well, let's see if it can happen here again. FNOP facing championship point, 1 win away from being crowned the M6 World Champions. And TLID,
Okay, potentially-
with this lineup,
Potentially
they haven't
last
come
match.
before, they can make it work again, and that's a good little preview of what's at stake here. As early a game already, poking happening in the mid lane. This Wishing Lantern, Super Prince.
Okay.
They
Flicker
got
out from
used.
Super Prince. Respect instantly as Aran shows himself in that bush. Revitalized for Witty.
Yeah, but just as expected here, right? Because Kirk is going for Warcry, doesn't have the concussive blast.
The
He won't
poke
be able to push out as quick
is
as
annoying
Aran,
from
only
Eve.
for the earlier stages of the game. Later on might be a bit more tough, but let's see how Yeheskel's going to deal with it as the first Lethal Wanderer goes over to Fnatic on a PH.
Oh, an all-in early over Aran. Flicker
What's the
out
poll
as
for who
well.
I
So
want to
2
win or who I
battle
think will
spells
win?
now used up from TLID.
It's for-
King Kong getting that lethal
It's for whatever
earlier.
you want it to
Looking
be.
go for more, but respects TLID's control with the juice in.
The biggest thing about this, if TLID
Whatever
wants to
you
go
want
ahead
it to
and have these
be,
winning
it will
fights, is
be.
really playing
This is a
against
special vote.
the massive amount of crowd control and also just space advantage that FNOP can set up with this type of composition. Even with the Eve here, I mean, again, looking at it, you know, Kirk, we just saw the performance with the EDF.
Is this a
still
concurrent
running that
viewers
Warcry
record for you?
emblem, but even so, the amount of mobility
I
that
think
is
I got
here
the
for
300
Kelra
plus
this
once
time around,
on
running even that
M5.
sprint, he's going to be able to
I think.
maneuver easily around these team fights, and TLID has to be able to shut that down.
Yeah, I mean,
If,
he can
I
play on-
remember
Aaron
correctly.
Chicken, unfortunately, can only play on linear lines, right? He kind of wants to line up with Keller, which is why he got extra movement speed in his emblems, just to kind of keep up with it. But as soon as that sprint pops, there's no keeping up with it at all, especially if he takes hit from a Queen's Call. Nevertheless, we are seeing an instant invade on the opposite side of the map.
RWM forcing Fabian to use the quad shadow. Fnatic ONIC Philippines, this is the control we were
This
talking
is,
about. They have
interesting.
utilized a couple of resources, and that's why
Very
King Kong
interesting
was sent down
positioning
below.
from
Brusco gonna be all in here.
Lucinda.
Aran has a power wilderness, but Brusco just flickers out, and now
I think he's
Kong's ahead.
engaged. No,
Again,
not yet.
another battle spell used here on both sides, really, all for this first turtle, really taking the time. Aran will hold it up at the front. Fabian joining the fight, doesn't have a purple buff. It's going to be up in 10 seconds, so they might just go ahead and start this up. Take control of it
Okay,
as
they got the
do.
control.
Brusco gives the
They're
information.
controlling this
Doesn't have a
pit.
level 4, so not going to be able to do much, as King Kong, though, did build up. Again,
Good start
just trying to get some of
for
that gold lead and
Team
that
Liquid
even level
so
lead.
far.
I mean, as much as Team Liquid ID
Not
don't
like
mind
an
taking the turtle,
excellent start, but
honestly, I feel like
it's
a
still
bigger
good
win
enough.
for Fnatic ONIC PH. You are getting your jungler ahead, and more importantly, you're not even giving the opportunity for TLID to start a snowball. I mean, let's just go match by match, right? Super Prince, he's hurting Yeheskel, especially when both the supports have to leave the lane.
Very
I think it's
interesting
just a
talent
very interesting but
from
great approach here from Fnatic ONIC Philippines. They could have
For
gone all
our
the way
two
up
scene.
top. Aran force a flicker. King
Brace might.
Kong not gonna overcommit there. The Primal Wrath reduced by Kirk, and they're just gonna go and hammer down on this turret gold. Half of the HP on the turret gold down. Yeheskel, Crimson
Can he get
Beacon.
alpha?
Now Lantern Flare. Yeah.
This is
no
very
threat
dangerous.
over to King Kong and
Just
Kirk.
now that positioning,
There's no damage here.
yes,
Not
skill
yet, but
going
he's
towards
gonna get
Hilda,
taken down
right?
as RWM is also being
If
deployed.
King
That's the
Kong
thing,
just
we're
outs
seeing
them
a lot
both,
of these fights where it's like,
that
you
is
know, they're
GG.
dropping down ultimates, they're using their battle spell. Oh, they get a flicker out again here, and this is all the thing, right? If you can go ahead and catch a kill for either team, then that's great. But like Gideon, you just mentioned, you know, if FNOP kind of delays this, they don't actually have to go and snowball. Hold on.
Okay. That's a shadow kill over. Okay. Now that's the revitalize, but Kelra picks up the kill. Fabian kill. Kelra one
Wait.
piece from both of them.
It's too slow.
So Roma for Roma?
To it. Even with the Curse of Blood, just no damage to really follow up, and also the major
Roma for Roma.
really dying like that, and at least Fabian
I guess it favors.
At this point, I think that Fnatic on PH are in a pretty comfortable spot overall.
It favors Liquid.
Brusco doesn't mind dying a couple more times, but this next neutral objective might be really tough for TLID to actually.
Because they want the
how many battle spells
snowball on Hayabusa, and that's exactly what he got.
Maybe
1 kill.
around if we're lucky.
You can see this too, you know, Kelra already having the Haas clause. Oh, hold on. Hurt.
Flicker out, Quad Shadow coming down as well. No onward or no
Earth Shatter.
They're not gonna go for it.
Yeah, he can rely on the Primal Wrath here too, but it's more so just again kind of limit testing each other. Battle spells being used up or not. Next objective is up here, and they're gonna get in the zone here. They have to worry about Super Prince setting things up, but it's gonna be started up too. King Kong holding it.
Brusco walking up as well. The Lantern Flare still on him. King Kong on the turtle. Curse of Blood gonna be locked in onto King Kong. To the record.
Yeah, they're on the Gringer. Gringer dice.
With a heavy crossbow again with the flanks. Fabian jumping back and forth. Not enough damage. Kelra.
They don't have any sustained damage.
Split the fight into two. Witty is still trying to buy some time as Kirk at 1 HP tries to knock up your Hezkill with the Earth Shatter.
This is the weakness of Gringer.
Should be able to find one for
there's
his own,
lack of sustained damage.
So, the fight has been split in half.
For Fabian.
It's a chase. Super Prince chasing
Fabian.
He's waiting for the
Waiting for the cooldown. Waiting for the shadow cooldown.
Shuts him down.
And with that exchange, at least Fabian gets a couple kills.
Maybe if he didn't shadow into that area, he could have escaped.
Plus, taking the gold lead now in favor, almost 2,000. A 1-for-1 for the Turtles here, but some of these first items are going to be picked up now and locked in.
I don't know.
And start to show, even for Super Prince, you know, already doing a great job at just setting up the RWM. And gets the glowing wand too. A lot of this utility that comes from this Eve pick is the advantage when it comes to those turtle fights. And even for Kelra to show up on that back line, pop the sprint and maneuver around, again, that's what TLID has to be wary of.
Exactly, about looking for these flank angles and not to necessarily be caught specifically by that Curse of Blood. It can get a little tough, especially when TLID start opening up that map, but Arrow Cheeky getting shoved and dove underneath turret.
No.
A Berserker's Fury for Kelra.
Oh no.
Just, again, dominating run.
That's what you said about it previously. The hydraulic press raging
my God, he escaped.
sandstorm defensively from
That's so bad.
Brusco, and they get out of harm's way. You can see King Kong dominating this
Did
jungle
he get a
matchup. Fabian
blue?
still is
Yes.
able to secure the purple buff, but King Kong's a level ahead on the alpha. He's gonna wait for it.
Top lane is
RWM
getting
over the
pushed.
Esculo Spear of Alpha 2 from King Kong.
A breather, but now the Curse of Blood on all three of the members. They're chopped out one by one. All three
Wow.
pulled underneath the turrets.
Yeah, Hezkill continuing the chase. Fabian
What
takes
happened?
it back,
FNOP.
punishing
You're making so
FNOP's
many mistakes.
overextension.
FNOP.
An overextension, trying to set up under that tier 1 turret. Fabian having a great start again on this Hayabusa. He's had to work for it, but they're going to have to do something about Kelra here because eventually that is going to be a kill. It's a damage check. He gets under half. They got to deal with him. Kurt.
Uh-oh. They've already got the Primal Wrath out. He's going to get dove
Can he burst him?
quick.
Bruce goes there.
Flicker out, Lantern Flare coming down as well. Now Kurt
Big
gonna be
Lantern
taken
Flare.
out as well. It will be as Hezkill
The
who picks up the kill.
Juicin being a real
And the
nuisance
turtle to
for
TLID. So some
ONIC
way
now.
they're actually able to equalize that gold lead. No longer the big, scary gold lead for FNOP.
All right, so where is the majority of the gold lead actually coming from? And I think, I mean, looking at the gold lead, it's got to be Kelra, right? I think he's got like, what, 2,000 ahead, currently on to Aaron Shiki. Hold on, the Quad Shadow's not going to do much there just yet, but even so, that's a majority of the damage from Fnatic.
Hopefully they can hear our wishes.
They got to play around him. And
We need
let
the game
Kelra
7, man.
do the work, 'cause look at that damage check, 50% off of that one auto, well, plus the passive.
And he's just doing that to delay him on taking the buff.
Around chase. Conceal already from... Oh my lord! Wilderness bursting through! Now the Rhapsody together with a Lantern Flare. Brusco
That's
is
2 for
down.
1.
Out of nowhere, becomes a 2-for-1 for Liquid ID.
Oh no.
So far, so good.
No. Okay, Team Liquid ID are actually pulling
So
this
far,
back
so good
now
for ID.
with the lead of their own. At the very least, Hezkill has a very stable pick. Let's look at the items and really start to compare because, wow, shocking lead for Kelra, but then there is compensation when it comes down to the jungle, compensation when it does.
Kelra getting his
come
third
down
crit
to
item
mid lane
soon,
too.
which is a big spike.
Interestingly enough, as
That's gonna make
as many
his crit
kills as
so
Fabian has
consistent.
On this Hayabusa, the fact that King Kong is not too far behind in essence against the economy here, that's fine for him because that's what King Kong does on the alpha pick. It isn't to go and fight and fight and fight. It's really just go ahead and lock down some of the farm, and then later on, you know, you have some more of that tankiness on this alpha. You play around your setup potential, and you just let Kelra shine. And there it is. Skypiercer is actually going to be picked
This is
up
better than
already.
last game at least. All they have to do is
He's
win.
going for a third item. I think he recognizes
I mean, that's the least they can do right now, right?
Anyway, same goes to
That's the
Iran.
least.
They need those big finishers, which means I would
The
assume
minimum
that
they
Fabian
can
is
do.
going into these fights
So
with just
easy.
a chunk.
Just
And
win.
to be fair, the Juicing will go Skypiercer too, right? Like, that's the normal build we're seeing. And for Hezkiel, does look like he's on the way for a second item, Skypiercer. So they'll have two. Now, is that a bit too greedy, or is that good, you know?
I think it's part of the answer is just get rid of Kelra. Whether it's either or, as long as you take Kelra out of the picture, then they lose a lot of that damage potential. And we'll see if that gamble is going to be worth it, because Team Liquid ID will start things up.
Crimson Beacon out.
Whoa!
Escape, what happened? Fabian claims a kill in the back. The assassination there on Cheeky. So able to cut away with Death and Nada. Kelra chasing it on down in the bush. Kelra walking with a heavy crossbar. Power of wildness. Aaron Cheeky claims the kill.
What a positional
running
mistake.
back with the Raging Sandstorm. Fabian with a chase again. And it will be a Lord traded in for a fight.
Oh my goodness, and a fight well deserved by TLID. I mean, it might not be over just yet here. Let's give it a moment, because Aaron Cheeky, it's great. The target acquisition in tandem with Fabian,
Positional
making
mistake
sure
by
that
Kelra.
Super Prince does not get that much value out of his RWM.
I think he needs to stick with his team a bit more, because Hayabusa wants them to split up anyway. If they stick together, Hayabusa can do shit. But I think they are scared of Camilla. That is also
Spear of Alpha into the Earth. Shadow really still surviving. Shadow kill. It's going to be neutralized by the Primal Rat. Real manipulation!
Oh! Kelra, he's running forward. He takes out
freaking
one.
huge Raging Sandstorm.
Dive underneath the turret. Nobody is safe.
That was an MVP.
3 flickers for
MVP.
3 kills, and Brusco will pay that price.
freaking Brusco.
It doesn't matter if they're behind in
Bro,
that
Epic,
form.
are you
They'll
watching
make
this?
a play either way. And they still have the Lord
Are you
knocking
watching
on the
that
base
Raging
turrets
Sandstorm?
now. FNOP sets things up. They might look for more.
They're hungry. They're so hungry. They want this inhibitor early on. They want to create that 13K lead they did in their previous series. Because Team Liquid ID, if they find that momentum back against Fnatic ONIC PH, they might be
But
able
to be honest,
turn
yesterday
things
you landed.
around.
I think you landed one very
just when
nice
you
Raging
think
Sandstorm as well.
Liquid have
To be fair
neutralized
to you.
the lead, when
To
you
be fair
think
to you.
they're ahead.
You landed one
Someone
pretty
else
nice one
becomes the
yesterday.
X factor. Game 1, 2,
I think it
3.
was
I think it was
3 men.
Kelra all around. Now, Brusco from out of nowhere.
It's always one of them, and that's again why they have been called the Super Fam. Every single player, every single role in lane filled, and just
Game 3 wasn't
perform
my
at a
lead.
peak here throughout the tournament and
oops.
now through the grand final. It's TLID on the back foot now, trying to just defend even the buffs. King Kong put enough pressure, nearly level 15. Again, with this, Team Liquid ID still in
But I
fighting
mean, your out
form.
on Natalia was
Not
still
a
good.
massive deficit
It was
to
good.
work against, but it gets increasingly more difficult when they approach these Lord fights because of that setup potential from FNOP.
Oh, but even so, at the end of the day, it really comes down just to hard execution, right? As much as Fnatic ONIC PH are able to kind of control this tempo, the execution for these are... Wait, hold on. Oh my god. All right. RWM has also been thrown out here, but I don't think they should be able to find anything.
With the isolated, you know, the cancel! Spear
Oh.
of Alpha, he gets with a fade away!
What a cancel! Never mind, I take it back. They do find
shit.
one.
Sometimes you wonder, Kelra's jumping forward. Well, that's exactly why. So aggressive and making moves just now at this point.
How does he get a Renner's apathy on an Irithel?
I have no clue. I have
Damn.
no clue. But at this point, this Lord should be free, right?
No, what you doing here? What you doing? This is not the way. Oh my god.
Popping the RWM just yet as Kelra jumps with a heavy crossbow.
What are you guys doing?
Kelra, but Aran gets deleted.
The peel
What happened?
is
What are you guys
perfect.
doing?
Kelra has the space, and Witty, as well as Aran, will not be able to create the opening that they were looking for.
And look at that.
I know it's
just
brawl
as you
server,
think,
but not like
he's
this.
so aggressive on this Aerothil. Able to jump in. Now he also gets some defense with a Wind of Nature pickup. Able to deal with some of that pressure, physical damage that might be set up from even Fabian here. They work with this Lord at push now, taking the goal lead a little bit further. FNOP will get ready to march towards the base. They already got some work done on these turrets.
Actually, I think I should mute the
They're going to rely on
I should mute the alerts for now. Sorry guys. We gotta mute the alert.
It's a short cooldown, totally fine here. And I think the Team Liquid ID need to play this defensively. Sacrifice an inhibitor, sure, but this game needs to drag on because they're so close to their next item power spike. 39 to 43.
The siege continues. That's a quad channel to the back. King Kong with the Spear of Alpha baited out. The panel wrap from Kirk as well, though. 2 base turrets taken down. Now 1 more up top. Kelra sent to deal with it. A few more shots into the turret. It will survive for a bit. Kelra wants to go for it. Walks up a few more times. 1 more time. That Sonata keeps him at bay.
Team Liquid ID wants to hold on to that one. Fagan jumps in.
Shadow kills,
I feel like
bringing him back again. The quad shadow back from
their
Fabian,
micro mechanics is
RWM locking them down inside.
as good as each other.
With the Crimson Beacon locking Super Prince
But I
up.
think it's
Now
the macro
to the back
divisions.
line.
The macro.
Getting it, raging sense from a boost. In the base, looking for the end moment. Clear out the wave, and Kelra will be able to escape, but King Kong have dealt with him.
Oh my god.
The minions are
Another
starting to
wave.
push it. They're running out. It's one.
Thunder heralds their unstoppable reign. Unscathed.
Well, Kelra finally wins a world
Their
championship.
legends proclaimed. Bow down to the empire of Fnatic, ONIC, Philippines.
Axiata Arena, make some noise for your Herald of Thunder. Let me hear you
GG.
scream.
FNOP.
Their
Well played,
dominant
well
run
played.
to the Philippines, and now their dominant run here in the M6 World Championship. We're all part of the fam now. Let's throw it on stage with our winners.
Ladies
That was a classic,
gentlemen, give it up
a classic
for Fnatic
rank game ending.
Philippines!
A freaking marksman at the back,
What an epic
backdooring the
battle
base.
for the final.
Classic
the
rank game
grand
ending.
Final. They're staying at the top and finish to the top. Gentlemen, Fnatic ONIC Philippines, come and join us here at the front. The emotions is overwhelming, and guys, I gotta say, Axiata Arena, you guys are amazing.
You guys are the superstars. You guys are the best. This is the best M series I've ever witnessed in my lifetime. But once again, ladies and gentlemen,
Is this really the best M series?
champions!
The fight is over. This is the new record for Fnatic ONIC. All right, gentlemen. You may now claim what is right
On another note,
yours.
on another note,
3, 2, 1. Ito ang lakas ng Pinas.
I guess I guessed it correctly. I guessed it for 1.
Unbelievable! Unbelievable!
The 5th straight trophy for the Philippines.
This franchise has been in the grand final for multiple times. Now, after besting their rival, Fnatic ONIC Philippines have finally finished their
Chill, guys,
story.
It's been
Ignore
a
the toxic
roller
people.
coaster of emotions and struggles. However,
Chill.
Fnatic ONIC Philippines did not drop a
It's very simple,
match
guys.
this M6.
If you are toxic,
Kelra,
immediate
come here, halika
ban.
dito.
That's all.
Kelra, congratulations. From an MSC champion, MPL Philippines, and now you are a M Series champion. What does this victory mean for you? From an M Series champion, tas naging MPL Philippines champion, tas ngayon M Series naman ang napanalunan mo. Anong ibig sabihin ng panalo na to sa'yo?
Una-una sa lahat, thank you sa mga pumuntahin, sumuporta sa amin dito. And sa mga nanonood online. Maraming salamat, appreciate namin lahat
Kelra
yun.
finally wins a freaking world championship. It's been so long since
He said thank you to everybody watching here
Kelra
in the
playing
arena. For those supporting
forever.
online, they really, really appreciate your support.
I have a question as well right now to Coach Why Not? Coach, all these sleepless nights, all the training, all of the
You can't
work that
believe
you
it, man.
put in, who do you want to dedicate this victory to?
Definitely. I mean, I'm quite happy right now, but to be honest, I just really want to go home to my family. You know, kiss my girlfriend. I miss her so much.
Alright,
Hug
a
my
bit.
kids.
Rise
But
has been
yeah,
playing since
there's everything.
forever.
It's for us, definitely for the Filipinos
I think
out
even
there.
season,
The Philippines,
the first M
but
series,
most
he was already
especially,
playing.
Yeah, to my
Or
girlfriend
is it M2?
Dorothy. Thank you.
Freaking long ago.
I know, Dorothy, hope you're listening right now.
Yes, I want to hear something more from the player Brusco. Can you tell us about your win? This win, this is your
Axiata
first.
Arena is so
You
amazing.
won
Yeah, true.
in MPL Philippines now.
Great
You're
arena,
the champion
great
of the
stage.
world.
Great setup.
First and first, I want to thank the Sonics fans supporting us, and I want to thank my girlfriend also watching me. Yeah, thank you so much. I love you.
That is so sweet and so cute. Now I think everybody is ready to see them get their medals, award prizes that they have won. So to commemorate this momentous victory, please allow me to welcome Mr. Cloud Chang, CEO of
Guys,
Moonton
please-
Games, to award
please
the
reduce your
M6
toxicity,
medallion made in collaboration
Don't
with
have to laugh
Fairy.
at the losers.
Big round of applause, please,
You
ladies
should
and
cheer for the
gentlemen.
winners.
One of the men that made today's event happen, and each medal, by the
GGs
way,
to all.
is
Not gonna lie,
crafted
I didn't want it
from
to be
rare
over yet.
gemstones featuring
Neither do I.
a mythic
Wanted a
dragon
game
motif.
7.
Stunning. Stunning.
Oh, look at the cosplay.
They will got
What is
a
that?
lot of presents.
Cosplay though.
This is special. This myth for the champion, the world champion. Kelra keeps up jumping up and down. He is so hyped, even though he's out of breath already. This is
Don't know if
truly
SG
an
can top that
amazing
if
victory
we
for
hold it
them.
here.
The release of endorphins. I can only imagine what they're going through right now, supported by the fans here in attendance. It is a night they each and every single one
I
of them
think
are
the
to remember
M4 stage
for
was
the
pretty
rest
good too.
of their lives.
Yep, it's of one of the players.
But the thing is,
the
Singapore doesn't really
family,
have great
the staff,
venues
Everyone who helped the Fnatic ONIC to become
to hold such a
the
event.
champion. Now they're here celebrating with a new necklace.
What time am I gonna play?
New. Something new from Fairy. Guys, so once again, we have the
I
silent but
guess
deadly EXP
9
laner,
PM.
the Architect.
We have King Kong, the Sigma King, the Beast.
Super Friends, the Monster Mage, Brusco the Bruiser.
And not forgetting Kelra, the gold standard, the Filipino Savage. Okay, photos are taken. I want to thank you very much, Mr. Zhang.
Are they gonna announce the MVP?
We're going to be moving on to something else now. We want to immortalize your marks have been greater
I think
than
definitely
ever.
Kelra
Let
is
me
the
now
MVP,
call
right?
upon onto the stage in just a moment another special guest. Once the photos are
Not
taken,
that
once
he-
again, thank
not-
you very much, Mr. Zhang.
It's not that
Are the photos all done?
it's
Thank you very
insanely
much.
good or what. I mean, it's not like
Now
he
to
insanely
call onto
outperformed
the
everybody,
stage for the
but
next award presentation, Mr.
he's the
Julius
most
C,
highlighted.
CEO of Fairy.
After all, the
towards
gold laners
your
are always
Fairy
highlighted.
M6 Dreamwatch and your very own Fairy M6 Mythic Champions Ring.
Show us.
So
After the
Kelra's happy
medals,
base.
No.
Where's Moon? Is Moon
It's
still here?
time. The gate, the Fairy Watch, the Dream Watch, Spatial, M6 Dream Watch, the M6 Mythic. Players, main players. All right, nice. The Fairy M6 Dream Watch feature advanced chronograph functionalities. So this is spatial just for the champions.
Can we get the starting lineup to come in front first, please?
Starting lineup.
And don't forget, we have our very own Fairy M6 Mythic Champions rings as well.
Smite Omega.
Wow, good eh. I also want eh.
Meanwhile, the M6 Mythic Champion ring boasts
To be honest,
an
the watch is
innovative
so
design
much
with
more
a removable crown
meaningful
that
as a
reveals
prize
hidden Land of Dawn map
than some
with
medal.
20 and blue
Don't you think?
and red
A watch
animals
is
that
much more
represents the MLBB turrets.
meaningful as a prize.
Champions only will have this. Things they will cherish for
Medal
the
is
rest
just
of their
something you
lives.
keep at home.
Reminders of this night.
But the
a
watch you can, you
historic
know,
night
wear it
in
out, show it
Agakti
off.
Arena here in Bukit Jalil. M6 in Malaysia.
something we will never forget, and certainly the players, the entire team will never forget. I'm wondering what the party will be like in the Philippines right now as they're watching this.
I am pretty sure the Filipinos are ecstatic to win their 5th World Championship title. And of course, people from all over the world, the Fnatic ONIC fans, I'm pretty sure they're super duper stoked right now.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
How come the watch is different color?
Rising
This
to
is
the
black.
best as only they can.
Yes, now their finger, the winning finger, they got all with the ring,
And your
the
white strap
ring,
for Kiara.
that show how shiny and how great is their finger, because this is the finger that make them won.
I know. I'm hoping it comes up on camera. I'm hoping everyone who's watching right now can see how beautiful and magnificent these devices are, going onto the fingers, going onto the wrist.
So I guess they got a ring and they got a
wearing
medal
it
and a
with
watch.
pride, uniting these brothers for life.
And there you go.
They got
Coach
everything.
Yap is completing his. Show your rings to the camera.
Oh!
Complete 5-stack, ladies and gentlemen.
That's his strategy. Okay, now the stones are complete for Coach Yap.
Indeed.
He looks like Thanos. I love it.
He does.
Bro completed the Infinity Gauntlet.
Different colors. These are green. I'm trying to get a closer look from where we
Coach
are
Yap
right
has
now.
completed the
So some of
Infinity
the
Gauntlet.
watches,
He's gonna snap
they've
his
got
fingers.
a blue trim around them. Some have got green. They all look gorgeous.
They do, and they all look really amazing on our players. Definitely greater than ever this time around.
Neck, arm, finger, everything is catching, bubbling.
That looks heavy as well, I have to say. I mean, better watch your luggage when you fly back. Don't want to be overweight with all the bling on your arms.
They got a lot of things. This is super special, and of course, all of the
But seriously,
family.
are they
Now they're
cosplaying
celebrating
minions?
Together.
That's the
And
minion,
now,
right?
I think we can say together because they got new watch.
That
What
cosplay
time
is a minion, right? They're cosplaying minions.
Show your watch, show your everything. You can say it now.
Thank you very much.
Let's take a picture together with
Mr. C.
I think we should have a big,
Mr. Stam.
let's have a
take
big
pictures together.
group picture with everybody here. Okay, if everyone here can look at me. Okay, we're gonna take a picture with our VIP down here. Lovely, thank you. Let me get out the way.
Smile for the camera, everybody. Show
Actually,
off
I
your
think
new
I can
rings.
appear on the screen
Coach
already.
Yap, show off your complete stack.
Wait.
Ring, watch, medals, and this is the moment for the champion.
Hello, guys.
What time is that?
Woohoo! Thank you very
Not
much
judging.
to Mr. C.
I'm just
and
sitting here.
finally, to complete the champion's gear, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Ellie Chin, Smartphone Country Product Manager of Asus Malaysia, to award your ROG Phone 9.
The winner takes everything. They deserve it. Now, they will be more and more powerful with the new smartphone.
Yes, they are all walking home with an ROG 9.
It
And
looks
I'm
a bit
sure
awkward.
everybody
Wow.
in the arena right now knows
Free
how
phone.
good ROG smartphones is. They are a mobile masterpiece that blends high-octane gaming with a sleek, modern aesthetic. These are the perfect phones.
I think
for
they're gonna
our
finish it
world
off at the end.
champions.
At the end, right?
I agree, and
They're
look at
gonna
them, so
say-
happy with their new phones to play Mobile Legends on.
And
I
everybody
want a phone
gets
as well.
50 magic dust.
We won the phone.
Miss Chen, I hope that you can have a spare phone for us as well, please. That'd be much appreciated.
They all look so happy.
And a 1-day EXP card.
Yes. Let's take a picture together.
Okay,
All right,
one more
thank
picture
you.
together, please.
Miss Ellie, could we have a photo? Yes, you may stand in the middle with them. Yes.
Guys, let's get around. Show your phone.
Show your new phones, guys. Show your new phone to the camera.
Champion phone. With ROG Phone 9. Thank you,
Thank you,
Miss
Miss
Ellie
Ellie.
Chen. And, of course, for the giant check, we would like to invite Mr. Lucas Mao as Managing Director of Moonton Games to present the awards for the players, for the winners, for Fnatic
Lucas
ONIC
Mao.
Philippines. Give round of applause, everyone. This is the giant check for Fnatic ONIC Philippines. Kelra is so happy he is embodying everything right now.
It's amazing. From
Champion!
up and
guys.
comers to the brightest stars, Fnatic ONIC Philippines extends the Philippines era with another World Championship trophy.
The 5th trophies for Philippines. They fought really well for their
Do you
country.
guys notice
Thank you so much, Mr. Lucas Mao.
the classic
and
Filipino haircut?
wow. Present to
The
present.
center parting.
The smile and smile.
I think like
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have
3
seen
of them
an
have the
amazing
center
game,
parting. Wait,
an
wait, 4.
amazing
Was it
M6.
5?
But
5 of
let
them
me
have
ask
center
you,
parting.
Axiata Arena,
The classic
who is your
Filipino
finals
haircut.
MVP? Oh.
Whoa, 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 whoa! One more time. Who are your finals MVP? Is it? Is it? We're gonna find out in just a moment. We have to invite somebody else up.
To present this award, we have Miss Ellie Chen back on stage to present the M6 Finals MVP Award.
Yes, she's here. Now everyone's ready.
What?
The M6 World Champions Finals MVP is... Kelra!
Wow, it's Kelra. I'm so surprised.
The Filipino
Wow.
Savage! The gold
I'm so
standard.
surprised.
Now, the M6 Finals MVP! Kelra's
What a
development
turn
not
of
only
events.
as a player, but as an individual
I'm shocked to my core.
is unmatched.
That is Kelra.
This is a much-deserved recognition. Our congratulations!
Freaking trembling in my chair now.
The superwoman. Kelra is kissing.
Thank you very much,
like
Miss
it.
Ellie Chen. Thank you. Kelra, come here. You know what, Kelra? Come, I'll go to you. You're now the Finals MVP. Kelra, you're the only player in the world with an MSC Finals MVP, MPL Finals MVP, and now M6 Finals MVP. What do you have to say about your victory?
Masasabi ko lang nag-finals MVP ako dahil sa kampi ko, hindi dahil sa sarili ko.
No, I don't have a center
He
parting.
said that he just want to say to everyone, he became a Finals MVP not because of himself, but because of his teammates. Do you have anything to say to them? Do you have anything to say to your teammates?
Sa teammate ko, mahal na mahal ko kayo, yun lang.
To his teammates, I love you all so much. That's it. Thank you, Kelra. Wow. This guy, he's called the gold standard, but I think he is now
Rose.
the greatest standard.
The GOAT conversation right now. Is he in that
Where's
conversation?
the very good
Is
host
he in
cause
the
she can
bracket
translate?
of GOAT?
I think he
Almost
is slowly
anything.
getting there.
I think he's getting there.
So many
And we're
languages.
witnessing history being made.
Plus her English is so
Okay, looking all these
good.
gentlemen, how do you think they're feeling? Honestly.
I'm feeling so happy. Just now, they were asking for more nasi lemak from me.
Oh, they love nasi
Yes.
lemak.
You know what? More nasi lemak? Okay, I'll get you nasi lemak tomorrow. Okay? More nasi lemak for Fnatic ONIC Philippines. Do you guys agree?
Yes!
Okay.
All right, we're gonna have one more trophy lift, I think. I want everyone to get by their trophy one more
gather
time.
around.
Gather around the trophy. We're gonna lift it one more time together. The Champions Lift. You've received your prizes. You've received the accolades of all the fans here and those streaming it online. The millions upon millions of fans and players around the globe who've gathered here today to witness
I'm the classic
history
comb
being
over
made.
guy.
You guys may now lift your trophy. Once again, this is Fnatic ONIC Philippines.
The M6 World Championship
To be honest, I'm very happy for Kelra.
The dawn of a
Watching him
new
for so many
legacy.
years. After watching him for so many years, he finally won an international. But at the same time, I feel sad for Kyrie.
Philippines have finally become
Because Kyrie
greater
didn't even make it.
than
to this stage at all.
Fnatic ONIC Philippines has left their mark in the MLBB esports scene.
Not
and
even
now
winning it,
they're
but
going back to the Philippines
not even
with
making
a
it
brand
on the
new
stage.
trophy.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for our champions here. Axiata Arena, Malaysians, do me proud and make some noise!
Alright
Fnatic
guys,
ONIC Philippines,
I guess
you may
it's
carry
time to
your
end the
trophy
stream. I should be
and
streaming
do
later.
your
I should be streaming
champions
my
walk of glory.
my
Kelra, this
Elite
is
One
real.
Trick Challenge
This is
later.
real, Kelra.
So
a dream.
you guys can
You are
join the One
living
Trick
the dream.
Challenge
They're stuck on the floor.
later on.
All right,
Alright guys, thank you for
guys
watching.
May now lift your
Did we get
trophy.
to 5k views?
Okay. Guys,
Actually we did. Woo.
we want you to carry
Thank you
this
guys
trophy down here.
for helping me get to
we want
5k.
you to show the fans your trophy.
I will get paid by
so
Bunton
pick
this
it up.
time for this one stream.
Are you ready? Pick it up one more time.
Out of all
and
the
let's walk
M6
down
streams I
here.
did, only this stream I will get paid.
This is your champion.
The champions.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
And this is the
And
champions.
I hope you enjoy the
Walk of
finals.
Glory.
And I'll see you guys later for the
To
AD
our
stream.
passionate and
Thank you.
ever-growing community,
And
thank
bye-bye.
you for making the M6 World Championship possible for the last time tonight. My name is Rose.